punch in at 8:30 every morning, except you punch in at 7:30 following a business holiday. Unless it's Monday, then you punch in at 8 o'clock. Punch in late, and they podcast you. Incoming articles get a voucher. Outgoing articles provide a voucher. Move any article without a voucher, and they podcast you. Lettuce size without a voucher. Lettuce size a green voucher. Oversize a yellow voucher. Parcel size a maroon voucher. Wrong color voucher, and they podcast you. 678-704-9A/6. That is your employee number. It will not be repeated. Without your employee number, you cannot get your paycheck. Inter-office mail code is 37. Intra-office mail 37/3. Outside mail is 3/37. Code it wrong, and they podcast you. This has been your orientation. Is there anything you do not understand? Is there anything you understand only partially? If you have not been fully oriented, you must file a complaint with personnel. File a faulty complaint, and they podcast you. And then in brackets underneath that line of dialogue, spoken at 160 words per minute.
When you watch a screwball comedy on your modern television and you have the subtitles on, it's a screwball comedy when the subtitles can't include all the dialogue. They have to cut out lines.
They're editing.
And just a note, if you're going to scream.
Oh, sure. After spending 30 minutes setting up level?
Just give me a heads up.
Yeah.
That guy.
Maybe the most time we've ever spent perfecting levels before a record, then I immediately fucked it all up.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
You want to dock me?
I'll think about it.
I made that sound sexual. I'm saying you can dock my pay.
I don't think he thought it was sexual.
Well, I just want our perverted
Is docking
listeners,
when you put your dicks together?
I think there is an actual sexual connotation for docking.
Docking is when you put
It's a good time.
the head of one penis into it.
First time
into the foreskin of another.
I think it's
So you need
uncircumcised
right.
meets circumcised.
Yeah, you need one uncircumcised.
To be fair,
yeah,
both could be uncircumcised. You just need at least
right.
one.
But you need one docking station.
Correct.
Essentially.
Correct.
Wag's biting his lip, trying to get in the docking conversation.
That guy, the Orienter, actor's name is Christopher Darga. I just looked him up because I was like, who is that guy? He works all the time.
There are
he has 10 credits a year on TV shows and stuff.
There are 30 people in this movie who have exactly one scene, and I think give one of the greatest performances in the history of film. The Blue Letter guy. Musburger's secretary.
Okay. The one who screams or the one who...
I don't see an appointment in the books.
She was funny.
Everyone is just a great face, a great voice, a great rhythm. Yeah.
Well, my favorite, though, is just to get 24 bald, middle-aged guys who are just I love that.
Those guys are great.
So funny.
As far as stock characters go, though, my favorite is the lady who kind of talks like this. And this movie has so many of those ladies.
Yeah, that is a good.
Yeah.
Or you know what I like? When Hudsucker hits the ground.
Yeah. What you mean when the street is wearing Hudsucker?
Exactly. Yes. The lady who goes that's a good type of lady.
Yeah.
A big lady in a sort of fancy outfit with a little thing on her head, like a little net.
I think it's the same lady. I think
It might
that's
be
just
the same lady.
they're just a different emotional points.
It's good stuff.
God bless
Different types. Yeah, no, it's got a lot of ladies like this and a lot of guys like this.
You backed away at the end.
I did. I'm trying to be considerate towards Ben. There's the Blue Letter guy has it's the way he sells two specific words. It's the third time I think he says blue letter when he tries to accentuate and go, a blue letter. And then he ends it with going, must be delivered to Musburger. Musburger!
Richard Schiff, the great Emmy-winning actor, is in the cast as mailroom screamer. I didn't even notice.
He must be a background screamer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But to be credited as a screamer in Hudsucker, that feels good.
This, the supporting, not the supporting cast, but all the day players in this movie feel like they were pulled out of a time machine.
100%.
All the modern day actors who are recognizable, you're like, oh, that's smart to think about a combination of people who would be able to approximate this old acting style, who had pieces of this in their modern screen personas. And then every guy who's just a face I've never seen before, my inclination is they got a fucking phone booth and they went back to the 30s and they pulled a guy off the Paramount lot. The guys at the fucking diner.
It's great. I went into this movie. I had never seen it before, and so in the first 15 minutes, I was like, "What the fuck is going on here?" I had no idea, and just so many great. And at first, I was like, "Is this over the top? What is happening here?" You were worried that I wouldn't like this movie.
Let me clarify.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of my 10 favorite movies of all time.
Wow.
This is one of my favorite movies we will ever cover on
So
this
is this
podcast.
your number one Coens?
Just
Not
in
to
terms-
spoil our, list.
I do not think it is their best film, and I think when we get to the
Wow.
end of this series,
You'll be wrestling with
I
best
actually
versus
can't
favorites.
rank this at number one.
Sure.
There are better films I think they've made, and in a way where the distance between them is great enough that it would be absurd of me to put it higher. And yet I have seen this so many fucking times. It is one of my ultimate comfort food movies. I like it more every single time I watch it. It is a movie that is so squarely pitched at all of my interests, my sense of humor, my sensibility, my like dream movie aesthetics, all of that. So I was just like very protective of this episode.
This is one of your rewatchables.
This is one of my ultimate
Yeah.
top tier rewatches.
Should we get Simmons on?
We got to get Simmons on.
I'm also like every
John Mahoney is like Eddie House in this movie, just raining threes off the bench.
He would have 10 minutes on Anna Nicole.
You know what? I agree with him. The Eddie House thing is spot on.
No, I mean, Mahoney's good.
Mahoney's great.
really good.
every other movie that I would put on this tier, I could like form more of an argument on the right day of like, would I put that on my Sight and Sound top 10? Whereas with this, I'd be like, that's silly. I'd put a different Coens on. But because it is such a specific flavor and I care about it so much, we were trying to find an episode. You threw your hat in for this. And I was just like, Mitch, I don't think you're going to dislike it, but I don't want to run the risk. I just want to know you have seen it before we give you the episode for sure.
And I watched it early to make sure. And I was then mad at you
You
because
sent me a text. How
was-
could you ever...
Yeah, how
think
could you
that
ever
I
think that I
wouldn't love this?
wouldn't love it? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
But I'm a little bit curious, just you like knowing how much you love this movie and knowing that y'all do guestless episodes and you were kind enough to fit us in when we were in town. But I was like, that struck me as like, oh, this is just gonna be a guestless one, and we're just gonna hear
There's
Griffin
a
go off for a
lot
bit.
of potential guestless episodes
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the Coen brothers, though,
There
and then
is.
everyone wants them.
This is-
Everyone
Yeah, sure.
loves
People
these
want 'em.
movies.
And also the other ones that we've done that are guestless, even if they're like personal favorites of ours, they're also movies that are like so culturally huge that you're like between our
An
love,
E.T., a social network, some big movie where there's plenty to untangle. RoboCop.
Back to the Future, these things where you're like, there's also so much cultural shit to talk about. There's interesting production stuff on this movie, but this is so much closer to being a movie that doesn't exist in a weird way, even though its reputation has
No, my
risen.
wife was like, what the fuck is this?
I think-
Not in a mad way,
Right.
just like, how did this get approved?
I think
right?
it's categorically still the least known of all of their movies.
It's kind of amazing that it exists, and also that they were able to get this made like pre-Fargo, like before they were
Right.
at a point where they had like
right.
the,
When
you
they
know,
were guys,
Exactly.
but they weren't Oscar
We're
winners.
going to get into this, but this is their first blank check, and it's crazy because it's a blank check they are given based on just how good they are,
Right.
even though they had yet to make a movie that made
So,
money.
On
Really.
on Letterboxd, which I always find interesting
Yeah.
as a pulse of, the young.
But just how many people have logged?
When you
Right.
go by popularity, it
Yeah.
is it's below everything but Intolerable Cruelty and The Lady Killers, which makes sense because those two are the least regarded.
but in terms of number of like people who've logged it, not necessarily
Yes.
rating. Okay, got it.
Right. That's literally just
That's just
people who have
popularity.
pressed, I
Right.
have watched this movie.
So, speaking of wives, my wife Natalie, this is also one of her top 10 favorite movies of all time.
Major.
And so I had one reason we're talking about Hudsucker, I have a personal connection through her. I'm putting this movie on at home, and she's like reciting the opening narration, like it's like that level of fandom and that.
You
level
got
of
a good
connection to it.
one, Nick.
Yeah. Hey, don't I know it? You gotta get yourself a good wife. It's really important.
What was this?
God,
wife
how do we
guy.
even describe the
The wife guy.
A wife guy is basically being crucified
Yes.
sitting down? Is that what's going on? Nick sort of like outstretched his
He
limbs.
leaned back and put his arms out in a T-pose. Let's also acknowledge that Nick just broke a chair right before recording.
I did. Look, here's the thing.
He basically spilled himself onto the floor.
I'm going to say this.
I was late to the record,
Mhm.
and then I broke a chair. So like I'm
And then
coming in, starting behind.
You're trying to, and then you try to say that's like what I would be known for.
I think
You-
if
you
you're
were
going
trying
to
to
put money
say-
on one of the Doughboys is going to be late to the blank check record and break a chair at the studio,
Mitch and
I think that I would have.
Mitch and I
I'd be like
thought
plus 850 versus Mitch.
we thought we were gonna beat Sims here, and we were so excited. And it turned out Sims got here early, but we thought like we're on track to beat him. And then if we're both earlier than you guys, we win forever.
We win forever.
Let the record show.
And tomorrow doesn't matter when we record a
It doesn't
Doughboys episode.
Yeah.
If Griff and I are 45, 50 minutes late, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
They're going silent. They don't like this.
I love it. This is Blank Check with Griffin and David. I'm Griffin.
I'm David.
It's a podcast about filmographies, directors who have massive success early on in their careers and are given a series of blank checks to make whatever crazy passion projects they want. Hudsucker Proxy is a pretty good example of that.
I would say it is their most sort of it's their most obvious blank check, even though it wasn't, $100 million movie or whatever, but right?
Totally.
Yes.
And we'll talk about it. It was like the first time they consciously were like, can we make something that's more of a commercial crowd pleaser? It is what is fascinating about this movie is like, they don't think of it as a like one for us that we're getting away with. They were like, it is time for us to team up with Joel Silver and start making like blockbuster hit comedies. And this is their calculation of like, yeah, a movie that everyone will want to go see.
You saying it's one of the lesser known movies. I'll say this from my perspective. This was a huge blockbuster case movie. Like the cover movie.
Yeah,
sure.
It was and I had no idea what it was about.
Because it's a really weird poster.
But you're like, what the fuck is this?
I thought it was about, I honestly genuinely thought it was about vacuums. And I think it was Hudsucker. And on the cassette box, his hair is kind of going crazy.
Right,
so I was like, oh, this is a vacuum movie. The vacuum is in reverse or something here.
And he's hula hoop in a way where you almost at first wouldn't quite understand what's going on.
Yes. Yeah, I had no I knew nothing about the hula hoop until I saw it. But this was a huge blockbuster video. Like, hey, look at that movie. I should maybe see that at some point, and never did. And this was the only Coen Brothers movie I've never seen. Basically.
I just think that's wild. I think every bigger budget movie they make after this, and they've never made a huge budget film.
Like, what's their most expensive movie? True Grit?
I think True Grit probably costs like 50 or 60.
Sure.
I don't think they've ever gone over that.
True Grit is listed at 35.
This is what's crazy about them, right? Because like this still might be their highest budget film. At $40 million 25 years ago.
Is True
20
Grit,
years ago. 30 years ago.
Is True Grit or No Country a bigger hit for them?
True Grit's their biggest hit.
True Grit is their biggest. Oh,
True Grit was a blockbuster. And then it's like No Country and Burn After Reading both were really big.
Wow, Burn After Reading is right up there with
Reading weirdly made almost as much as No Country.
That's
despite
wild.
Not having that much reputation. And then everything after that is sort of like, well, they keep their budgets low enough that the return on investment's okay. And like things like Big Lebowski that bombed at the time, but obviously have become so profitable through just being like now culturally ubiquitous. But it felt like this was the last time that they were like, yeah, if they give us like huge studio money, everyone will come see our movie. And it scares them in a way where they maybe become like incredibly responsible after this. This is a miniseries on the films of the Coen brothers. It's called Pod Country for no cast. We could have called it the Podcaster Proxy or the Podsucker Casty or many other things. Yeah.
The Hudsucker Proxy is a bad title. I've grown used to it.
Same.
But
it's a bad title.
It's a bad title.
It is a bad title. I mean, it confused child me. I mean, not 14-year-old
child me as well.
It is basically designed to be remembered incorrectly.
Right. And it also doesn't even matter that much to the plot.
Well,
he is the titular proxy.
It does describe,
I guess,
the central premise, but in the weirdest way
well,
possible.
But what should it be called? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm like, but it should have been called like the Hula Hoop Man. Like, I don't know what
or
you
Dumb
call
CEO or some like shitty.
Dumb CEO.
Dumb CEO's pretty good.
CEO would have been pretty
Obviously,
good.
Carrot Top had already made chairman of the board.
Right.
Well, to compare,
Norm had already suggested you spell it B-O-R-E-D. No, actually, this
that's
predates
1998. So they could have called it chairman of the
fucking
board.
wrong. They could have called it chairman of the board. Can I introduce our guests?
Yeah.
Because it's very exciting. For the 5th time on this show, entering the 5th Timers Club, but first time in person.
Wow.
We finally done it. 10 years of our 2 podcasts coexisting. We have finally crossed the streams with all 4 of us in the same room on mics. This has never happened.
This is wild. This is happening for Blank Check today, and then tomorrow, and I think the episodes will be out in reverse order. Tomorrow we're doing the opposite. Y'all are coming to Headgum, New York, and recording an episode of Doughboys.
Home and home.
We're doing a home and home, and then we're ending both of our podcasts, which is huge.
It's over.
So exciting.
We're doing it.
So great.
A murder-suicide.
The Patreon, to be clear, stays turned
Yeah,
up.
Patreon's
of course.
Yeah.
We're doing a murder-suicide, and we're placing bets. We're creating an online marketplace to place bets on who's doing the murder versus the suicide.
Wow, yeah.
Wait, is it
Roger
all
Rabbit,
4 of us?
Roger Rabbit.
They Live,
Mm-hmm.
7,
Mm-hmm.
1941.
Yeah.
And now this.
So 3 like huge kind of classic landmark films for their directors. And then within this year, 2025, year of our Lord, a sort of themed doubleheader of like early whiffs, big budget comedies from legendary directors. Except 1941, I would argue, kind of stinks. And this, I would argue, was misunderstood at the time.
This is much, much better than 1941 for sure.
I think this is a legitimately great movie.
I agree.
I love the
It's
Hudsucker
10 out of 10
Proxy. I
for
think
me.
it's great. And
Yeah.
I've seen it probably a half dozen times. It's so singular. Like, and I know that's a weird thing to say about something that's so clearly evoking, like, the screwball comedies of yesteryear. But it does like it like. I don't know. It kind of has such a it existing in 1994 as one of those makes it feel so distinct. And there's other stuff that's kind of like of that era, that's doing a similar thing. But it's things like the Tim Burton Batman or the Warren Beatty Dick Tracy, and those are like tied to IP, and they also don't have the same sort of like cadence of dialogue, which is such a characteristic of this.
I have a lot of thoughts on this, on why this film transcends. I think at the time it was written off as being a bit of a pastiche. And I think that is actually an incorrect label for what this movie is doing and why this movie actually works. But it makes sense why people were sort of putting up a guard against it. I do just want to formally introduce our guests.
Oh, right.
I'm Googling pastiche as you do that, so this is perfect.
Yeah. From the Doughboys podcast.
Italian noodles usually served with sauce.
I could spell it correctly. I just don't know what it means.
From the Doughboys podcast, Eden Coen, Mike Mitchell,
How you doing? Did I peek?
and the Self-Sucker Proxy,
There we go.
Nick Wiger.
Wow.
Okay, so Self-Sucker Proxy was submitted by AJ McKeon, our production coordinator.
Okay. Wow.
Okay.
And
Shout out
Eden
to
Coen was
Eaton Cohen.
Eaton.
Yeah,
EIT
like, with
apostrophe
an apostrophe.
N Coen was submitted by ALZANDYK on the Blankies Discord.
If we probably know that person from Doughboys too. I'm sure there's crossover.
Can I read a couple more?
Yeah, please.
Alt.
Yeah.
Mr. Mooseburger,
Okay, I like that.
guy who always needs the double stitch.
That's good. That's
6-letter
good.
word for the condition of the hypothalamus. Yes. The most liquid businessman on the street.
Yeah, I mean we're kind of just doing Hudsucker jokes now.
An extruded plastic dingus.
That's funny.
This one, out of respect to Mike Mitchell being in such excellent shape, Trim Robbins.
Wow.
Trim Robbins.
Hey, that's nice.
You want that Tim Robbins, but long. He's a long fella.
He is a long
Very
fella.
long.
He's too long.
And out of respect to Nick's recent legal status, a man who isn't allowed near a hula hoop because they're, for kids. Those are all from Hofbeast.
Very good.
Paul Newman is 5'10". He's not a short guy. Like he's a sort of regular set. And Robbins is just like looks a foot taller than him.
Is Robbins 6'6"?
I think Robbins might be close to like de Blasio height.
Yeah.
He's a tall drink of water.
He's listed at 6'5".
Yeah, but
Yes,
am I wrong
He's the
that
tallest Oscar-winning actor ever.
Wow.
that is wild. I feel like when I generally am seeing Tim Robbins in movies, things are blocked to de-emphasize his
Right, because
height.
you don't want him
Yeah.
to look insane unless it's part of the plot.
And here, the Coens do the opposite,
'Cause-
where
Yes.
they're just trying to emphasize like how tall and how much he's sticking out.
They
from
give him the
everyone.
They
hair
tease his hair
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Right.
Big lumbering galoot.
It's
Yeah.
like when Bart wears the pinstripe suit and in The Simpsons to try and look taller.
All right.
Yeah.
Like it looks like they're making him this cartoon character.
Yeah. We're getting into
And
Fertall
he has the little chihuahua. It's a good.
discussion here. It's a great bit. We're getting to Fertall discussion. I just don't want to go too much further without remembering to play the drop. Ben, I think we have a little drop.
Oh my
Oh, we have a
god.
drop? This is exciting.
I never thought of Yoda as like a sexual creature until Yaddle, honestly. Did Yoda and Yaddle fuck?
Yeah, I would think they probably fucked.
You think they really fucked? That's really funny.
Huda man.
Oh my
Yoda
God.
man.
Oh my god.
Well, good, and that's canon.
Until JJ came and fucking wiped it all out. You know what?
hearing how much our podcast sucks on your podcast just makes me feel bad we're guests.
Well, these are two podcasts that have discussed Yaddle because we discussed
We
plenty,
discussed a lot of Yaddle.
plenty back when we did the prequels. Back
First
in the
year
day.
of our podcast, only prequel talk.
There's not enough Yoda and Yaddle crossover in the movies, in my opinion. I mean, I'm sure in there's backstories and comics and stuff
But
like that.
even-
where you-
But that's why
Okay.
it's to me it's so funny that somebody, George Lucas, I guess,
Yeah.
was like, should we just like put a wig on a Yoda puppet and have another one be there, in the council who doesn't talk or do anything? And like, sure. And then like the fans are like, so what's up with Yaddle? Like, and no one's just gonna be like, I don't know, man. We put a wig on a Yoda.
It's wild for there to basically be.
She has a wig on. She has like hair. Like
they are the only two of the same species
Yes.
on the council, and they never interact with each other.
no, never once.
she doesn't say anything. She never says anything. We
But
don't
he's
even know
not
if she
giving her a
talks
nod.
in
Right.
the fucked up way.
Right.
Like
Well,
it'd be
they
funny if
did-
she was like, hey guys.
Yeah, that would
Oh, wow.
There'd be a
They
lot
did-
of questions.
In one of the Disney Plus cartoon things recently, they did a standalone episode on her backstory, and I think
Right.
she was voiced by Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah, that's all bullshit. They should
Really?
do that.
Yeah, but the backstory, the original official backstory to Yaddle was that she was like a youngling, a Padawan or whatever, and then she was like kidnapped in some battle, and she was a POW, and she lived in a pit
Yeah,
for like
she, ate
150
the Force.
years. She figured out how to turn the Force into nourishment to survive, and then they saved her, and all the other Jedis were like, I think she deserves to be made a master. And Yoda put his foot down. He was like, she doesn't have enough time in the field. And they were like, she was in a fucking pit.
Is this real?
I
But
swear
it's
to
all,
you.
now that's all
Now it's all
legend.
wiped away, but
It's
the
all- 'cause
original
JJ,
idea
got
was
rid
that
of it.
Yoda was like, I don't want another one of my species coming in. Like, this is just for me.
in canon, Dooku killed her. Like now in
Oh,
canon.
fuck.
Dooku
Oh,
killed her.
wow.
Yeah.
In that cartoon.
Yeah, sexual jealousy. it says here.
And also, they've never named Yoda's species.
They've
Yoda,
never
Yaddle,
named
and Grogu are all just Yoda's species.
Right.
Oh, Grogu. I forgot about Grogu.
How can you forget
How
about
did
he's
you
the
forget
star
about
of 2026 is The Mandalorian and Grogu.
How did you forget about Grogu?
He's probably gonna like play ping pong with a porg or whatever. It'll be
Oh,
great.
God, this could be so big.
I don't
Was
need to-
it Iger who was it Iger who was like, let me see that my $1 billion baby or whatever? Wasn't that his thing about?
they brought
Yeah.
out Grogu.
Yeah.
I don't care if you like The Mandalorian. I'm like, whatever on The Mandalorian. I think you're too much of a sourpuss about Baby Yoda.
I agree.
I
Baby
think
Yoda's cute.
Grogu's good.
Yeah, I think
And,
Grogu
I mean, look, am I
has
being a hypocrite?
basically remained innocent while everything else about that show has gone off.
They
the cliff.
kind of smartly never did much Grogu.
They've been
Instead, The
Yes.
Mandalorian became all about like, do you want to learn about like Mandalorian politics? And I was just like, no, not at all.
I am a hypocrite that I love the idea of Yaddle and don't like Grogu.
What if you would you like Grogu if you found out that Yaddle was Grogu's mom?
Yes. I would love to see a young Yaddle,
And then like a
story.
Yaddle childbirth scene.
I wouldn't mind seeing a Yaddle childbirth scene.
You will like Grogu. You will agree to like Grogu if Yaddle is Grogu's mom and they show the conception on screen.
I need to see the conception
Has-
happen.
Has
Was it another Yoda? That is it?
No, it's just some guy,
it could just be a
some
man.
dude at a truck stop.
Has Lucas weighed in on Grogu?
There's
Because I know
that photo of
sometimes
him holding the baby on
which is
set.
kind of cool.
I was like, very
That's
cute.
fun.
Yeah.
Going back to what you're saying about Yaddle. This was a time that the Phantom Menace comes out. This is a time before I feel like everyone knows the term world building, and so a creative decision like that is like, oh yeah, we'll just put another one like that. But another Yoda with a wig on, like you were saying, it's just like that becomes a thing that informs decades of fan theorizing. But I guess like world building sometimes is as simple as just like, hey, we'll just put some shit in the background and then let people speculate.
Can I make a deal with you guys?
Mm.
I like Grogu, but Babu Frick can burn in hell. How's that?
I think that's fine, actually.
Really?
And I mean, I like Babu Frick, but like, I could lose Babu Frick. It's okay.
We can lose him. I never
like,
need
Babu
to
Frick
see
is
him
from
again.
the bad movie, like
Right.
the movie where it's like there's no way into
He
defending that
pops so
movie.
hard. Yeah.
He's good. He's funny.
Yeah.
He's
I-
like, hey.
Do you think
Yeah, maybe he's bad.
do you think there is like a room of like 800 writers right now working night and day trying to come up with what is the Grogu version of Chicken Jockey for the
Oh,
movie next
man.
year? Like everyone, you saying like, oh, he's playing ping pong. Like they're just what is the thing we can have Grogu do that will
Right.
go viral?
That's a great, yeah.
Oh
Sick
boy.
question.
They
That-
must,
really
right?
that is like a deeply cynical world that you are projecting that is for sure going to happen.
They're
Where you're trying to
100% saying,
calculate
like,
those moments. That
What
are
is
gonna
our
be made.
memeable moment?
Right.
What is the thing that Grogu's going to do
That
physically in relation to something else? Like him eating the eggs or whatever. Yeah.
Maybe crawling back into Yaddle's womb.
Right. You keep pushing that.
Who made the drop? Was that Ben?
No, that was the Drop King.
Wow,
Wow,
the drop
Drop
king
King
singer
himself.
sent in a
DK.
drop. How about
Wow.
that? Out of
Yeah.
retirement.
Hey,
Yeah.
DK, thanks for making our podcast sound like shit. Thanks a lot.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Nick and Mitch are joining us from the Doughboys podcast. If anyone doesn't know about that, I don't know. I'm sure everyone knows.
But yes, a Northeast podcast mini tour conveniently create an opportunity for you guys to stop over in New York for a couple days.
We're thrilled to be here, right?
Oh
Wags?
my God, what a treat to see
Honor
this
and
in a lovely home.
I mean this sincerely. The reason that we're here is probably to do this episode more so than do our tour. I think that is probably accurate. Wags is not a big travel person.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Like it's a nightmare, but
Found it, buddy.
I'm happy to be here. Like I'm happy. I always love coming into the city when and have a reason to do so. And so we're over here for some tour dates anyway. So yeah, but I'm glad we could figure out some studio time.
And to talk about a great New York movie.
Wow, how about that?
That's true. It is true.
It is true. It's a, New York, Art Deco New York, fantasy New York. Yeah.
I'm going to cite many things in this movie as being one of my favorite things of all
There's
time.
no way 1 minute of this thing filmed in New York, right? It was
No,
filmed in
absolutely
North
not.
Carolina.
Entirely in Wilmington, North
Right,
Carolina.
in the big studios
But
there.
they went so hog wild on the buildings and the miniatures for this that they basically were reused for the next decade. So the city of this movie is repurposed and obviously built upon, redesigned for both Schumacher Batmans,
That makes so much
for
sense.
Roland Emmerich
Makes
Godzilla.
sense,
There are
yeah.
like 5 other blockbusters that used this city as a starting point.
That was like my first note was like, this is like Batman. Like that's
Right.
exactly
Gotham-esque.
Yes.
That's great.
There's
No wonder that movie's good. Batman Forever.
because it's built on out
Yeah,
of the
it's
bones
built on the
of
bones
Hudsucker.
of Hudsucker.
Yeah.
It's true. I'm serious.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
It is funny though to think about it. We've talked so much about how bizarre it is that for like 6 years, the takeaway from the success of Batman was people love like Art Deco pastiche
Right.
pulp films rather than superhero movies. It was really like sort of nightmare dystopian cities, right? And that this is kind of like a
The
throwback
comedy version.
comedy building off of, I guess people like this vibe. But yeah, by the time this comes out, a bunch of those other movies were already bombing. Oh, The Shadow uses these buildings as well.
Oh, sure, that makes sense.
A great movie I just rewatched.
And when you say pastiche, you mean an artistic work in a style that imitates that of another work, artist or period, correct?
Yeah, Wiger, hey, will you hand Mitch back his phone? It's not nice to keep it from him. He's having to recite things like this just off
Just
the
off the
dome.
top of my head, I know.
Eyes rolled back in his head like a mental. Incredible.
So everyone was like, when this came out, you read the reviews, and there was this early Coen thing of like, these guys are too good, right? In a way where like a lot of the old guard critical community was like, we get it. These guys are like technically perfect and they're so clever and they've seen a lot of movies and they read a lot of books and all their stuff is really kind of like self-referential. It's really sort of like, look at what we know and we're toying off the history of narrative and film and whatever it is. And I think it reached an apex with this, which is like they're getting studio money to build this sort of like reproduction of like these screwball comedies they grew up loving. And everyone's complaint was like, it is like technically incredible. The production design on this thing, the cinematography, and all of it's like unbelievable. But it's like in a hermetic glass case, it has no feeling. It's all ironic. It's all distanced. Like it's all cynical. It's all passionless, which they've always pushed back against. I think this is like arguably their single most sincere movie. And in certain ways, they're most like nakedly emotional. But the other thing that I like push back on, David's thinking that
I'm
over.
not sure about that, but I know it's more sincere than people gave it credit at the time, which is true of almost every Coen movie. I think that often there was a critical element that was kind of like, we get it with your references and you're sort of like, this is so self-aware and, and I think that's often
The
unfair.
thing that boggles my mind is the people who are pushing back on them the most, and I keep repeating this point, but it's a thing you always see when like young people come out the gate with big hits where a certain percentage of the community will push back and being like, let's not anoint them as masters too quickly. Like, let them prove themselves before we start like elevating people too high.
Can I guess who was pushing back on it? A certain New York critic, Jay Sherman.
He thought it stunk.
He said it stunk. But everyone,
Sherman thought he said
thought
it stinks.
I don't know.
this is my pushback on the pastiche thing, is that people were like, oh, it's just them doing a Sturges movie, or it's them doing a a Sturges movie, or a Capra movie, or a Hawks movie. Like, people kept saying it's a different type of movie. Speaking of films that spanned like a 30-year stretch, what I actually think they're doing in this movie is like mashing up 50 years of film. This is basically the first 5 decades of like movie making styles all put together, which to me is what stops it from being a pastiche, where movies like this often feel airless if it's like the good German thing, where Soderbergh's like, I'm going to try to make it exactly as if I'm going to get the cameras from 1941 and study Casablanca and study the framing and just redo this. And that becomes too much of a technical exercise. This movie is like, hear me out, kind of closer to Star Wars, in that Lucas was sort of like, what do I take from like Westerns and samurai films and Arthurian legend and like combined all these things together? But because what the Coens are doing is just different decades of comedy, I think it got smushed together to people of just they're riffing on one thing, but they're actually picking and choosing from like different comedic movements in film, in my opinion.
There's also like a commonality between this and Star Wars and the presence of Yaddle.
This is true.
Yeah, Yaddle's she's one of the board members.
Yeah.
She's in that scene where they see all the old white guys.
Yeah, she's the
Yaddle
not
kind of
counting the
sticks out.
mezzanine.
Yeah.
Griffin, what was your way in for this movie? I mean, and at what point does it enter your personal top 10?
Yeah, Coen Brothers, Lover, No Country for Old Men, I was like obsessed with, but that was sort of, it felt like a culmination of me getting into them for years and years and years and being like, this is a masterpiece. This is their like crowning achievement. In that like stupid 2007 competition, it felt like between like, are you a No Country guy or There Will Be Blood guy? It was my one fucking semester in film school, and I was like so defensively stumping.
The real answer is
No
Zodiac,
Country.
obviously.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
But
agreed.
I do have No Country right up there. It's an incredible movie.
I think the
Not-
year
not
after
dissing.
that, MoMA does a retrospective of all their movies up until that point. And I go and see this and Barton Fink in the same day, which at that point were maybe
Wow.
the only two I hadn't seen. And it was a chance to see them in theaters. And I was like, oh, I'm going to see the weird one that no one likes. And then after that, I'm going to see the one that's like their most critically beloved in a way. And this screens first, and truly from the first moment is one of my favorite openings in movies, of just like, you have silent title, like 7 title cards, and then just like the music kicks in, the most beautiful miniature shot with like just perfect little like microfiber snow, and Bill Cobb going, that's right, New York.
Wait, is the first thing the suicide, or is it Tim Robbins in front of the job board? It's the suicide
The
first.
first thing, the camera pushes
No, it's
through the entire city
Well, yes.
to
Lovely.
reveal him stepping out into the
Right,
balcony.
and then
Then the
right.
clock goes backwards.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But then I think at first it's Tim Robbins at the job board, and then Hudsucker drops. Yes.
But I truly, I think from that moment was like, holy shit, what the fuck is that? Like, felt chills, and then walked out. Remember texting my dad, I think this is one of my 10 favorite movies of all time. Like, it was kind of an immediate love at first sight thing.
Yeah, this is a very Griffin movie.
It's
I mean,
very
this does
Griffin.
not surprise.
All
I
the
was gonna
things
say,
that it's
yeah.
riffing on are like my favorite era of movies
Yeah.
and comedies and aesthetics. Like,
And you
Yeah.
wish like every woman was like, huh.
yeah,
Yeah. Like you want Jennifer Jason Leigh. Like that's your kind of lady.
everything about this is like the world I want to live.
You kind of wish everyone was like, huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
of.
Huh.
Wait, I'm getting really turned on, David. Keep doing that. But yeah, it was like, right, a thing I had put off seeing for a while because I was like, right, that's the weird left-handed
Yeah.
one.
I knew it also right as the one the Empire magazines of the world would be like, yeah, Hudsuckers. That's the weird one. It's the one no one liked.
Going
That's
into this theater,
interesting that there hasn't been like a more in recent years reclamation of this
I
movie.
think-
'Cause
I
feel like
think it
been
has happened in
some.
the
it's
last
started to happen.
10 years.
Okay.
I think it's
yeah.
become more accepted as like, yeah, they never made bad movies.
The
Yeah.
Metrograph Theater here in New York now screens it every holiday season.
It's a good-
Always
it's a good
screen
holiday
it
movie,
within
yeah.
the week between Christmas and New Year's. And that feels like there is some mild canonization happening
I did not realize it was a Christmas New Year's movie when I was first going into it.
I always put forward that it's like this and Harry Met Sally are the two best New Year's movies because there aren't a lot of good New Year's movies.
No. What are other good New Year's? Well, New Year's Day, obviously.
Two great
Marshall.
And two great New York movies.
Two great New York movies. Yeah.
I Strange Days at New Year's.
Strange Days.
Strange Days for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes any kind of turn of the millennium movie is sort of secretly a New Year's movie.
Rudolph
like there's a few
Shiny
of
New
those.
Year.
That's I think that's definitely that to me that's a New Year's movie.
Little Baby New Year, Big Ears.
Griff, this does seem like such a you movie in many ways. I could see people walking to this movie being very confused by it back in the day.
Totally.
And it feels like it could be a divisive movie. And also just the fact that it is like an alternate, it feels weirdly, even still watching it feels weirdly modern, even though of course it's whatever the
It is. I also I think in a certain way culture has caught up to this movie. Like this is them combining the vibes of the 1900s through the 1950s into a movie in the 1990s that was a little prescient about like corporate culture that has only grown since then.
Sure.
It feels like this film is in certain ways a reaction to them trying to make sense of how to be personal artists within like a massive industry. Like I think that the oddly personal aspect of this film, beyond it just being like the two of them and Sam Raimi being like, what's the kind of movie we love? What's the kind of thing that would be so much fun to make? Is also like the idea of trying to make something pure within this like huge lumbering machinery is like trying to convince a board to sell a hula hoop, which is like standing up and being like, and like there's sand inside.
So I'm looking at New Year's movies. The problem is a lot of them are Christmas movies, and that doesn't count. To me, if you're more of a Christmas movie, you don't count. But I do think Phantom Thread gets the New Year's title.
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's got an iconic New Year's party in it that has become kind of like, I feel like people are always posting a picture of it.
I agree with that.
I don't know, man. Ghostbusters 2 is a New Year's movie.
It is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I say another one that isn't technically a New Year's movie, but I do think it is a New Year's movie?
Go ahead.
Gremlins 2. They're in the lobby and they're singing New York, New York, and they're doing a countdown, but it's not really New Year's Eve.
But it's New Year's coded.
It's New Year's coded.
Countdown.
Yes.
Because Gremlins 1 is Christmassy, right?
Yes, yeah.
Gremlins 1's explicitly Christmas.
Right.
Mm.
Here's, I think, a reason why I love this so much as a New Year's movie. It starts with Tim Robbins about to jump at 11:55, right? And Bill Cobb just being like, a week ago, this guy was the head of a company. How has he fallen so low that he's about to kill himself? And the movie comes back around to this guy, like, getting the girl at 12:05, right? Like, it's a movie about, for me, that feeling I always have on New Year's that is just like,
You're on a ledge.
The highest highs and the lowest lows.
Yes.
Like this forced kind of like introspection and retrospection combined with this notion of like a hope of something great happening.
I'll just say, for me, my way into this movie was, Mitch talked about it being a blockbuster film. My parents rented this when I was a kid.
It worked.
And I watched this. Well, no, yes, I guess it worked. And they
did
box
rent
got
it.
them to rent it.
I'm saying that, the cover worked.
Yeah. No, you're correct. I thought you were saying something different. The movie did not work on me as a kid because I was just baffled by it.
Did your parents like it?
Or I remember my parents laughing at it and me not understanding what was going on and just being like, "This movie is weird. Why are they talking like this?"
Your parents didn't like it either?
No, my parents did like it.
Liked
They were there. They enjoyed the movie. But like, I revisited this movie in adulthood and was like, "Oh wait, I actually really like this," and I've watched it a few times since. And again, I mentioned my wife really loves this movie. So like. But it is kind of it's unmooring as a viewer. Like if you don't know what you're getting into, you're unsettled. And that sounds like that's what your viewing was, Mitch.
For a little bit. I mean, like I was shocked at what I was watching. I knew nothing about it, and I had no idea what it was about at all. So it was a lot to take in. Also, do you think your parents will regret showing you that movie when you jump out of the podcast building in like 10 years or whatever, when you pull a Hudsucker? When we're in Headgum Dubai or where the hell we are.
Hell yeah. Getting like blood, there's some like withered husk of a headgum hunk, and you're like getting his blood put into you.
Do you remember when you saw it for the first time?
College, 100%. It was college.
DVD?
There was a little service called Love Film. I've brought this up before, but it was the Britain's Netflix before Netflix bought it and subsumed it.
But it was the original
disc rental,
UK,
the old
right.
discs.
Yeah.
You get the discs in the mail. And I was already obsessed with the Coens, and so I was filling in my gaps. I 100% remember and just love at first sight watching it on my little 10-inch TV by my bed. I watched a lot of great movies there.
I mean, I had the miraculous thing of getting to see it projected on film for the first time, and then I bought it on DVD and was like obsessively showing it to people, and I had to keep being like, you can't imagine how good this looks. Like, as good as it looks on a 10-inch screen, it's one of those movies where you're like, the effects actually hold up the better resolution you see it in versus a lot of movies of this era where you're like, it actually benefits from watching in lower res.
Do you think this is the most I wrote this down and I'm asking you guys because you're experts. Is this the most like kind of Lynchian Coen Brothers movie or a Terry Gilliam kind of
There's definitely some Gilliam in there. Yeah. It's interesting. The Lynchy thing, I mean, I feel like Lynch and the Coens are both similarly obsessed with like old eras of speaking, right? Like the time specific, era specific dialects. And that part of it, I think, evokes something. Like Lynch movies will have one character show up and talk like this.
Yeah. And also, I mean, the bellboy at time, like the elevator boy, seems like kind of like a nightmare sequency at some point.
You know what? Barton Fink is very
yeah.
That's the
Barton Fink seems so much to me though. Felt when I was watching this, I was like, Barton Fink seems so much more in the real world than this feels.
Sure, which is true. It is. Yeah. You're right. It's actually more about like reality than this is.
But that's
I mean, like if we're looking for I was just going to say if we're going to look for a director as a point of comparison, to me, and maybe it's just because Batman is right there, but it feels like a Tim Burton film in a lot of ways, especially like it's just such a broad arch morality play, and then just with some light fantastical elements that also exists in a time and place that's both specific but non-specific. It doesn't actually exist.
Well, it's what I love about the opening, beyond it being such a beautiful shot and the score being so great and whatever, but the opening line of the movie being, "That's right," which I just find so funny as a joke to start a movie with a response to a thing that wasn't like asked, and then just saying like, "That's right, New York City," which is basically the movie pointing and being like, you need to accept that this is New York City. This does not look like reality.
Yeah.
We're in like Fantasia.
You're never going to see the
movie.
sun in a weird sort of way.
There's no like baseline normalcy that this movie's going to veer off from. We're starting in like a fairy tale picture book world.
Elevator boy, of course, Jim True Frost. Everyone know Jim True Frost, or am I the only Wire fan here?
Oh, he's in The Wire.
He's Prez.
Oh my god!
Oh wait, that's
teacher. Wild.
He's also Buzz, and he's got the fuzz, and he makes the elevator do what she does.
That's right.
That's wow.
It's funny because him on The Wire. I know you haven't watched The Wire, Griff. I think, right?
I've not. I've been too busy watching Greg the Bunny.
Yeah, right. On The Wire, he plays like a
time.
kind of a soft-spoken, squirrely cop who's bad at his job. Like he does not play a guy who's like, "Hey, man, boss, how you doing?" Like it's funny to see him doing this.
I knew him, and
overly drawn out and like kind of sluggish on The Wire.
He's really good. It's a great
on that.
Yeah.
Season 4 of The Wire is the Greg the Bunny perspective, Griff. So it's a good crossover if you want to watch.
When Sean Baker won all the Oscars for Anora, I was like, I should go back and watch Greg the Bunny because it's so incongruous that he created Greg the Bunny. And it's so funny to think back to like, that's where he was 20 years ago. And now he's like the king of indie cinema. And then I rewatched the full season of Greg the Bunny and realized, oh, he had nothing to do with the Fox show. He and the other guy created for cable access. And then that guy developed it for Fox. And I was like, well, I just watched 13 episodes of Greg the Bunny for no reason.
You're just hanging out with him.
It's okay.
I think everyone said that when they watched Greg the Bunny, so you're not alone.
Because it was Stephen Levitan did it for Fox.
Well, he was the old hand they brought in with Dan Milano, who was the co-creator and the puppeteer. And then Dan Milano becomes a robot chicken guy.
Okay.
Yeah. I just completed the entire Greg Bunny family tree. I made sense of how it came into existence. Thank you. John Harkness, film critic, writing for Sight and Sound in 1994 when this film came out. Reviewed this movie in a real, like, I'm going to reveal that the Emperor has no clothes. These guys are like all flash and no substance. His headline was "The Sphinx Without a Riddle."
Sure.
But they describe the movie.
It's really weird burn.
Yes. He describes the movie as Norval Barnes is a Preston Sturges hero trapped in a Frank Capra story, and never the twain shall meet, especially not in a world that seems to have been created by Fritz Lang.
Right. It's getting at your mashup idea.
Right. That he's like, it's two different styles of like kind of Hollywood dramedy and Hollywood pure like screwball comedy in a sort of dystopian, almost German expressionist relic of an idea of city building and world building, right? And then he also says, obviously, the Jennifer Jason Leigh character is like a Howard Hawks character. And his whole read is that the movie's mashup is fundamentally wrong because you can't put a Sturges character in a Capra
Right, you can't
world.
just take all these things and put them together. I get
he's
that.
also like they're incompatible worldviews. But I think he misidentified it. I think this movie, not to get too eggheady, is Capra character in a Sturges world. His argument is the character's too cynical in a world that's too pure.
Yeah, no.
And it's the other way around.
He's a sweetie pie.
Right.
Yeah.
My first word of advice for this guy is chill out, nerd.
Agreed.
You gotta chill out. Is he still alive? I don't even know.
Unfortunately, he's passed away.
He's passed away. All right. Well, chill out. Rest in peace and chill out. You're like, even no matter what, even if you have like some of these complaints or something, like there's no denying that this movie looks beautiful and is like, it's funny. There was stuff when I was watching it when I first saw Jennifer Jason Leigh doing her thing, and I was like, this is a really big performance. And as the movie went on, I was like, this is great. It's like this is what the world is. I'm accepting it for what it is.
Reviews at the time, and people really singled her out as like, she bombs the whole thing.
Oh, that's
why
not
did
fair.
they let her do this voice?
Yeah.
And they're like, she came in for the audition and had the voice, and we were like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, why wouldn't she do that voice?
This character wouldn't make sense.
Yeah,
if she
this
doesn't
character would
talk
be
like
dumb
that.
if she didn't talk.
They
Exactly.
were like, thank God she like prepped this.
Yes, it is big. I mean, when I was first seeing it, I was like, this is big, but everything is big.
Everything's
Exactly.
big.
It's I don't know. It's a pretty astonishing performance.
Yeah, on a technical level,
Yeah.
it is insane.
Who's your fave? Who's everyone's fave?
Well, my
It's a stack cast.
Yeah.
my whole thought about it when I first saw it and she was being really big, and then when it comes around and she like humanizes the character and you know, like what's his name, who's the Robbins, who's a hayseed, is kind of like, you put on this attitude, and then at the end you kind of see it breaking, but she's still remaining the same character. You're like, that is a good performance.
The
There's
more
no
I
denying
watch it,
that.
I think she is the best performance in the movie.
She is certainly my nominee. Yes.
That's your one nomination?
Yes. Yeah.
I think
supporting or lead?
Supporting.
Can I tell you who I think is number one? I think Yaddle is probably the best.
She is good.
really good in
I
this.
mean, this is a hotness conversation, obviously, now.
There is
It's Yaddle number one.
James Urbaniak,
fucking Bill Cobb's number two.
friend of the
That's hot.
show, past and future guest.
James Urbaniak, the great James Urbaniak, who's capable of going, huh, if he
I was going to
wants.
say, this
Yeah.
is a shared favorite movie of ours, and every time we hang out, we just like talk about this movie again because we've always
You could plop him right into this movie.
absolutely
He'd be great.
would fit perfectly.
Yeah.
And he always points out he says it's one of his favorite moments of like performance he's ever seen. There is the scene where Tim Robbins is explaining what he imagines Amy Archer looks like, right? When he's like talking trash about her.
Yes, yeah.
After she's published the slam piece. And he's like, she's probably one of those women who's gotten infected with the cultural idea that she doesn't need a man or whatever it is. And she starts to get flustered, like it's clearly kind of getting to her, where she wants him to be attracted to her, even if it's only a version of her that he doesn't know, whatever, right? And she has this moment where she says, like, well, maybe she's one of those women who cares more about her work than her exterior appearance. But with her hands, while she's saying work, she gestures to her hair and makeup. And when she says personal appearance, she mimes writing a piece.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, like writing down and like on a typewriter. And it's such a funny inversion.
It's great.
Yeah, she's great in this. My other secret favorite in this is Charles Durning, who I think is unbelievable.
He's so funny in that, in the outfit too. I love his little halo.
All of it. But like when in the Straight Story episode, you were saying, is there an argument to be made for Harry Dean Stanton getting an Oscar nomination for saying one line 30 seconds at the end of the film because of how well he does it? The first time I saw this movie, when I didn't think Charles Durning was coming back, he's third billed in the opening credits and then immediately jumps out a window. I was like, he earned that billing just for the silent contemplation of the suicide.
My favorite
It's
is
so
when
good.
he,
And the physical
kind of goes
prepping.
into
Oh,
like Usain
yeah.
Bolt, like into his stance where he's
Yes.
about to, go.
he nails the comeback, but
he
like,
maybe is my favorite.
The
in the movie.
amount
Such
he
a
conveys.
hilarious looking person.
he is one of my
I am not trying to
favorite
body
actors
shame
of all
Charles Durning, but God bless that body of his.
Well, so he has this like great dance background.
Right.
We talked about a recent
younger
episode that I
Durning.
shamefully have never seen Best Little Horror House in Texas, but watch his number all the time. But he's got dance training. And you see in like the way,
and also he like, to be clear, fought on Omaha Beach. Like, and I'm like, yeah, funny body old there, Durning. Like he's like a
he's
war
like
hero.
front lines of D-Day. There's an incredible YouTube video of Tom Hanks introducing him at a D-Day anniversary event.
He fought on Omaha Beach in World War II.
on
Okay,
D-Day.
I don't know if it was
Yes.
another. If it was
I've also
fighting
been
a
to Omaha
person,
Beach, but
fighting some guy.
not during war. It'd be funny if I was like, I was on Omaha Beach, like, just to, get some raised. Like,
Isn't there some movie where there's a joke? Oh no, it's the SNL Goodbye Saigon sketch where Will Ferrell keeps having the Vietnam flashbacks. And one of the other characters is like, he served, and they were like, no, he just went to Vietnam on vacation.
Right.
They're like, did anything bad happen? I think he lost his luggage.
I have a boring,
like a true war hero. Yeah.
He's one of my favorites, but I do have a boring answer. My favorite lemonade maker.
yeah, Mr. Newman.
He's just so good.
It's a joy to see a great like that, a titan,
Yeah.
like be a silly guy.
Well, and just also agree to do this,
Right,
which
exactly.
is kind of amazing.
And
I-
this is that era where like,
And he's hot, by the way.
Well,
And
oh my God, when
God.
he takes his
when he
shot
got
off,
the shirt off.
his shirt off for the fucking massage, it's insane.
it's insane how handsome that guy was up until his dying day, and probably still looks pretty fucking.
is,
good.
Yeah, let's
is he in
get
his
that.
70s here?
Let's dig him up.
Yeah, we gotta dig him up. We gotta see how he
He must
looks.
have been. close
He was
to his
born in
70s, right?
1925, so he would have been like about 70, like about hitting 70 soon.
He's getting the massage shirtless, and then he stands up and just
Got the towel around him or whatever.
my torso has never looked that good in my life.
Nick,
It looks fucking incredible.
come on. You look good.
That's
Nick,
nice of you to
come
say,
on.
Mitch, but I'm gonna look like fucking Paul Newman.
Nick
He's
is looking
like
good.
fucking
By the way,
jacked.
I've been in the room with Nick before, but never for the podcast. But Nick's looking good.
Nick's looking
Thank
good.
you. That's
Nick,
very nice. of
Nick,
you.
By the way,
I'm
you
not-
know
I'm
who
not
else is
fishing
looking
for that.
good? Mitch is looking
Mitch,
good.
well, I already told Mitch
looking
he's
pretty
looking
good.
good.
But I gotta say
Guys.
on Mike that Mitch is looking pretty
Yeah,
good.
it's too kind, but look, Nick, I think it's only fair.
By the way, quickly, anything you want to say about David and I?
David, Griff, you guys are looking good. In fact, I'll put it in terms I think you like more. Wags, I think you should take your shirt off. I think we should see how.
This isn't a video podcast.
Let's see if you've got 70-something Newman energy.
People will just have to take us at
Below
our
the
word.
No,
because, like,
Newman is he is a babe.
It's that era of Newman where I feel like in the 80s, he gets all serious. I mean, he was always a very serious actor, right? But he's playing like these really, and then in the 90s, it's like, what if I'm like a rascal? Like Nobody's Fool, right? These movies where it's like everyone loves old blue-eyed Newman, right? Like, so
But
like,
that's this run of like him playing a grump, or like The Verdict, where it's like a guy who's kind of lost
well,
his
he's all
way.
fucked up in The Verdict.
This
And
is
then
just-
Color of Money, it's sort of like, he's hot. Like, let's just like still admit that he's like a hottie.
But this is him playing like an absolute cartoon villain. It is so funny to see him not be an anti-hero, not be a guy who's like sort of at odds with himself, but just like a cartoonishly evil person. And they talk about that they were just like, don't try to find any depth in this.
Right. This is the same year as Nobody's Fool,
Right.
actually. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a good movie.
Play it real, but like, do not try to humanize this guy. Don't try to find a core of what animates him. He is an evil businessman who likes being evil and smoking cigars.
He's great.
He's so good.
He's so good. He is probably my MVP, and I do hope that Blank Check can get a nod from the Newman estate to dig him up so we can see how.
I
he
think we
looks
should
now.
dig
I
him
think we
up. I
should
think
dig
it's
him up. He probably looks good.
Can we get
let's
like a
find out.
sub license from them to label this a Newman's Own podcast?
Fuck, guys. He was cremated. This is a
Fuck.
disaster.
Okay, here's a real question.
I bet those ashes look pretty good.
Let's dig him up.
Did they donate his eyes to science?
I don't think so. I'm sorry.
They
It's
burned
Jerry,
the eyes?
Jerry Orbach, is the famous eye donator.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you guys know this? That Jerry Orbach donated his eyes, and for years in New York City, there'd be subway ads promoting
a New York,
organ
a
donorship.
true New York legend, to be clear, Jerry Orbach, one of the great New Yorkers.
But they would just have these big ads that were like Jerry Orbach's headshot, and it would say like he gave his eyes to science.
That's
Shouldn't you
wild.
consider it?
I think my eyes are a little too tiny for science. I don't know if they were. I've got very tiny eyes. So maybe they would like to study them, Wags. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Worth preserving.
Newman
They've
only
seen some
did
things.
excluding Cars. He only did 4 films after this year.
So after this, Nobody's
So
Fool is
he's
this
got
same year.
Same year. And he gets an Oscar nomination
Right.
for Nobody's Fool.
You're counting that as one of the 4?
Yeah. So I'm saying after.
Then it's Where the Money Is,
He did do that.
Road to Perdition.
Yeah. That was his final film role on screen.
Right. Cars
He's
is
amazing in it.
Right. Last theatrical
Yes,
release.
He's a voice of a fucking car in Cars. He's really good in it.
Excuse me, he's the voice of the
Doc.
car.
Yeah,
he's a
he's really
judge.
good.
Show him some respect.
He is a judge.
Yeah,
But
Judge
he's also
Doc Hudson.
he won like the old cup.
Yeah,
right?
Cars contain multitudes. What do you mean? You can't limit him to one profession.
He was 83 years old.
The 4th movie he made was Message in a Bottle, right?
Well, you've only named 3 of the live actions. Message in a Bottle, Indeed, which he's
Message in a Bottle, Nobody's
the
Fool,
Costner movie,
Where the Money Is.
No, I'm not counting Nobody's Fool.
Okay, so then Where the Money Is.
Message in a Bottle, Road
Message
to
in a Bottle,
Perdition,
Road to
and you're
Perdition.
forgetting Twilight.
Oh.
Sexy thriller Twilight.
I always think Twilight was earlier.
Yeah, it's Hackman and Newman
Yeah.
being sexy together. 2 sexy 70-somethings.
Yeah. And
Probably a lot
Sarandon.
of like burly chests in that movie.
Yeah.
You know? And like wiry chests. I've never seen Twilight.
I've never seen Twilight. I've seen one scene from Twilight many times.
There is a famous nude scene in Twilight.
Oh.
Paul Newman shows Sack. No, it's Reese Witherspoon has one scene I've studied extensively in that.
Never seen Twilight. That's also Robert
Paul
Benton.
Newman shows off the twins.
Benton did Nobody's Fool with him, and he did Twilight with him.
Yeah. There's a story, because Liev Schreiber's in that one scene I've seen many times. And he has a story about Paul Newman, Joanne Woodward visiting him on set and walking away when they were getting ready to do a take. And he just looks at her and then looks back to Liev Schreiber and he goes, "What an ass on her."
On
God.
Joanne Newman?
Yeah.
Joanne Woodward?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
Schreiber was like, "This is like rules that this guy's still so fucking horny
He's
for
so
his
horny
wife."
for his wife that he's like, come on, Leah, if you want to take a piece
But
of
he was
that.
like respectfully, as if he was looking at the Mona Lisa. Look at that ass.
God, he should have won an Oscar for saying that.
Yeah.
Just for that line. Yeah, he's the best.
Our buddies.
Now my wife's gonna be like, "You never say anything about that, like that about me."
Why aren't you talking about me to Liev Schreiber?
Just describing my ass to other men.
Your impression of your wife.
She's a Southern?
I didn't realize your wife like owned a store in Mississippi.
Our buddies at the Big Picture just did at the time we're recording this very recently did a Paul Newman.
They did
for his
an anniversary
centennial.
Yes, right.
And they talked about the fact that he was an alcoholic until his like 60s.
Oh, wow.
That he was like a case of beer or 6 martinis a night guy.
Oh, my
How
God.
And that's what they're saying.
fella.
They're like, for a guy who drank that much for that many decades, there is no period of time in which he looked bad. Not only is there never like a run where you're like, oh yeah, there are like 3 years where he's really bloated, but it didn't even catch up to him when he was old.
Some people just have that. They can just do it. They can just do that every night and it doesn't affect him. I don't know how they.
He
I don't know how
might
they
have been the
fucking
most
do it.
beautiful man in the history of movies.
He's
the
up
most-
there.
Yes, he's the best looking movie star of all time.
I really think so.
I think doing his filmography is a really great way to experience like how Hollywood changed.
Yes.
Over the course of like 4 decades. And it's not like he made the best movies of all time, although he made a lot of really good ones. But it is very, very fun to watch a Paul Newman movie. Like just pick one. Like you'll have a good time.
Paul Newman is kind of a Forrest Gump figure that you can track the progression of American movies from the 1950s to the 2000s through. Like it all kind of happens either he's in reaction, response, ahead of the curve,
I'm
pushing
mostly
things
talking
in a
about
different
Cars.
direction. Yeah, well, he was miles ahead in that movie.
He was.
But
Y'all seen Cars?
Yeah, I've seen Cars.
You seen Cars, Mitch?
Is this the animated
Cars,
Pixar movie?
Pixar's Cars.
No, it's
Pixar's
the live
Cars.
action.
Yeah, that's real.
Are they going to do a Disney live action recreation?
They should.
Oh, that would be so good.
And they shouldn't talk.
It feels like the only one that they should do a live action version.
Yeah.
of.
Just get some cars.
Get Cars.
Slap some eyes on them.
No, you know how like when they'll show like, oh, here's the live action cast of The Little Mermaid, and you're like, ugh, they made like Sebastian look like a real crab,
Right, which I
Flounder
hate.
look like a real fish. They should literally just get real cars, not put eyes and mouths on them,
I love that.
drive them around.
Except for Mater, he's Larry the Cable Guy painted.
Right, just face painted and mounted. Just
Paul Newman is one of these guys who like really his career kind of charts the death of the traditional studio system, right? And like new Hollywood, where he's like thought of as sort of part of this younger group of movie stars that he actually predated, but he didn't really come into his own until the old system was breaking down and he was kind of the countercultural old guy. And even to the like degree that he like embraced going gray earlier and sort of became this like aspirational figure for a countercultural movement who was a little bit ahead of them. And this feels like him making a movie of everything that movies were right before he really figured out his career, in a way where you're like, he was 10 years too young to have played like the Tim Robbins character in a movie like this. And now he has come all the way back around to playing the old grumpy guy.
Yeah, and the thing referencing those kinds of movies. That's really interesting. I never thought about it in those terms, but it's like, it's fascinating that a guy whose name is Paul Newman to our generation was always thought of as an old man.
Bit of an old man.
Nick, that's a great thought.
Good point.
That is so smart and interesting.
You guys are the Doughboys.
This is true.
I do feel like he is the gold standard for lemonade. For supermarket lemonade.
You are not. I mean, my introduction to Newman is Newman's Own Lemonade, probably.
Right. Was it? Did it not begin with the dressing though?
It began with salad dressing.
That was the empire was built on salad dressing.
Guy was like, you gotta bottle this stuff, Paul. Like, I mean, I don't know how good
it was his personal recipe.
He was probably trying to like get a threesome going with him and Joanne, where he's like, I mean, this salad dressing's great. Can I stay the night? Like, but because I don't know who it was, but I know what he would do is he would give people salad dressing.
It was his version of the Tom
He'd be
Cruise
like, I'm coming to your house.
Yeah,
I'll bring you some salad
Except
dressing.
he actually made it. Right. He had a good recipe.
But right, like, did he then go like, maybe we should, I don't know, lemons, sugar? What do you guys think?
But he was already doing like Hole in the Wall Gang. Like, he was one of the most like philanthropic movie stars even before.
Obviously,
that point.
the charity stuff is great. I'm just saying, like, the lemonade's actually good.
The lemonade
is good.
The Newman products are
They're
good. The
generally
Newman
pretty good.
His frozen pizza is
I was
good.
going to say,
I love his frozen pizza.
His frozen pizza is great.
when you guys had us on to do a Tombstone Pizza episode during the lockdown,
That's
and
right.
we were talking different frozen pizza brands, I said that, for my money, is the best frozen pizza on the market, and I stand by it.
It's way up there. It's really.
I like
really,
the
really
four
great.
cheese.
Oh yeah.
And the cured pepperoni, my man.
I don't know if I've had that one.
Well, you gotta.
We could do an episode on Newman's Own. We've never tackled.
Yeah, I guess
that
you're right.
It's a
brand,
big
but I think we can handle
universe.
it, yeah.
You need to eat a lot of salad though, because I feel like they got like a ton
For
of
sure.
bottles.
It's got a lot of dressing.
I'm out.
Unless you just chug that.
All right, no, hey, now you're getting me back in. I'll chug the dressing.
Shots of it.
But that is like a company that now 4 decades in is still all post-tax revenue goes to charity.
Yeah.
Pretty great.
All of it.
Yeah.
Kind of amazing.
Yeah, he's great.
Good for him.
And Ryan Reynolds has the same setup for Mint Mobile, right?
Yeah. All of that goes.
Oh, that's
to
great.
charity.
Good for him.
Do you know what Ivan? You know what?
Charity is suing Justin Baldoni, right? That's what he.
Big charity.
Do you know a brand I love too? I don't know if you guys had this. Yaddle Zone. Have you guys had Yaddle Zone?
Did you hear? This is crazy because I heard on set there was Chiadi Mundi has told the story.
Yeah.
Of that there was a moment where Yoda turned to him while Yaddle was walking away and said, "Ass on her checkout."
I heard that. Wiger did that as the crucified guy again. He put his arms out like the crucified guy.
Did you hear Coyote Monday on Jay Moore's podcast? He was telling some crazy stories.
Yeah,
Because I think that's where that clip came from.
It was.
And
that
he was
was
just
it.
talking about all his former co-stars.
Yeah.
I'm so happy Jay Moore has a podcast.
Yeah. I never realized that Sassy Tin was addicted to poppers.
Yeah.
And it's crazy
It's
that he
dark.
still is like so on point. Like,
I
you
know.
watch that movie, he doesn't miss a mark.
Well, basically he was one of the like when you call action, he's just in it.
He just suddenly
Just
loves
in
it.
it, yeah.
Right.
And there are people who work like that, you know.
Did you guys see that tweet that was like Bill Simmons like watching Phantom Menace or doing a where he's like kind of like Sebulba? You know, like that was
Got the pro Sebulba.
like just like 10 minutes and it was like I kind of like Sebulba. What do you guys think? Sebulba's got to come back.
I want to bring this up because
Sebulba?
I want to bring something. I love Sebulba.
Me too.
Sebald was a great character.
Well, you like his sportsmanship and his general kind of like on-field demeanor. And
yeah.
Also his personal life.
It aligns with my sports team and my life and how I treat things. I wanted to bring this up because we're just like Newman's Own, we come from a food podcast. We're sandwich guys, I guess. That's
we're
what
sandwich
we do.
guys.
Doughboys is almost a term I would use. Yeah.
That is sad that we are just sandwich guys. I guess when you boil it down, we're fucking sandwich guys. And I went to the Nighthawk Cinema.
That's right.
The other day, yes, I saw.
How was The Accountant 2?
The Accountant 2 is like it's a fun movie. It's not a great movie, but it is like it's fun. John Barenthal is having fun in the movie, and it's fun to not be insensitive here. I'm trying to put this in a good way, but Affleck is playing it more like someone who's on the spectrum in 2 than he was in 1, which is kind of strange.
Right. In 1, it's, I feel like, a very thin gloss of like, that's his superpower.
Yes. And in 2, you're like, oh, he's like, you're really seeing more of the side that he's like on this, which is, it's strange.
He's going full Bazinga.
He's going full Bazinga. He is. Griff, thank you for putting it into a good term.
I'm trying to think like what is the most sensitive way.
That is 100%
like Hollywood autism, essentially. Yes,
right.
He's really doing it, and just you guys gave me some suggestions on things to get there, and it's just a great.
You went to the Nighthawk.
They got that interesting new sandwich which you ordered, right?
You
didn't. You got the tendies.
I got the tendies.
Did you like the tendies?
I thought the tendies were fantastic.
Wow.
I thought
what kind of different sauces were we talking about?
They had a great. I think it was like a dill ranch, or I think it was buttermilk ranch, but there was a strong dill flavor to it. It was
cornflake crusted.
The cornflake crusted
Really
chicken
good
tenders,
taste.
because I wanted to get popcorn too. So a sandwich, I was like,
you get the regular or the Nighthawk popcorn.
I went with your suggestion. I got the Nighthawk
that
popcorn.
seasoning's unbelievable, right?
I'm gonna if
citric acid, a little bit of salt. Yeah.
If someone gives me a food suggestion, I'm gonna eat it. Wags will know
that's
this.
true.
I got the Fire Walk with Me cocktail.
My favorite cocktail there, for sure.
You said one of the best cocktails in the city.
A frozen tequila cocktail.
Yeah.
He said that.
Oh, okay.
I do like it a lot. Yeah.
And a good time. A little chatty. The theater was a little bit chatty, but
we apologize for that.
Yeah. So yeah.
You got a movie like The Accountant 2. I guess you can't really hope for a totally sort of devoted audience. I mean,
you guys, Griffin Sims were sitting behind me, and I was eating, and they're like, I think he likes it. Like that was them just.
They got the sandwich though, which I was recommending to you, even though I think the tendies was the better option.
Yeah,
you're coming off of a big food day.
Yes,
but they got a celery root pastrami sandwich now.
Yeah,
that is like curing celery root in the style of pastrami.
Okay,
with that seasoning on multigrain with like the onions, and it's.
Is it a vegetarian sandwich?
It's a fully veggie sandwich.
Wow.
Yeah. I think it's even vegan.
Wow.
Yeah.
That place, it rules. It's such a cool. It's wild to me that Los Angeles doesn't have. I mean, we have a lot. Look, we're spoiled in a lot of different ways, but there's nothing that checks the same box. The cool bar in there and everything. It's really great.
Yeah, there is an Alamo in LA, but it's there's one of them,
and I feel like it hasn't gone over that well in LA.
It's in an interest
so weirdly placed. Yeah.
It's in downtown. It's right above a train stop, but which is nice. That. It's like directly upstairs from Metro stop. But for people who are used to driving there, it's a pretty inconvenient place to park.
Nighthawk has 2 locations in New York, and I think they kind of are what Alamo was in Texas 30 years ago. And then obviously when these things, it's what you guys talk about all the time, but when they scale up to become chains, you start having to make these like strategic concessions and tightenings. And I think they've done as good of a job in certain ways as you can of still making things feel like cool and personal. But Nighthawk still has that like, right, it's close enough to the ground.
It's right. It's like nice local business, right?
And the Alamo, like you'll be watching a movie and you hear like, "All aboard!" You hear like the train, the conductor yelling for the train.
Yeah, it is weird that the LA Metro is steam trained.
We keep it old school.
I've still never ridden the LA Metro. I want to.
Wow.
You're ever out there?
That's weird because you're out there all the time.
I've been to Los Angeles several times in my life.
When was the last time?
2019 or 2018, like before the pandemic.
Okay.
The D line right now, which is
it was right before you went to Wuhan. Sorry, go on, Nick.
I was tending to my pangolin farm there. Is that what they're called? I forget it. Oh, God.
Formerly, the Purple Line
Sure.
is closed for 70 days right now as of this recording because
70 days is a very specific amount of days.
It is.
The New York City subway is kind of like, I don't know, spring. Like, like they tend to be pretty chill about it. Okay, it's closed for 70 days.
That's the span they gave us.
The ring times 10.
Yeah, it's
good
kind
point.
I said 70 days, but the city announced it as the ring times 10.
Yeah,
because they know it's movie lovers.
It's Hollywood. It's
Right.
Hollywood.
It's Tinseltown. But it's extending the D line all the way west from downtown, and there will be a stop directly below the Academy Museum.
Oh wow.
Okay. That's
which
fine.
is kind of a
So
rad place.
The D is the purple line.
Yes,
the D
yeah.
is the purple line. Okay,
yeah, Fairfax and Wilshire.
See, when they do renovations here in the city, it is like 3 out of every 5 Tuesdays for the next 7 years, the train will be on fire.
I said,
It'll last that long.
have you ridden the subway yet, Nick? I'm excited for you to ride the New York
Out
City
here?
subway.
No, I've not
Yeah.
gotten a chance to do, but I will today.
But have you ever ridden the subway? Surely you've
Of
ridden it in
course,
the
yeah.
past.
No,
Yes,
yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Every time I'm in New York.
I just want you. My daughter is getting really into the subway because I've been pushing it so hard.
Does she have a favorite line?
Well, the 3 train, which is sort of our train.
Got it. Yeah.
But she's very intent on me taking the 7 train and she wants to take it too. It's not near us. But so I have to take a picture of the 7. I have to start taking pictures of every train I ride so I can show her.
My friend who's got Alex Perlin, the great oft-mentioned Alex Perlin, who has a son about your daughter's age. They live off the 7 train. And he's similarly public transit obsessed. But he's like, it is the best line to live off of with a train obsessed kid because it just basically goes back and forth.
Yeah,
a
that's
pretty
true.
controlled number of stops, and most of it's above ground.
Above ground, you can
so it's
stuff
really
to see.
scenic. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I love the 7 train. I think it's a great line.
You reminding me of something. Can I pitch this to you? There's
It goes to the Mets.
there's a new scary movie coming out, and I was on the Fat Guy chain and we were pitching this around, but
But should clarify that the Fat Guy chain it's a group of friends that are talking in group messages.
Sorry, yeah. John Gabris, Stavros, and Zach Sherry. We're all on the Fat Guy chain.
3 of the greats.
We have a blast in there. But there's a new scary movie coming out, and we were saying like a good ring thing is like the curse tape is Rust. It's just it's a copy of
That's
Rust.
pretty good.
And then Alec Baldwin crawls out of the TV at some point in the movie. We were saying that's what I was thinking. But I want to pitch this to the Wayans. I don't know if you can just pitch a specific bit to the Wayans brothers.
I think they're blankies. So I think if you just
They're definitely blankies.
probably the best way to do it is just to do what you just
All right, great. So all right, it's in.
They'll reach out.
They're brainstorming 6 now. They signed a deal to come back and do Scary Movie 6.
Yes, yeah, no,
They're back.
He's saying they're back.
This is. I want this in the. I want the curse.
They're gonna do it all. Honora.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like what scary
What are
movie
the
will
scariest?
go
Well,
after.
that's the thing. Scary Movie 4 has 20 minutes on Brokeback Mountain.
Yes, I'm sure, but it's aged very well too. I'm sure.
I guess there'll be a lot of Sinners. Sinners will be prime.
Do you think they've been throwing pencils at the ceiling with a completely blank dry erase board for 6 months, and then Sinners came out?
Thank God. The amount of pussy eating alone.
Laptop keyboards on fire. Here we go. Okay.
All right. So I'm going to open the dossier.
Please
I'm realizing we're going all over the place.
Yeah.
Here, but we do have a dossier here, and I do need to, of course, edify you to something you may already know, which is that Joel Coen and Sam Raimi are longtime friends who met working as an editor for Edna Ruth Paul in New York when they were young, up and comers. And
Joel
Raimi,
Coen cuts his teeth doing low budget horror as an editor, assistant editor, and one of those movies he happens to work on. He basically talks about one of them was never released,
right?
2 of them have been forgotten forever,
right?
And the other one was The Evil Dead.
Correct. It was one film called Fear No Evil, another one he got fired from called Nightmare, and one called The Evil Dead. A good movie.
And
great movie.
Basically, that's the last time he edits for anyone else. But it that relationship, him meeting him, it all starts to come together. Their careers start to roll.
So they were pals, and obviously this is the only Coen Brothers film that Raimi has a writing credit on, right?
Well, the Coens have a writing credit,
On
of
Crime
course,
Wave.
on Crime Wave,
Yes.
which Raimi ends
Raimi
up
movie.
directing, and then this is the opposite.
Right.
But this is in this early period, they write these two scripts together.
Yes, they
And
also
then Raimi directs one, the Coens direct one.
Yeah, because this is written in like the 80s,
Yes.
right? Okay.
written about 1985, around the same time they wrote the XYZ murders, which is eventually what Crime Wave is. Ostensibly, they just were like, we will set it in a sort of mythical 50s, not a real 50s. And we wanted everything to be sort of fable-like. So things like the hula hoop and the frisbee did get invented in the 50s, I guess. The hula hoop has existed since like the Stone Age, but like the fad was in the
Whammo
50s.
is the toy company
Correct.
that has the trademark or whatever on popularizing
yeah.
the two things in the 50s. And they were just like, we're going to do no research into the actual thing.
Right. The thing with the straw, they did no research into that. I don't know when the straw was invented.
Right, that they pulled out of their asses. But it's this big thing when people were like critiquing the movie at the time where they were like, we don't think this is an homage. It's like us being like, we love these types of movies. Why don't people make movies like this anymore rather than being like, let's try to reconstruct one as tribute? And they said, and I just think it's so smart. And I think it speaks to the underlying sincerity of this movie. The way they land on hula hoop was they were like, we want to build a comedy around something that sounds so silly that everyone in the reality of the movie would mock it, and yet the audience knows, of course, this is going to work. And something like the hula hoop, which we've all grown up with as a given, if you try to imagine someone pitching it, you're like, everyone would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? And so many of their movies, especially the thrillers, but the comedies as well, they're really smart in story construction of building things around the audience being a step or two ahead of the characters. They don't quite know what they're getting into. And then what makes the Coens so great is that usually we're waiting for what we assume will be the blow up, and then they zag it and take it slightly off kilter of where you expect the outcome's going to go. And this is a comedy with that inherent tension built in, which is like, you're ready for this guy to fail, but you're like, no, of course it works. It's the fucking hula hoop. It's a hit.
The hula hoop also gives it the miraculous joke of just a picture of a circle, a drawing of a circle.
That's
that,
great.
you know, for kids.
It's
and
so funny.
It's so funny. The moment where he takes it out to show it to Paul Newman, and then he realizes the circle is upside down and turns it around. It's so great.
It is funny every time.
Yeah.
It is funny when they heighten it to the straw and the frisbee. Despite having seen the poster, when I went to see this for the first time, I think I forgot it was a hula hoop movie. So when they introduced the circle drawing, I was like, oh, the bit is that they're never going to define what this is. That it's like a dumb abstract pitch.
But no, it's just for kids.
And it makes the joke that much better that once he reveals it.
I don't think I can do it. I'm
not very good at it.
I'm not very good at it. Now, my wife, again, like loves to hula hoop. She has a hula hoop and just like hula all the time. So
that little kid who does the hula hoop in the movie does a damn good job at it.
My wife was like, where'd they find this hula hooping genius child?
He was like semi-pro or had a record or something. You can tell in like the tension in his body that he's got like a lot of practice. He's doing very specific rehearsed moves.
They got permission from Whammo and its parent company Kransco Group, which is very litigious apparently. There is Kransco's basically only big question was, will the hula hoop hurt anyone in the film? And when they find out no, that's fine, they're like, okay. There is a giant disclaimer at the end of the movie. I don't know if you guys saw it.
Yes.
Where it says this is a fictional account of the development of the hula hoop. And the big line is, the hula hoop was actually developed by the founders of the toy company Whammo, a true American success story. Like, they suck Whammo's dick in the credits.
You know what?
I like it.
They should.
They deserve that sucking. Yeah, it's great. I like that they were okay with them doing it.
Yes.
That's that whole sequence that ends with the little boy
It
picking
makes
the
you
hula hoop
wanna
off
get a
the
hula
ground
hoop.
and hulaing. Yeah, it is, but it's also just so dazzling. Like just going from approval to, they're taking it through all the various departments. They're taking it to accounting. They take it to manufacturing. They take it to marketing. And then it's in stores and we see it be a commercial flop and then be a commercial success. And it's all happening in like a 2-minute montage.
So Raimi was
so
second
rad.
unit director on this movie, which they had never really had before. And I don't know if they ever had again since, because they're guys who are very big on like, we shoot everything. We want to have control over inserts. But they obviously trust him so much. He had written it. That whole sequence is like his main project in this movie.
Wow.
Which makes sense because there is like
it's like Spider-Man.
Yes. It is so
it's like the montage stuff in Spider-Man.
Deep with details and control that it makes sense that it was basically treated as its own like 8-minute short film that has its own. Our buddy Patrick Willems made a great video about it where he was just like, This is the greatest movie montage of all time because it basically functions as a mini movie.
Yes.
It has its own characters, its own arcs.
Right.
Completes the story.
The guy with the price labels going up and down and all that.
And the fucking pitchman. Like, you have like 4 different narratives you keep checking back in on.
And just following the hula hoop as it rolls along.
It becomes a character unto himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Carter Burwell going out of fucking control.
Carter Burwell
Yeah,
does
we
black
talked
out making this movie. It is crazy.
We haven't talked about the Carter Burwell score. But
That guy
it's
rocks.
so incredible.
So the Coens don't have a particular inspiration, they say. Yes, kind of a Capra-esque thing. Golden Age of Hollywood, sure, but they're not like ripping off, it's just like sometimes it's got a His Girl Friday energy. Sometimes like when the film comes out, as we noted, it does get a lot of shit for kind of like, you're just doing, what they did back in the 30s better.
Yeah.
And the Coens sort of, well, they don't care.
Everything with the paper is very Hawksian, right?
Yeah,
The
course.
Capra, like, kind of through line is the like one idealistic pure man who is able to like change the world around him, which is kind of the Norville Barnes character in a certain way, even though he's presented as a total dope. And then the Sturges, like, I feel like trademark is this sort of like, we're all stuck in the crazy machinery of modern life. That characters get kind of like knocked around like in a pinball machine through like corporations and rules of society and all this sort of stuff. And I think it's those 3 things clashing together with this like this world building that does feel like it's out of like an war film.
Now, they write this movie in 1985. They know they cannot make a movie like this.
Right.
Early on, it's going to
They
be
basically
expensive.
like wrote it, didn't think at all about how they would film it, finished the script, looked at it, and were like, oh, no one will give us the money to make this, and we don't know how to pull this off.
They also do not write the ending. They could not figure out the ending. They just have him jump, and they're like, we'll figure it out later. He's on the ledge,
An
essentially.
insane ending. I mean,
It is an insane
I
ending.
like it though.
That was one thing I as a kid, I remember watching it and the moment when time stops and then the guy gets a character who's, I guess, essentially the devil, like gets his teeth punched out. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? What is this movie I'm watching?
It is quite a twist to reveal, that the janitor is, evil, I guess, if Bill Cobbs is good. Like, so that is crucial to them all the time, though, that where they're writing it, because apparently at one point, I think it's Raimi's like, well, should Musburger be more of a good guy? And the Coens are like, no, he is bad. Like, there are only good and bad. Like, this movie does not have shades of gray.
It's black and white.
It's so much more fun that he's just a bad guy. And he gets caught in a big net and sent to a sanitarium.
It's so funny that's what happens to it at the end.
But also,
And it's also so funny that the double stitch, which is of course the best joke in the
Oh my
movie,
God, it's
he's
such a
the
good
guy
joke.
saying, "Oh, he's such a nice man." I'm like, no, he's not.
we'll circle back to the double stitch film. Double stitch is 40 minutes of its own conversation. Raimi, in the way that, like, when we covered him, we talked so much about how he loved to torture Bruce Campbell and like design sequences around putting him in physical pain and like embarrass himself. When they would, like, the 3 of them would physically write together in the same room, Raimi would buy firecrackers. And if they hit walls, he'd like shoot firecrackers at them and be like, come on, guys, ideas, don't slow down.
Yes, he would throw firecrackers at them.
Our buddy Kevin Smith, when he was on the show in our Raimi days, For Simple Plan, talked about how he thinks the Buzz character is the Coens mocking Raimi in the way he speaks.
Right, Raimi's kind
wow.
of Midwestern G. Willikers.
Right. He's like really, like, he's like, this is Raimi's energy if you've ever met him. Like amplified into
He did
Buzz.
say that. That's right. He said, like,
Yes.
that's what Sam Raimi's like. Yes.
You mentioned the flexi straw earlier, and that Buzz, when he goes and pitches that's just like such an incredible performance. I mean, just like him, just like rattling off, because like he's doing it with every line of dialogue he's got. Everything is so crisp, everything is so precise, his cadence is so rapid fire. But in particular there, and then he also has the emotional arc of when he gets fired and then he just collapses into tears and says, "This job is all that I've got."
Buzz is
I don't
such
know.
a, like,
It's so fucking good.
I think again, that's the sincerity.
This-
Like it's like,
exactly.
and you are like, oh no, like
Right,
you're not
right.
just like, fuck that guy. You do feel bad.
He plays that scene so well for a character that is just kind of like comedic construction. Like, what if a guy talked this way, right? That in that scene when Tim Robbins like lashes out at him, he's doing this balance of being like so personally hurt, but Buzz's core like tenet is to be friendly to everyone all the time. So he keeps going like, hey, come on, Kai, I tried my best. He's like through tears trying to apologize to Tim Robbins for offending him with a bad pitch when Tim Robbins is basically just shitting on him because now he's been like taken down himself. He needs to feel big.
He was the guy who that like it was at first I was like, what the hell is going on here when I was first watching the movie, and then completely wins me over, especially
so loud at
Yeah.
first. Yes, even by this movie's standards.
I'm a guy who loves to say buddy. I like that he says buddy a bunch.
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
great.
So the Coens make they make Blood Simple, and then they make 3 movies for the company, Circle Films. They make fucking Raising Arizona, Miller's Crossing, and
Fucking
Barton Fink.
Miller's Crossing, fucking Barton.
What
That's
was, was ever? I know you both have talked about this before,
No,
but
it's okay.
on other episodes. But what was everyone's first Coen Brothers movie? Mine was Raising Arizona because I remember that just showing oddly on cable. A number.
My
I think we
parents-
tried
yeah.
to help puzzle this out already, but go ahead.
My parents rented Raising Arizona for me, and I didn't get it. I think I probably had a similar reaction to you with Hudsucker. Didn't make it to the end. I think Oh Brother was the first one I saw in theaters, and then I was like, I gotta watch all these.
Oh, Brother's
movies.
definitely the first one I saw in theaters. I think Fargo. I don't know. Did I talk about this already? Yeah.
Yeah, I figure you probably covered this in another episode.
I don't remember though. I
I-
don't remember anything anymore.
Fargo was the
Apparently
first
Griffin likes European Vacation. That was news to me.
Yeah, we were texting about it, and David was like, "When did you say this?" And I said, "In the episode."
No memory of that. But then apparently I saw the people reacting, and it's like apparently Griffin in that episode is just like, and I like that part. Me and Gabe are still like, okay, and then just sort of move on.
Fargo was the first one I saw in theaters, and the first one that I liked. The first one I was like, oh wow, wait, okay.
So you're
I get
right.
this.
You were old enough to see Fargo. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
saw Fargo in theaters.
Actually,
I did not see Fargo in theaters. Also, can you stop pointing your banana at me?
Yeah, why is it just holding?
He's holding a banana.
Wiger loves to have a piece of fruit.
You're
I've had-
gesturing with it a lot.
Look, I've had Chekhov's banana sitting here. I'm going to deploy it at some point. But I was trying to cue you up to say what your first Coen Brothers movie was non-verbally, but I was using the banana. I'm
You
sorry. if
used
that
the
was
banana. I didn't know if you were gesturing for me to eat the banana. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
No, it's
Also,
my
when you
banana.
walked in here, I thought you had a banana in your pocket, but now you're holding the banana and your hands are still tender.
My first Coen Brothers movie in the theater. I'm gonna have to do a little deep dive here to figure this out.
Or if you watch one at home first.
Well, you were going through the
Yeah.
filmography, so maybe that'll trigger something.
I mean, Fargo is definitely, I think, the first one I watched.
Yeah,
but I did not see it in the theater. But the first one in the theater is like,
Lebowski? Did you see Lebowski in theaters?
I didn't see Lebowski in theaters, and Lebowski is one of the early ones I watched. So Fargo or Lebowski, like in like high school or college or whatever, renting it, yeah. And then the first one in theaters, I'm like, I didn't see Oh Brother in theaters. Maybe it was Burn After Reading was my first.
You didn't see No
No
Country in
Country?
theaters?
Oh, I saw No Country.
Okay.
So No Country is, I guess, is the one.
I mean, Lady Killers, Tom Hanks is basically doing your like Southern, Cajun gentleman character.
Oh, so you're saying a very good representation
Yes,
of the.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks basically plays a snow gator.
Oh my
in that
God.
movie. Is dressed in all white.
I am now thinking,
Yeah.
is Lady Killers the first Coen Brothers?
Maybe.
What year is that?
That's
04.
Yeah, 04.
Shit, Lady Killers is probably my first Coen
But you had
Brothers movie I
seen
saw
their
in
other
theaters.
movies on video. That's
Yes.
just the first
Yeah,
one
yeah,
you saw in
yeah,
theaters.
yeah,
You were
yeah.
already into them. It's also funny that in Lady Killers, there are like 4 separate scenes where he tricks you two guys into sucking him off. That
Yeah,
you didn't
it's a whole
remember that he
thing.
he's running 2 cons. One is he's trying to rob a casino, and the other one is to get you guys to keep giving him dome.
Great early credit for us.
I know. Huge. Get to suck Tom Hanks off. I
guess we should talk about how we were both in a Coen Brothers movie and
Yeah.
also sucked off Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Except those scenes didn't make the cut of the movie.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Yeah.
They're all deleted scenes.
It was worth it though. I really enjoyed it. It was a great experience.
Also, the cameras weren't rolling, and it was in his hotel room.
We can cut this out. We can cut this out. And I think we should cut this out. Not this part. This part's
So
fine.
it wasn't Tom Hanks.
What I'm about to say, I think I'm going to want us to cut it out. So
Okay.
I'm just learning you, Ben.
Yeah.
I think this has to stay in though. The stuff talking
Right.
us about talking about
that's
sucking
gotta
off stuff,
stay. That's
it
gotta
has to stay in.
Yeah.
Do you think Tom Hanks has a good penis?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And
I don't
also,
know.
I think it needs
By
to
the way,
stay in.
we're
by the
keeping
way.
this
All
in.
right.
I don't think he has like a you got to write home about it.
No,
penis.
but like it's good.
I think he's got an incredibly sturdy American penis.
It's got a beautiful everyman piece.
It just does. It does
Yes.
the job.
Yeah.
It does
It's competent.
the job.
Right.
And it's almost like it's a little unremarkable at first, and
Right.
that the kind of plainness
But then
is
it
what
kind
sneaks
of-
up on.
You're right. It sneaks up on you.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
a grower,
But like
not a
but not-
shower.
I think he's like a bit of a grower.
A bit, just a little bit.
You know, like it's just all good.
You see it and you're like, that's okay. And then it grows a little bit beyond your expectations.
Can I tell you my thought? I think he has a big bush.
Like a weirdly big bush.
And just from in Gump when he grows that beard, it's pretty wild. So I'm like, I think he's a hairy
So you
man.
think he's got an upside down Gump beard?
I think he has an upside down Gump beard.
But he doesn't have like a hairy torso or hairy, like particularly hairy arms.
He's kind of hairy in Castaway. He's like a little hairy.
But
That was quite a noise you just made. You went,
because the beard gets so out of control in Castaway. But I do think he's just kind of got a speckling of hair. He doesn't have like a fursuit.
I love this conversation. It's making me feel better about my scary movie pitch from earlier, which I think is a good pitch. I think Hanks is just an all-American in every way.
He's doing great.
Yeah,
just the best of us.
Yeah.
So they made these 3 movies. Joel Silver, the Hawaiian shirt wearing.
Wait, I'm sorry. The 3 movies again.
You're still pointing with the banana.
He
Sorry,
can point with his
put the
banana
banana down. I'm sorry.
No, keep it. So Blood Simple is their obviously indie movie debut, and then they make 3 movies for a company called Circle Films that basically gives them like a little budget to make something and releases it, and it makes a little more money. So Raising Arizona, Miller's Crossing, Barton Fink. But then and those movies are well received,
yes,
but are hardly blockbusters. And then Joel Silver, who's the guy who made Predator and Die Hard and Lethal Weapon and all that, loves their movies and acquires this script from them, essentially.
Basically,
says he's been a big fan for many years. He wants to make a big budget movie for them, and this is their chance.
So they had the script. This sort of existed as their like dream project of what if someday we have enough capital that we can get someone to give us the money for Hudsucker, knowing it's a big ask. And their agent is like, Joel Silver always is asking when he can do a Coen Brothers movie. And Joel Silver had this attitude of like, I think these guys have in them a blockbuster hit movie. I think he looked at them as having like a sort of Wolfgang Peterson type trajectory where like, here's a guy who can make like really technically proficient, but like bracing, sober, intellectual movies. And then maybe over time you can give him a really big paycheck to make something kind of dumber. And they applied the same skill to it. I think he probably misidentified that these guys are going to do their own thing forever. But he was like, I want them. And Joel Silver also like kind of is the 90s version of the Michael Lerner character from Barton Fink. Is that kind of like cigar chomping, fast talking studio exec. They talk about it as being like the last of the kind of Louis B. Mayer archetype guys. A maniac. But he's almost exclusively doing action movies at this point in time. And I think he both like wants to be doing comedies, and like a lot of these guys, at a certain point, you're like, okay, you've had like 15 huge hit movies in a row. The only thing to still chase now is like prestige. Like now you want an Oscar. Can I jump over and get in bed with these guys? I should also mention that Joel Silver plays the director in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
That's true. He does. He's yelling at the
beginning of the movie. He's the one.
Right.
Yeah.
You're talking about this as a commercial play. Is this an attempt at?
I guess so.
Everyone involved is like, this is going to be their commercial breakthrough. That these guys have been like, the Coen brothers have been like percolating, and they've been like getting their legs, and now everyone's ready. And they were like, this is our calculation to make a broad comedy. And Silver was like, I'm not in the business of making like arty films. I want to make hits. We have designed this to win over audiences. Like in the press, they kept being like, what is this weird self-indulgent, like pastiche bullshit? And they were like, nope, we think this is for everybody.
So this isn't an attempt, because you said the word prestige. This isn't an attempt at like, hey, we're going to make a prestige picture that will also be commercially successful. This is like, we're going to just have like a... Or is that what they're trying? That's the needle they're trying to thread.
Right.
Got it.
I think he's like, I make a lot of big hit films that aren't taken seriously. Can I do both? But he wasn't looking to just like make a little arty film on the side. He goes to Warner Brothers and is like, we're doing this, and we're putting like $40 million. I think it was 25 and it went up to 40.
Supposedly it was 25, but right, I think it cost more. Yeah.
Is there any point in time where this movie would be like a commercial success?
Yeah, 1943. Like truly past that moment, not really.
Well, I do think that there's a thought that maybe this sort of thing was a little ahead of its time. Because if we're going to talk about something that's like talking about an iconic American product and its fictionalized, history, we can look at the recent mega hit Unfrosted as a modern counterexample.
Right. Absolutely.
a totemic figure in the culture on Frost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I just do that? David's going to sigh very loudly
might sigh very
when I say
loudly.
this, but I truly just want to do this, okay? Joel Silver, 48 Hours, Streets of Fire, Brewster's Million, Weird Science, Commando, Jumpin' Jack Flash, Lethal Weapon, Predator, Action Jackson, Die Hard Roadhouse, Lethal Weapon 2, Die Hard 2, Adventures of Ford Fairlane, Predator 2, Hudson Hawk, Ricochet, Last Boy Scout, Lethal Weapon 3, Demolition Man. That is, without skipping anything, every movie he made until Hudsucker Proxy. I'm not like cutting out
That is wild.
like,
That's
and then
truly
he
wild.
made like a small indie.
What
or he,
is
like,
the
did a
artiest
romantic
film?
comedy?
In that run.
Demolition Man?
That's a good movie. No, it's probably Hudson Hawk.
Hawk, yeah.
It's like there's the Hudson Hawks in there where you're like, okay, he has enough of a relationship with a star that the star's like, can I make something a little weirder? And he's like, yeah, sure, Bruce. I don't know what he sounds like.
After this, the same year as this, he also makes Richie Rich.
Yeah.
And it felt like he was trying to, in a way where like Bruckheimer was like the king of a certain kind of blockbuster machismo action movie. And then was like, I want to do Disney films. I want to try to make Pearl Harbor. Like these guys ultimately go like, don't box me in. I can make any type of movie. And this felt like the year where he was trying. And then pretty soon after, he just like goes back to his lane.
Now, who does Joel Silver want as the lead of this film?
Tom Cruise.
He wants Tom Cruise.
Wow.
And I get it. I think just Silver's just like, well, we're gonna make a star, a big movie
This
for
is
you
a blue
guys.
chip
You get
movie.
the biggest
We're going to
star.
get all the biggest people for this.
Man, I love Cruise, but I cannot see that working almost at
No.
all.
It's a little hard to imagine.
He-
I'd love to see it.
he
It
would
would
not
be very strange.
let himself, I think, especially at that point in time, play this dumb.
Probably not.
He probably would have filmed the opening on a real ledge.
That's true. He
Which
would have
would've been
actually
cool.
stopped time somehow. He would have figured out how to do that. The Coens do not want to deal with that. They want a lower wattage star. They picked Tim Robbins. Paul Newman's obviously the most famous actor they've ever worked with up to this point. Clint Eastwood was their top choice, which is hilarious to consider. He was too busy making 4 movies a year and having threesomes or whatever it is.
But this
Clint Eastwood's
does
up to.
feel like Paul Newman in a way doing a Clint Eastwood impression. There's a bit of it.
Yeah, sure.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
Not
sort of
like
gravel
one-to-one,
voice.
but
right.
the full grit kind of.
Newman was kind of just like, yeah, it's an interesting script. I don't fucking know. Like his vibe was basically just like, what do I care if this doesn't work? Like, I'm Paul Newman.
I'm an
Like, I'll
actor
do
for
that.
hire. And he was sort of like, they have an interesting voice. I'm at an age where like, if this movie bombs, they're not going to kick me out of Hollywood.
Right.
Like he had a quote
Some
like
other
that.
good quotes.
Yeah.
They call this an industrial comedy. What the fuck an industrial comedy is, I have no idea. And then he says, I think the Coens have a perverted vision. I think it's a good word. They don't tell a story directly. They move like crabs. And it's refreshing to find something so eccentric.
He also had a line where he was like, they
Yes.
don't explain themselves well, but you get what they want. They have good eyes. He was sort of like,
That's kind of really. As someone who makes things, it's
Yeah.
not, it's
Yeah,
it's
they
a
have good eyes.
Yeah, it's great.
It
It's a
speaks
great
to
description.
his coolness, though, that he was like, these guys are unlike any directors I've ever worked with. He's like, half the reason I did it was I wanted to see what it's like working with 2 directors. And they are like symbiotic. It does not feel like you see 2 people fighting for control. But also, like, I'd ask them a question about my character and they'd be like, faster or more evil would be their direction. And he was like, you could get frustrated by that, or you could be like, let me look around the set. Let me like look at the script and figure out what they want. Because it is specific.
As an actor, Griff, watching the dialogue delivery, I was like, this is maybe too. I think I maybe just would never be able to do some of the stuff that's in some of the dialogue rate is just so fast. I don't think I
Yes.
could ever perform it that
Basically,
quickly.
every scene in this movie is like a skill piece for at least one performer doing something where the timing is so exquisite. And a lot of this plays out in like long takes.
Yeah, like what you did, what you did for the open there. I mean, that sequence of just like, because that's also a oneer, and with so much movement, it's just like background characters are just going all over the frame, and then there's just so many precise physical moments on top of the just like the dialogue that's being, rat-a-tatted out. It's just like, yeah, I can't imagine how much precision is required to actually execute that.
When he got to set, he said, like, these are the biggest sets I have been on since The Silver Chalice, which was Paul Newman's first movie, basically, which was a biblical epic in the 50s, right before those kind of died. And he basically was like, here in 1994, this is like the biggest sets I've seen directors get to build since that thing went out of style. And he's just like, right, I get what kind of movie I'm in. And I get to play the asshole. Like, I don't have to worry about carrying the story weight.
Winona Ryder and Bridget Fonda, obviously in consideration for the role of Amy Archer. Makes sense.
Ryder would have been too young. I think it would have thrown it off. Fonda makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, she'd be great.
Yeah.
Instead, it goes to the other single white female, Jennifer Jason Leigh. And Charles Durning was cast according to Joel Coen because the idea of a fat person falling 40 floors is funnier than a thin person falling 40 floors, but they liked that he had that dancer background so he could do all the physicality and all the
You have to convey a lot in his body.
Yeah.
In like the first 60 seconds he's on screen. Yeah.
The moment, just like when he is having the blue letter is finally being read, that, you know, he takes it out of the apron and he's reading at the end, and there's the paragraph about how, because you meet Paul Newman's character's wife earlier, and then there's the talks about how
Myrtle?
it talks about it being an affair, that the way that their relationship started, and then you learn that he's the guy who got cuckolded, and then he just starts crying. He's like, skip this part. It's so funny.
He cries like a baby.
Yeah,
You see, like, the
wanted-
fillings in his teeth.
Yeah.
They wanted Jack Lemmon in drag to play Paul Newman's wife.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
they
wow.
dropped that idea, but they should have done it.
That's the sort of gag we talked about in 1941 that makes you angry, where you're like, there is like a gross abuse of like power and money.
Like you have too much resources,
Right.
You can pull that off. The Coens loved working with Joel Silver and had no problems.
Yeah.
Which is like rare. Usually it's sort of like, oh, we clashed with him or whatever, and like they just had a great time. They found him funny. I think they like that he's a cartoon movie mogul.
Yes.
They're like, this is like a guy we would write, like this like silly large man smoking a cigar.
But also guys like that, like, I mean, Rudin's another one who's like contemporaneous at this time. And I feel like Silver doing this movie is maybe him looking over at Rudin and being like, man, this guy made big comedy hits and now he's like getting Best Picture nominations. Do I want to like branch out in a similar way? And Rudin later works with the Coens a bunch. And all these guys are just like, here's my deal. I find filmmakers who I think are like fully formed artists after they've like cut their teeth on a couple movies. And I come in and I go like, hey, I'll just have all the fights for you. You guys do what you want and just don't ask me how I get it done. You know? And I
find
think
someone
like
for you and I with it.
Joel Silver would just like yell at everybody and get them what they wanted. And they could just do their thing.
Obviously, they built giant sets. The table in the conference room is so large that it had to be delivered in 5 separate pieces. They wanted everything to basically look like Mussolini's, Mussolini's room, office, Mussolini's conference room. And we never see home life. Everything is work. Everything is like at the office or at the building or whatever. It's like cartoon Citizen Kane, I feel like, is what they're doing, right? Just everything's just so long, so much depth of field.
Yes. And the ceilings are so fucking high.
Everything is ridiculously high.
And every character is basically like being eaten alive by their spaces.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Dwarfing the people. They didn't actually want to use the guy, Michael McAllister, who's the big visual effects guy who's worked on a ton of blank check movies,
Had won an Oscar for Last Crusade. You don't want to list a
No,
couple.
we can just come on.
List a couple.
Yeah, E.T., Return of the Jedi, Last Crusade. Yeah,
Can I quickly say that, and this is not helping at all to keep us on track, but the banana Wiger still holds onto this banana.
we can talk banana.
And the banana has oxidized. It looks like it was yellow when he came in here, and now it looks like an old banana.
I'm handling a little too much. It's getting a little bruised.
It's getting bruised.
I gotta set it down.
This guy, Michael McAllister, loves the Coens. And the Coens are basically like, you can't use the Chrysler Building. You can't use the Empire State Building. Like, it has to be
no
like
real
fake,
landmarks.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Fake Art Deco New York. So they built this giant... gotta get more wipes.
Gotta get more wipes.
I get texts from like home, like over the course of the day, which is usually that a child of mine has pooped, which is always, and I've gotten into the habit of just announcing if somebody pooped on my podcast.
Can I go Bill Maher mode for a second?
New rule?
Yeah. Anytime you get a text like that, as long as it is not deeply personal information, I think you need to read it out loud automatically like you just did.
3 packs of wipes left,
Yeah.
so we got to get some more.
Just please read these.
It's crazy how many wipes you need. I mean, I know it's not crazy. like that's child rearing or whatever. But like you never think about wet wipes until you got 2 infant babies in your home.
This is like every time I go to Target to refresh on toilet paper, and the employees there are like, "What, a big family?" I'm like, "No, I live alone."
Oh, you're like the person who's getting too much Chinese food and is like, "Oh, this is for all my friends who are here."
I like wait until they have a sale where it's like $5 off 372 roll packs at once, and they have to like tape them to my arms to carry them home.
Just got a text from Mike Mitchell here. Can you get me some wipes too?
I heard what I don't know. I figure I could use some too.
Oh yeah, I'll get you some. I'll get you a box. Do you want the box?
Yeah, give me the box.
It's one of those things where Amazon is like, you've purchased this 108 times or whatever. They like tell you. Roger Deakins, the great cinematographer, says this is
together.
their most underrated film. He obviously he kind of went off on this one. It's a good looking movie.
It's gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
From an art direction standpoint, from a a visual effects standpoint, which so often visual effects is like talked about like in terms of like some sort of technical sort of
does the
capacity,
dinosaur look good?
Exactly, but
Yes.
like it's an artistic craft, and like from the standpoint of artistic achievement, this is an amazing visual effects movie, and then obviously the cinematography is so great.
Deakins is a genius. Obviously, like breaking news or whatever.
Do you have a favorite thing he shot?
It's a good question. I mean,
Maybe a tough thing to pull off the top of your head.
yeah, but now I want to look at his filmography. Like, because my thing with Deakins is he worked on a lot of amazing movies. So it's sort of like, yes, he absolutely, was unconscious fucking like on Lebowski or whatever. You're right. You're like, yeah, no kidding. But like something like that movie House of Sand and Fog, which is like a forgotten
That movie
piece
looks
of shit.
Incredible.
And you're like, why does this look so good? And
Yeah.
like, right, Deakins. I like it when the Jesse James stuff is kind of the best. Where like, I don't think that movie's a masterpiece. I think it's very good. But it's like looking at paintings that have come to life in a way that isn't AI.
I truly think The Company Men,
I've never seen that
which
movie.
is a dog shit movie,
Right, terrible.
is the only one of his movies that kind of looks anonymously shot, where I'm like, I don't believe this is Roger Deakins. And outside of that, he's basically the cinematographer version of the like Harry Dean Stanton rule, where it's like, as bad as a movie is, if he shot it, that alone makes it worth watching.
Like, is that the Topher Grace one? Company Men? What's that?
Company Men? No, that you're thinking of
In Good Company.
In Good Company.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's like Up in the Air.
Okay.
It's
Like,
Affleck.
Company Men is
Costner?
directed by the creator of ER.
He's not the creator of ER.
I'm sorry,
John
the
Wells.
showrunner, the
Exactly.
former showrunner.
Yes.
Head
Michael Crichton
writer.
is the creator of ER.
I'm
and
sorry.
you are going to get a letter from an estate.
I'm gonna get sued. It is a movie that is about how hard the recession was for executives. And it's like,
yeah, that's right. That's
Ben
the
Affleck,
pitch, right?
Tommy Lee Jones,
Yeah.
and Chris Cooper as
and
guys.
Costner.
Well, Costner is the blue collar guy. Costner is, I want to say, Affleck's brother-in-law, who's like, you want me to feel bad for you because you guys have to try to get an entry-level corporate job? I build houses. And it's all of them just like playing golf together, being really sad. I think 2 of them killed themselves. It is like a truly...
It was like a real Oscar play that nobody watched.
Wither the execs.
The film's good. Okay. And let's talk about it. The Hudsucker Proxy.
So
what haven't we talked about? Yes.
You have these kind of like multiple hold opens in a row, right? Like the film starts with a couple sequences that all feel almost standalone introductions and are largely wordless. The opening is all the Bill Cobb narration talking about the idea of a new year and the promise and what could happen. And the idea that this guy in such a short period of time has gone from the highest, has climbed from the mailroom to the top and now is going to fall all the way down, right? This insane shot where you're like going through models, you're doing these like crossfade dissolves. And then at one point you realize, oh, this one is a real set because you're seeing human Tim Robbins walk across the ledge to the clock, and then the clock starts spinning backwards and the camera goes up to the sky. You have these triumphant fucking credits, Carter Burwell going ham. This was the one time, I think largely because of the influence of Joel Silver and Warner Brothers, where they were like, we need to test screen this thing early, that they insisted on a temp score. So a lot of this is taken from the Spartacus opera. Do you have the name of the composer there? It's in the dossier. I will tell you his name is Armen I'm going to probably mispronounce it, Aram Kachurian. But the
Yeah, I think saber dancing.
that comes from this show, his Spartacus. But also the main theme of this movie is like repurposed from that. And Burwell was like, I felt handcuffed, and then I realized I could explode it and do a lot of stuff from there. But to go straight from like this like old Hollywood like triumphant grand orchestra opening to then this boardroom of this guy just fucking patting himself on the back for how successful they've been, ending with like, in short, folks, we're filthy rich, right? And you're just watching David is going to take a shit, I assume.
The wipes came. The wipes arrived.
He had them delivered to the bathroom.
Yeah, I think he had to deliver them straight to the bathroom.
He had like pneumatic tubes installed in the bathroom so you could get deliveries there.
God, what a great pneumatic tubes movie. I love pneumatic
tubes. One of the
tubes.
best.
Yeah.
I mean, the entire just the mail room just being like a boiler room. It looks so cool,
and everything is so packed with bodies.
Yeah,
that's just like another thing. I love watching any movie made before the 21st century when you know, like now everything is just crowd duplication, which fine, but it's just like just seeing so many people in a frame.
And interesting looking people on top of that.
Yeah, and also it's like that's sort of like first dolly shot through the mailroom as he's given the Dacia speech. It's like the choreography of everyone crossing and the amount of different action and jobs. It's just like mind-boggling to think about. And I do think whether or not people consciously clock it, there is like a magic to like getting one take where everything goes right that you do feel versus it having to be constructed later.
And it just feels like spectacle when there's a high degree of difficulty.
Yes.
You know?
But I just love that, like, wordlessly, Charles Durning, who to me is one of the GOATs, in this sequence just shows, like, this despondency as all these fat cats are, like, evilly laughing to themselves at how rich they've gotten, and just plays this entire arc briefly in, like, 30 seconds and a couple of close-ups of, like, what is this life of mine, right? Like, you see him sort of like smile, then look off into the middle distance out the window, then like kind of ruefully wind his like stopwatch. And I genuinely, the more I watch it, the more I think he only considers killing himself for the first time in that moment. That you're watching a guy talk himself into it of just like, what's the fucking point? I've made it to the top of the mountain.
I have nothing else to do.
I built this. I have nothing to prove to anyone anymore. Why not just end it? And then he just so gracefully like runs across the table, digs his heels in, jumps out the window.
I think that's why people watch the Doughboys video feed every week. They're waiting for that moment. They're waiting for the Chekhov's banana to go off. Finally,
it's gonna go off my mouth. So the moment he runs out, he sprints, and then it's like the reaction of the boardroom of just everyone is just immediately going on with business as usual, except for the one guy who is just so like he's just bawling and crushed. Like, how can you be like this right now? It's I love that guy.
Who is also the guy who tries to kill himself later.
Tries to kill himself later. Yeah.
With the plexiglass is there. It's great.
Also a great decision that I think Paul Newman is not visible.
No.
In the Durning. So the first time you're seeing Paul Newman,
it's almost like he appeared out of nowhere. You're
is
right.
him
He's
looking
like,
out the window, unsentimental, having watched who you later find out is like ostensibly his best friend jump to his death. But all that cross cut with wordlessly Tim Robbins, Norval Barnes going through the like literal fresh off the bus, looking at the job board, looking at the classifieds, like the immediate feeling of this guy coming to a new city with all this hope and optimism, and within 4 minutes being like crushed by it. And there's such a good little character detail of he gets his coffee at the diner. He doesn't realize that the coffee has left the ring with the Hudsucker job opening, that like fate is going to like follow him out the door. But he leaves like 2 nickels and a penny. And then he looks at his pocket and he's like, oh, should I give him that much? And what he takes back is the penny. Of like, this guy can't afford to give change, and yet what he's taking back is the lowest amount.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
Hey, he's all right.
David.
He gets to be a bit of a jerk later on.
He does. I mean, like, What's great about his character is that he's not a secret genius. Like, he is just like kind of a dope, but he sees things with such clarity and such simplicity that's his secret weapon. That's his advantage. It allows him to come up with something, like the dingus, like the hula hoop. And but I don't know. I really just like a stupid character. Like, I like a guy who's just like a dumb guy. Is funny,
and he's good at it.
He's very good at it.
Isn't the chance that I always feel like a movie, if it is like a dumb lead character, there's a chance that the movie can just be bad, and I think it's a higher chance that it's like, who cares about this movie? And I don't really care about any of the characters, and this guy's just an idiot.
Well, there's also something too, I think, that the character so badly wants to be told that he's a genius that he accepts a lot of things that don't make sense because they're flattering to him. Like, as much as he is not the smartest guy in the world, they make it clear that he did go to like a low-level business school.
Right. He
will say to Musburger, like, shouldn't we be doing this?
And he's like, the hula hoop is a good idea that he had. And he's like, yeah, when he says, for kids, he's thought about it. Like, this would be good for kids. It's cheap. It's like, a gap in the market. That's probably all he's thought about. He doesn't have any other particular, right.
Well, you brought up Forrest Gump, and it's just another movie where it's not the smartest man, but then like is the most noble guy in the world, and they show him be kind of an asshole, like you were saying, Sims, at some point in the movie, but
becomes a jerk,
still likable. He's still maybe that's the Robin's charm.
Well, I think that's like the sort of more the commentary on the the soul like crushing nature of pursuit of this kind of like endless growth and like corporate dominance is like, that's what starts to destroy him, is the idea that he needs to like become this kind of titan of business, which he then needs to like learn the lesson from. But basically these plot setup that we are getting to 1 hour and 55 minutes into a recording,
we've talked about a lot of the movie already, but just keep going.
We're gonna talk about a lot more. Is that they realized that in his will, Waring Hudsucker said that on January 1st, the year after his death, all the stock...
No, he didn't say anything. He doesn't have a will. It's that because he doesn't have a will, all his stock will be public, and he owns 87% of the company. The blue letter is, of course, his actual will.
Which we'll get to. But yes, so they need to find a way 1 week before New Year's to tank the value of the company so greatly that they can buy back all the stock in advance of January 1st. So the public doesn't take over the company. It's a
producer's thing. They need to make it bad to get what they want.
It's a classic meme coin rug pull.
It's a classic. Cock all coin. Over this.
Right. And their big play that Musburger puts forward is get some jerk. You need a Hudsucker Proxy. You need to put some fucking idiot at the chair at the end of the boardroom who you can blame everything on.
Robbins, by the way, we should just note, on a crazy run. This is the same year as Shawshank, same year as IQ, one of the great movies. Never seen IQ.
Is Dead Man Walking the following
Dead Man
year?
Walking is the following year.
It's the same year as Shawshank.
Same year as Shawshank.
Because he seems so much young.
IQ.
Same year as IQ.
He seems so much younger in this than he does in Shawshank. He seems like
because
he's
so. You're right. He's so
playing up
boyish
the
in
boyishness.
this. Yeah, and of course Shawshank also is set over so many years, and it ages them.
There's
it's 2 years after The Player,
mm-hmm.
which I feel like is him sort of graduating into
leading
slightly
man.
More serious leading man type. I mean, I guess
it's
Jacob's Ladder is that. Bull Durham is 88.
88. Okay. Players 91.
Players 92.
Okay.
But Jacob's Ladder in 90, which is a movie I like a lot. That he's the lead of that. I mean, it's a horror movie, but still, he's good in that. Bob Roberts, which is his directorial debut, and he's starring, is 92, and The Player is that year. So he's like medium hot stuff.
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh yeah. And it's like after Dead Man Walking is kind of when it gets weird for him, where it's like he writes and directs Cradle Will Rock, which is a bomb.
Let's acknowledge Dead Man Walking. He gets a fucking Best Director nomination before he's ever gotten an acting nomination. Yep. So now it's like, are you a genius auteur?
Right, 100%. But then
the
Cradle Will Rock,
you got to make another movie.
Jesus, I'm really struggling with it. Cradle Will Rock is a bomb. Is sort of the end of him as a director,
right?
And then he does Arlington Road, which does kind of rock.
It does,
and he's good in it. and Mission to Mars. Like there's a couple movie he's doing where it's like,
Yeah.
Tim Robbins. He's like above the title.
Like for hire thriller,
Yeah.
second lead, or
Antitrust.
right? Yeah,
Remember Antitrust?
man.
Where it's like
Right.
he's evil Bill Gates or whatever.
but it's a lot of like big role and Tim Robbins.
yes.
parts.
Truth About Charlie is that.
Yes.
And then he wins the Oscar for Mystic River.
and then his career kind of goes
Kind
ice
of goes away.
immediately.
And obviously he's got a bit of a rep for being a bit of a tough cookie,
Mm-hmm.
I guess. But like,
I didn't know that about Robbins. I
I
didn't know he was a
think
tough
he's,
cookie.
he's a big personality, right? I don't know. Maybe,
Yeah, I think
maybe
he's-
I'm.
I think
Telling
he's
tales out of
got a
school.
lot of ideas.
I
You know,
think-
he's one of those guys.
I think that rumor has been circulated by George W. Bush, who he's famously taken down a peg in his many plays.
He did dare criticize the president.
Yeah.
No. I mean,
You know my thing. I won't watch SNL until Kanye apologizes about George W. Bush. That's my thing.
you got it. So you want SNL to get Kanye back now?
Yes.
This is the moment to get him back.
I'll say this: we're recording this. What's the date today?
He also didn't say that on SNL, but you're like, but he needs to address it on
He
SNL.
needs
They called
to-
it back
he needs to
on
address it.
SNL.
Yeah.
I just want to carbon date this. We're recording this on May 12th.
Yes.
I think there is a reasonable chance that by the time this episode comes out, Kanye West has publicly says George Bush cares about black people more than anyone else. I love George W. Bush. I'm voting for him in the next election.
Which would be a normal thing, the most normal
Yeah,
thing
people would
he
be like,
said.
wow, kind of returned
Yeah.
it. Yes, Kanye West seems
He's
to
not
know who
gonna-
people are.
Apologize. He's gonna like endorse.
Yeah, okay. So Hudsucker gets hired. All the mailroom stuff is that's the most Terry Gilliam, just being in like the basement and like all with all the tubes and all the yelling and all the guys with the mail.
You have.
I like the guy who throws the mail
I think
into
that's
the
what's his name, Patrick Crenshaw, who's blue in Old School. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, right.
Wow.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Patrick Crenshaw as Ancient Sorter, and
Yes.
indeed he was in Old School.
Just another good character detail I like, where I think, they talked about when this film was received that people complained that the Jennifer Jason Leigh character was too harsh and the Robbins character was too dumb. And they were like, why wouldn't you bring both of them towards the center and make them more likable? And they were just like, what do you mean? Like, this is so much more interesting to do it this way. But there are these small details I do like that they put in to be like, he's not an absolute imbecile as much as he's kind of a dope, and he is sort of like thoughtful. And the bit with him getting the larger envelope that he doesn't know where to sort, because you have like the two names, the senior and the junior, and the junior mailbox is
do not fold,
smaller.
but it's smaller.
Right.
Yeah.
And he like solves this problem in a pretty considerate way of like, I'll write a note, put it in the dad's mailbox, tell him to give it to the son.
Yeah. It's,
Like there is a little indication of like, this guy can make decisions.
Doughboys, I have a question. It's not to do with the Hudsucker Proxy, but I have to ask.
Yeah.
Someone just posted in my work Slack this question. Guys, is legal seafood in Boston famous, expensive, very good? Can someone explain it to me?
well,
I know you're a legal seafood knower, Mitch. It's
Why-
the only reason.
Wags is just 1 week away from knowing this, and I wonder what your thoughts will be. I
Wow,
think
you're
is-
doing legal seafood on the pod?
We are talking
Live
about legal sea foods, separate words and plural, on the podcast. Yes, we're doing it for our live show in Boston.
We're doing legal seafoods. A great question. I think that you can feel every way about every. You can feel like it's good. You can feel like it's expensive. It is expensive. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But also, I think sometimes you can go there and think it's not good, and I think the quality is goes up and down. But
I've never been there, but
it's supposed to be an elevated chain.
yeah, it's like a 60 or 7 from my research, like a 60, 70-year-old, Boston institution. And so I imagine it's the kind of place that people have a maybe complicated relationship with. Certainly as it's grown and expanded, it is now an airport, this is going back to something we said a while back on the podcast, but once you start to expand any of these franchises, the quality is tough to maintain.
So it's not Boston's finest restaurant. This is Katie Weaver, my colleague, the great Katie Weaver.
Is it Boston's best high-end chain?
Oh, sure.
Well, what would even be the
Yes.
competition for that?
I mean, that's the issue, that there's no
Well,
longer any competition.
they've got that
for it.
market. I'm aware of their market.
Yeah, that's true. They do have the market.
Boston market's is
Not doing great. A
is-
lot of these chains are not doing great. I mean, these sort of like high end.
the local chain, like the 99 restaurant Wags you went to. That's like a local chain. not doing great. So I say yes. I think it is.
Yes. Okay. Sure.
It's a step above. It's the best we got, I guess.
Great Katie Weaver. Shout out, of course, her masterpiece, which is the article she wrote when she went to TGI Fridays and only ate mozzarella sticks for an entire day.
Oh, sure.
Oh my
One of the
God.
greatest pieces of journalism in modern internet history. I'm not joking. When TGI Fridays did the unlimited mozzarella sticks, like you can get as many as you want.
Yeah, and she took it to the limit.
And Max, her editor, told her, like, if you do it for an entire day, I'll give you a week off. And it's great. You should read it. Anyway, back to the Hudsucker Proxy, of course.
That sounds like something you and I maybe would just do, not even for the show.
So he gets the blue letter.
He gets the blue letter.
He goes up to the top floor to deliver the blue letter. That is how he gets into the Newman's office.
Correct. And I do just...
That's where we meet the bell.
we don't need to call all them out, but I do want to call out because the first, 7 or 8 minutes of the movie play without a ton of dialogue, that then it really kicks in at the post-Musburger death,
right.
where they do my favorite kind of like screwball comedy. Like there are 10 guys at this table. Each of them, their only function is to do one bit and to heighten that bit, and the bits keep crossing over. There's the mezzanine guy. There's the sort of every step he took was a step up until the last one.
All of those guys are funny. The guy with the big bushy eyebrows is
So
obviously the funniest. I feel like I've seen that guy in other stuff.
Mhm.
Right? Big bushy eyebrow guy.
I feel like he's going to come up in other Coens as well.
Right.
But yes, the blue letter is this idea of this like inner Hudsucker universe importance of a letter that must be handed over directly to the senior officer, and no one else wants to take it because if you fuck up a blue letter, you're done. Norval kind of gets stuck with it as like the last guy through the door, the newest hire.
The movie does a great job where I was like, did they just forget about the blue I was like, they forgot about the blue letter. I was dumb. I fell for it until the end of the movie, and I was like, oh yeah, the blue letter. They got back to it. It genuinely worked on me. I was just like, oh, it's just a plot device to get him to where he needed to be.
It's that improv principle, though, of like the moment to call the thing back is like 1 minute after the audience has forgotten about it.
Yes.
You need to wait out them keeping track of it.
Yes, and it's great. And it's great.
You basically get to a point where you're like, I guess the blue letter was just the excuse to get him into the room. It's not important to the story.
Yeah.
When in fact it is like the crux of the whole thing. The fact that they say that they got stuck on the script with him on the ledge makes me think that the blue letter must not have been a part of the story.
Sure, that they bring that back as the sort
that
of
they're like, what is a thing that he can do once he's already about to jump that solves the problem? What is some way that he can like win back the chair? I just think it's very ingeniously
it's
seated.
insane. It's truly. I asked this before, but I said, is there any time where this movie would be commercially a success? And you said in 1940s. But if this was released this year, do you think it would be like I guess even with
released with the Coens at their current level of fame.
Yes. Yeah.
It'd be more of a hit.
They've reunited, and this is their in the modern context. Yeah, I think it would be.
It's opening up against Final Reckoning.
No, I mean it's not going to be better than
it
Final
would
Reckoning.
suplex Final Reckoning.
But it is funny that it does feel like a lot of the times that the Coens have made something that is pitched more as a comedy, at the time people are like, why are they doing this? This is like a lark. Why can't they be serious? They're supposed to be serious filmmakers. And then those movies tend to like age incredibly well. But the straight comedies are usually the ones of theirs that are kind of dismissed in the moment.
Didn't you mention Lebowski did not perform well on
Lebowski?
Total bomb.
People were so mad about it. It wasn't just a bomb. People were like, they just made Fargo. Why are they making this weird bowling comedy? Like, what is this? Like, it's very funny.
They've had, and like even this coming after Miller's Crossing and Barton Fink, they have these multiple arcs of moments where people are like, you were the fucking chosen ones. Like, what are you doing?
Did you record the Barton Fink episode yet?
We did.
Did you reference the part of The Simpsons or the?
Yeah, of course we
did.
You're
going to search out for
Barton Fink.
Yeah, go to an
Barton Fink. No, of course.
And the runner of Bart and his friends continually accidentally going to see art house movies and being disappointed because Naked Lunch.
Yes,
would do
right.
as
Naked
well.
Lunch, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was a dinner with Andre Game, right? Was there an arcade cabinet?
Yeah.
Can I also just to go back to Final Reckoning for just a second?
Please.
Wag said that he wished he could be put in the Entity coffin to fly to New York. I just wanted to bring that up. That That's your way that you wish you could travel here, is the entity coffin.
Like checked in as like luggage.
The
you're
Entity
saying.
Coffin and Dead Reckoning Part 1, he does look like, it doesn't he seem like he emerges out of that like having had an incredible nap?
Yeah.
He seems totally rejuvenated.
I mean,
I want to see if I can add the entity onto my CPAP.
Morales is looking hot in that movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you got to credit the entity.
I was saying that after one flight with the entity coffin would be in therapy. It's the big entity coffin in a sit-down therapy. And I also wanted to just point out, I don't know if this is spoilers.
Please.
You guys are seeing Final Reckoning tonight.
We sure are.
It's very exciting.
It is exciting. I hope we enjoy it.
I will say this. I don't know if you've talked to them, David. We have 2 friends who saw it 3 days ago.
Wow.
Who's the other?
What's the...
Ehrlich is the one I know.
And Esther.
Right. The people going to Cannes.
And Ehrlich went thumbs down and Esther went thumbs up.
Oh my God.
Ehrlich's
Split.
Ehrlich's a dingus. To use a Hudsucker
I'm just saying, let's put it on the record. By the time this has
That's
come
true.
out,
That's true.
we'll have seen it. Our episode will have been released. But
Ehrlich did say it had like incredible action. He seemed a little annoyed by
complained that there weren't enough action
Right.
sequences. I just also want to say we saw Dead Reckoning Part 1 with Ehrlich. We were like, whoo, and he walked out and he was like, that sucks. Cruise fucked it up. And then I talked to him at Ben's wedding
He came around.
last weekend, and he said it's really disappointing because obviously Dead Reckoning's a masterpiece.
Yeah,
and I said, you didn't like it.
he does
and,
this all the time.
And he went, yeah, but I've watched it 15 times since, and now I know it's a masterpiece.
Yeah. Anyway.
We're an exclusive club. Do you know this?
Married podcasters?
Wives named Nellie.
His wife's not. His
Yeah, his wife is not named Nellie.
yeah, her name's Natalie, but it's close.
Natalie.
I think you heard Natalie.
I was
is
hearing Nellie. I
Maybe
heard
you
it
should start
multiple
calling her
times.
Nellie.
well, now I'm realizing
I'll
the
run it by
way
her.
you say Natalie kind of does sound like Nellie.
Yeah, maybe that's a skill issue on my part.
Lovely wife Natalie.
Okay.
You're kind of doing Hudsucker pace delivery.
I kind of like, especially when I get riled up, I tend to I go into like a.
You're a
Hudsucker
Hudsucker. You are
I'm
a
a
bit of a
little bit.
Hudsucker.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a Hudsucker.
Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. My love. Oh, God, I can't even do
Maybe
it.
Wives
Fuck.
is the one of us who could successfully exist in a
I
comedy
think
like
you
this and
could.
deliver the dialogue.
Wow.
Hey, buddy. My I can't see. This is the issue.
You can't even do an impression.
I can't do an impression of it. I couldn't. I would get in my head. I can't. I'm a stuttering man. I couldn't. The fast. The rapid fire delivery of this thing. I couldn't do it.
They've set a buzz by this point in the movie. A little bit I love. And this is just like have you guys seen Preston Sturges movies?
Yes.
Yeah. So like my mom, when I was sick and I was a very sickly child and was homesick a lot, would be like, if you're sick in bed, you have to watch like a classic movie.
Yeah,
And would
that's
try
great.
to make me watch like serious films. And I was a little fucking brat and would usually be like, this sucks, Happy Gilmore. Which had not yet been canonized as a classic.
Well, as a child, that feels like work, and you're home
Totally.
from school, and you're not supposed to have work. When you're
Don't
home
make
from
me watch
school.
some black and white dog shit. What do you
Yeah.
think? I'm going to be a movie podcaster someday? I don't need to watch this bullshit. But Sullivan's Travels, I have this very visceral memory of my mom showing me when I was like 10, renting and being like, oh, fuck, this is funny. This is like an old movie, but it's funny. And then Film Forum here in New York City would do like Sturges rep series of all his films every couple of years. So like over time, I'd seen almost all of them and grew to be like, this is like exactly what I want out of a comedy film. These are the funniest movies of all time. And one of the things I love about them is like every character has this sense of a deep inner life. Every guy feels like you could just follow them for the rest of the movie and something fascinating is going on there. And even if it's a character who exists to just execute one recurring bit, there are weird like gives or contradictions in it. And the Buzz thing where it's like, is this guy for real? He's got this whole fucking rehearsed routine and he's doing all this choreography with the hat and he's got these rhymes for every single person who steps onto the elevator and he's like calling out the rhymes with their names and the floors. And then he says like, Mr. 11, floor 37. And he goes 36. He goes, walk down. This idea that Buzz will fucking make people change their routines in order to fit his rhymes.
That is so on point that there's just I would love to follow Buzz.
Right.
If Max came out with Hudsucker Proxies, and you followed the story of all the Hudsucker Proxy people. Proxies plural, I'm saying.
Yeah.
And we got to see. That's give me that streaming show.
All the
that sounds
boardroom guys.
the eyebrow guy.
Yeah.
There's so many characters that you just get a glimpse of that you want to see more of.
Hudsucker Proxy, Honey Bunny.
They get so many beats out of the stakes of the Blue Letter, including with Buzz in the elevator, and just like that's when he finally is shaken out of his.
He's like, you didn't
autopilot.
tell me you had a blue letter. I love that.
And then the the woman who ends up on the fainting couch. It's so great.
That's like my favorite kind of Coen joke, which for a movie that is so verbal, and they will do these visual gags that aren't even about like crazy physicality, that are like, this woman's ignoring him. He finally like gets her to notice the blue letter. The woman on the ladder screams, and then the next cut, he's in the office, and in the background, you see her getting fanned.
So funny.
Right. It's like, that's like Simpsons level of like visual, like joke density.
Ben, I forgot to ask you if you like this movie, because you know, I know with a multi-guest pod, you tend to take a back seat, but what'd you think of Hudsucker Proxy?
I loved
You've seen it before.
Yeah, I'd seen it before. It's so silly and fun. It's like a film of theirs that I know I saw Fargo first, Big Lebowski, but I think this might have been like maybe the third or fourth of theirs that I saw, and it still holds up. It's a blast.
Yeah.
And I think you guys keep calling out The Simpsons, and that really does feel like the energy of The Simpsons is really in this. Even down to just like, there's so many fun little like word written jokes. Like what comes to mind is when what's his name? Paul Newman's character towards the end is writing different variants of what the company's new name will be.
Oh, that was great.
Yes.
Very Simpsons.
He lands on Sid Sucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? What was the burger one? There was a burger. There was something burger.
Hudsburger?
I think it was maybe Hudburger. Yeah. It was
But
great.
also when you look at like when Norville's reading the classifieds and when he's looking at the job boards, it's like every single thing written there is funny.
Right.
Yeah.
The job board thing is so cool. Do you think anything like that ever existed?
I hope so.
Okay.
I want to believe it's based on something.
Right.
He goes into Musburger's office to deliver the blue letter. Musburger immediately goes like, this guy could be a good fucking...
Well, and then we have the Stitch joke. This is the moment.
This is
for
what
the
I'm trying to
Stitch
tee
joke.
up.
Yes.
But this idea that like Musburger immediately pegs him as like, you're an idiot, then decides that he's maybe a little too smart or a little too dumb or a little too arrogant, like almost passes him over. Another like just beautifully executed visual gag is, you know, he accidentally like starts setting the contract on fire with the cigar.
Him with his foot in the fiery bucket is so
but
funny.
just actually him removing the top of the water cooler,
Right, and
in one
emptying
sustained
it.
shot,
Yes, yeah.
holding it the wrong way, trying to get over there, and the time he makes it over there, it's empty. And all of this leads to obviously the trash can on fire, him kicking out the window, the hole, the wind sucking him out, Newman falling to try to catch the contract, and then Tim Robbins catching him by his foot. The last time I saw this movie before revisiting last night, saw it at the Metrograph with a friend of the podcast, Michael Taberski. I think
Shout out Michael Taberski.
2 Christmases ago.
When's he coming on the pod?
Anytime.
Well, not anytime. We should probably set up a schedule. with
Okay,
him or
we'll set
something
up and
like that.
schedule a time.
I guess we'll get the fuck out of here and get Taberski in.
Bring him in. What if we just never stop talking about this movie, but every few hours we're like, all right, you guys go, someone else is coming.
We release it as Hudsucker Proxy Dead Reckoning Part 1 and Hudsucker Proxy Final Reckoning. Never mind, it's not a Doughboys episode anymore. We changed plans. I when I saw it that time, logged that I think this is my favorite gag, my favorite joke in the history of movies.
You love
Yes, I saw that log. Yeah,
and I stand by it as there is, not to overly dissect the frog, right? But the internal logic of the joke and also the like construction and execution of it, of Newman's hanging out a window by his leg, right? We get the extreme close-up shot of the pants starting to rip. You cut to Newman's face. Oh no. like sort of
Pants.
Wayne's World
Yes,
flashback of him being Taylor, measured up.
A character that I think is always funny, which is a little Taylor.
A little
I think that's a great comic
Italian
character. Like,
Taylor.
Sarah, don't you? Like, I just think that's
I love it to make it the pants.
Yeah.
Like he's just so like
just like the refinement of it, and then also the kind of old fashionedness, kind of it's so funny.
Now, when I see this for the first time, and Charles Durning is third build in the opening credits, right? And then immediately kills himself.
Griff, I this is my thought when I just watched it. I'm sure.
I was like, that's such a funny joke to bill someone that prominently and then just have him immediately after the billing kill himself without saying a single line of dialogue. I know Paul Newman has the and. He's hanging out the window, pants start ripping, flashback to the tailor saying, how about the double stitch? Double stitch, why? To give it
To pad your account.
right.
Yeah.
Single stitch will be fine, right? And you cut back to Newman being like, oh no, fatal mistake. And I go, this is so funny. They're gonna kill Paul Newman right away. Again, they're gonna do this bit a second time. And what a classic movie, like this guy's fatal undoing. He could have saved his own life if not for the fact that he told the guy.
And plot-wise, I was like, oh, it makes sense.
Own greed.
And like it makes sense. Like Paul Newman's gonna die, and then he will still be the head of the company or whatever.
Absolutely.
Like
That's what makes him be the head of the company is that Paul Newman, right? And then you cut back to a second flashback.
The double flashback.
So
It's
funny.
So funny.
And
to
the
do.
guy, as you said, it makes no sense. But the guy, while sewing, he starts doing the first 5% of the waist with single stitch. As Newman told him, and goes, what the heck? Mr. Musburger's such a nice man. I give him the double stitch for free. And then the pants stop ripping at exactly that point.
Do you guys get a double stitch? Which is not a thing, of course, that I've ever heard of before, and I only associate with this movie. But if I get a suit made, should I now be like, make sure double stitch?
in case you fall out a window.
Exactly.
By the way, Chekhov's banana did go off. I just wanted to let people know.
He's eating it.
It's
Yeah,
the
I mean,
banana's been
because
eaten.
we've been podcasting for a long time because our show is
Deep-throated that fucking
ridiculous.
thing.
No, I mean, I swear to God. Okay, so yeah, that's all funny.
But it's
and
just, I like that it's playing with the fucking language of what we expect the bit to be.
yeah.
And then undoing it in a way that is just like,
It's so funny. And he's not nice to him at all.
No, he's an asshole.
No, there's no reason for him to do
Yeah.
this.
right.
Yeah.
He only does it because it's a funny gag.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
great. I love it.
And also, who's getting that flashback? 'Cause it's not in the scene. It's a memory of just the old Taylor.
It is interesting to think about like this. The Simpsons are so influenced by this same eras of movie comedy that this movie is riffing on. And like things in The Simpsons, like the yes guy, are like direct quotes of like Sturges stock company players. A lot of the like big archetypes of Springfield, even that notion of like this character exists to continually come in and just do this one bit.
This movie has the Texan businessman for one scene,
Yes.
who's so funny, which is
Right.
like a Simpsons character. That's a Simpsons guy. Like,
Right. I wonder, like,
it's
where
so funny that he says like, "Oh, you know, people run for cover," and he's like, "Yeller, you're calling me Yeller!" Like that's where he goes to.
yeah. But
Uh,
this notion of like, is there any era in which this movie would have worked, right? You're like, at this point, there are 5 seasons of The Simpsons on air doing a similar style of comedy. And yet, I think it is easier for people to swallow in animation.
Of course, this movie is off-putting to 90% of its audience, like first run, like right away. I think just most people are probably immediately like, "Now, fuck off." Like, I'm not saying because it's bad,
Yes.
just because it's a lot.
Yes.
I don't think there's any. I can't believe that they ever thought this would be a success. I guess is my thought. Like, there's
That's the crazier part.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what's kind of and I guess it's like, you know, so many things like this that are so great and so unique exist because of a mistake. And that's just like here, just like the wild miscalculation to think that this would connect with mainstream audiences on any level when it's so dense and so inscrutable.
The Sight and Sound review by the Dead Man that I quoted earlier, that same guy said that the single funniest joke in the movie is that it was made for $40 million at Warner Brothers with Joel Silver producing. And he was just like, the film is such a failure as a comedy that the only funny thing about it is why did they think this was worth making?
Which is sort of true.
But I also like that there is this, not I think like a deliberate self-knowing way, but there's this self-reflexive quality to the movie of like, this film existing is like pitching the hula hoop. Like, how the fuck did this get all the way to the top office?
So what you're talking about? So yes, the there's so much dialogue. It's so just absolutely jam packed with verbiage up until the moment, up through the sequence where he's hanging out of the window, and then we go from that straight to next in chronologically in the movie is just a totally nonverbal stretch of just character, like all the business laughing, right?
Right, which is very Simpsons-y as well. Like it's 3 minutes of cutting from location to location as they groom him to be a CEO and present him to the press, and it's just everyone laughing hysterically.
But this is part of why, for me, this movie is immensely watchable, is because it's not just like His Girl Friday, style dialogue for its entire runtime. You know what I mean? Like it has these moments where it just kind of like lets itself breathe for a bit. And just sort of like it is communicated purely visually,
and it's not a long movie.
No,
like every Coens movie, it basically like is in that sort of hour 45-y range. It's not.
Which at this era, most comedies are maybe closer to 90.
Sure, I guess it's a little comfortably paced compared to Ace Ventura.
Right.
How long is Ace Ventura, actually? Let's find out. An hour 26. That's how you do it,
with
baby.
credits.
Yeah, with credits.
We just hit an hour. We hit 1 hour over Ace Ventura right now at the time.
Sorry, Mitch. I'm really sorry.
I'm not sorry.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
you don't have to be sorry, but I'm sorry.
We knew we're coming here to do the long F,
these
baby.
Like great people come on our show, which I really love and appreciate that they do. And then not you guys.
Not today.
Not us.
Yeah.
Definitely not us.
No, yeah, this is just some
You mean
trash that blew in. No, but and then you'll just see him. I think you'll see it in their eyes sometimes, but they're like, "Oh, this just keeps going, huh? Like we don't stop."
But
you brought in 2 chair breakers today. Mine's yet to break, but it will at some point.
Thank God we got the double stitch on that.
My chair got the double stitch.
Yeah.
Mitch is such a nice guy. Griff making my chair before
It's a good seat.
Such a nice podcast.
Man.
I like speaking of runtime, I like when you watch you put on a movie like Master of Disguise, which is like the runtime is like 78 minutes.
Hell yeah.
And then that includes like long credits and then like a post-credit scene where it's like, "You're still here? What are you doing here?" It's like they had to pad out this runtime this much.
We were getting lunch before the record and Space Jam was playing at the TV, and Mitch, you were like, "I can't believe how long this opening credit sequence is." And I was like, the end credit sequence has like 4 whole music videos, and the movie with both of these credit sequences is like under 80.
I fucking love it when something's short. It's so good.
It was fun. I think it is the whole. I think it is the whole "I Believe You Can Fly" song. Right? Is the opening credits? It's so or
comes in at the beginning. That's "Come On and Jam" and "Welcome to the Jam."
Oh, okay.
But they play that entire song in the opening credits.
It's so long.
And credits, I think they do "I Believe I Can Fly Again." They do "For You I Will."
Okay, yeah.
We did a whole episode.
I also said it was a masterpiece compared to the new one too. And
no disagreement here.
Yeah.
Yeah. David, any wipes updates?
No, I bought the wipes. I mean, it's a pack of 12. It's a box of 12 wipes. It's one of the heaviest things that gets delivered to my house on a regular basis. Wipes weigh a lot.
Here's another thing I like in this movie. It is very unclear what the Hudsucker Company does. Right?
They make doohickeys, I feel like. They make widgets.
Right.
But it's also sort of like they're a business company, right? The opening monologue right before Durning throws himself out the window is just him explaining how huge their business is. But it's basically just defining like our stock is doing so well, mergers and acquisitions, like all this stuff. They've just become this behemoth that like society rests upon and yet actually gives nothing back, it seems like.
No, it's like the way like a sketch written by a 25-year-old like UCB writer who's never had a job will try to like set something in a boardroom and approximate the language of the corporate world, but with no actual specifics.
That's gonna say it's like a doohickey. No doohickey company runs that way. Whammo does not have a mail room where there's multiple mail slots.
But that's right. It's like the metaphor is this is like society, right? Because it's like that's why the clock I feel like becomes it's like all of reality is this building basically. Because when the clock stops, everything stops.
And obviously you don't see that much outside the walls of the building, but you don't get the sense that like everyone is using and loving Hudsucker products. Like I think it is pointed that the hula hoop is the first thing that people seem to have any affinity for. Like this movie is not doing the Wall-E bit of like, oh, everything has a by and large logo on it, right? There's not this sense of like, oh, Hudsucker has a monopoly on every product. It's all like they make something, but who knows what
It's
the fuck
yeah,
it
it's
is.
funny to not see it
Right.
too. It's great. I don't need to see what else they were doing. Like the fact that this weird company could make a hula hoop in a bendy straw is great. It's bizarre.
And it brings everyone closer together. Well, I should say, it adds more value to the hula hoop. That's not just that it's selling so well, but that people are like given joy from it. Minute 30, like right after the laughing montage, you basically cut straight to John Mahoney.
Yeah, so it's a little side plot. I mean, Mahoney never leaves this desk, right? Bruce Campbell never leaves his chair. The little newspaper, the Argus, the Manhattan Argus.
Obviously, all the Daily Bugle stuff in the Raimi Spider-Man movies is riffing on these same kind of like Hawksian newspaper comedies.
Yeah.
But I do watch these sequences, and especially his first monologue. If not, then since when? All that sort of like back and forth talk feels like him seeing you could do this in a modern comedy and still have it work.
Mahoney's amazing in Barton Fink, obviously. And he's amazing in this. And he never did another Coens movie. And it's sort of like there's a lot of guys like that who the Coens clearly liked and used like 2 or 3 times. And then they moved on to new guys and they had, like they were doing something
He
different.
also got sucked into the Frasier sphere. And I think when he was off season, wanted to focus on doing plays.
He did a lot of theater.
Yeah.
Frasier started in 93. So that's certainly
Yeah.
a big thing of,
Yeah. But he's great. Bruce Campbell looks so fucking handsome in this movie. He looks like comically pretty.
Yeah, he looks fantastic, as does Jennifer Jason Leigh, obviously.
But much like the Paul Newman reveal,
As does Anna Nicole Smith.
yes, as does Mike Starr.
Sure.
Anna Nicole Smith reveal also great.
As with,
Really funny, genuinely
Right,
really
yeah.
funny. Yeah.
but like
Her
with
first film role.
Musburger, it feels like Jennifer Jason Leigh appears from nowhere, right? Like you
Yes.
have this whole extended monologue, all these gruff guys.
I like the guys who bet on her Pulitzer. That gag always gets
That's
me.
fun.
Someone where they're like, I won the bet, and then the bet gets reversed. That's always funny.
And you,
It's funny.
right, yes, you have the
Okay.
basic setup of no one has an idea of who this guy is. They need the story, and she claims she bets her Pulitzer on it. She stakes it that she will get to the bottom of this, and so she's going to try to honey trap him in order to find out who he is, which then leads to my favorite scene in the movie, which is the light lunch scene.
Wow, that's your favorite scene in the movie.
Yeah.
Because of the Muncie High.
The Muncie High fight song part.
No,
and all
that's
that.
before
later,
that. This is
at
the
the
diner.
diner.
Oh,
I think it is such an ingenious way of them having their cake and eating it too, of like the funny meet cute that everyone knows how it's going to play out. So rather than have the audience roll their eyes at how cliched it is, you have 2 characters who basically are just like, we know the fucking rules of this universe. We like sit here all day and we watch these other movies play out that we're never the lead characters in, and we can predict every move of what they're going to do. And they're betting just like the 2 guys in the newspaper office of like, is she going to do this or that? And it's all framed as just these 2 guys have terrible indigestion, right? It's bookended by these 2 guys just needing to shit so fucking badly, asking for bromo. And then this like genuinely kind of romantic like fucking con that she's pulling to trick him into thinking that he's like met a nice girl for the first time.
I've never related to characters more than those 2 guys.
The bromo guys.
Yeah. Me and you now through this whole podcast, probably. We ate a huge meal before we came here.
We had smoked poutine.
We did have smoked
Smoked meat
poutine.
You had the poutine too?
We got it for the
Sure,
table.
Oh, you got it for the
Fun
table.
dish. Yeah,
I
it's
loved
just-
that it was a very funny interaction between you two that Griff is like, best poutine in the city, and you were like, yes, because in New York City you really need the best poutine.
famously known for
400th most. It's like, I really come to New York for the Canadian food.
I could amend that
You
and
like
say,
poutine because it's French fries with a bunch of shit on it.
yeah, it's the best food. They cracked the code on that one. No, I could have amended that statement.
I'm like, guys, do you want me to like plug you into like the best Malaysian food or whatever? And Griff's like, if you want poutine, just like, if you want poutine, just put microwave some cheese on your fries
It's
in the
not the same- no,
hotel.
'cause you need curds. You need the curds.
Yeah, you need the curds.
You
I
need
love
the
a curd.
Yeah.
To be clear, you do like the Muncie High cheer. I'm sure you
that.
do. I know you do.
Love that.
Yeah. It
But-
just came at a different time.
To your point,
Mhm.
they
I can't believe you guys haven't blown up this bathroom if you guys had fucking Mile End poutine.
That's my Chekhov. My Chekhov gun.
Chekhov's turd.
The Chekhov's turd. He almost called it that. It was almost Chekhov's turd, and then he's like, "You should make it a gun or something."
Joel Silver was there. Chekhov, make it a gun.
Sorry, I was talking about the Muncie High cheese.
Yeah, that's the next scene, right? Like, because she feigns fainting, and then he carries her upstairs, and then they have that whole interaction.
Claims to be from Muncie. She gaslights him into hiring her.
Griffin said to my point, and I thought he was going to say something cool about something I said. And then
No, that I like that the arc is sort of her realizing, being charmed by his sincerity.
She's like, he's a small town rube, and by the end of this, she's like, he's a small town rube. You know, it's like she understands what's good about him.
It's also what I think Jennifer Jason Leigh gets really right in her performance. I think a lot of people misunderstood at the time of like, oh, she's doing this weird affectation of doing this very stylized performance that's very throwbacky, and she seems a little uncomfortable in doing it. But the whole point of the character is that's a fucking act, right? That like she needs to do this whole routine of coming in with these fast talking monologues and like doing prop comedy, taking the cigarettes out of guys' mouths so that everyone takes her seriously in the office. And it's not like what she really wants is just to get married and have kids. But this whole movie is kind of circling back to this idea that I think is like important for both of the Coen brothers being weird versions of wife guys. That they're sort of like, if you just fucking chase success like as end to all means, then like what are you left with? That all of these characters are sort of like, if you don't ever find anything that actually makes you happy, you're going to end up on the top floor of a fucking building wanting to throw yourself out a window. It doesn't matter what you accomplish. And that they both cut through each other in that kind of way. And it's like Hudsucker's final message that he comes back and delivers to him of like, this is what ruined my life. But yeah, that she is like, slowly, even though the person she is with him is someone she's pretending to be, it starts to become a more honest version of her because he becomes the one person she can drop the act with. It starts with her doing a different act, and then as it goes on, it starts with her becoming like an actual genuine person with him.
She takes I mean, I was thinking of how this performance reminds me a bit of Hateful Eight a little bit, and just the big, it's another big it's another
they keep
big
punching her in the face.
Another big, and just another big character. Not that there's a similar thing of she's a different person or anything like that, but
look, especially in the 90s, I feel like she was one of those actresses that would get credit a lot for being quote unquote brave. And even in the 80s too, where it was like, oh, she does things that other big movie stars wouldn't want to do. And that's usually code for women playing like unlikable characters, getting naked, doing extreme violence, you know, all these things. It's never felt like that's something she does for like deliberate provocation. I just think she's not protective of her image in that way.
She's a great actor.
Yeah, she rules.
Love her.
a big part of the reason why the movie works, I think.
Yeah.
That's true. And I do agree with you that like someone like Winona might feel more pastiche, a little more playing dress up, right? Because she's a little younger and she's a little greener.
I also think there is like an inherent sadness to Jennifer Jason Leigh that serves the performance well. Yeah. Even when she's playing very big. But yes, now she's implanted as his secretary and he's at the top of the company and he's going to make his big play, which is sell the hula hoop.
He has nothing on his schedule except for like talking at like a kindergarten.
Yes.
Like he just is sitting in this giant office doing fucking nothing all day.
It was very much a podcaster's schedule.
It would be funny if as podcasters we had to like clock in and out of work, but a lot of our work is just like sitting there. Yeah.
Wow, 12 hours this week.
Still
Wow.
complaining.
People are gonna be so mad at us. So what
I will
else
get into that
happens?
conversation with people where they're like, and what did you do with the rest of your week? And I'm like, I don't know, read the comments.
Well, I had to watch the movie for the podcast.
Right.
Yeah, that's like an hour 45. And I had to find out where to rent it. That was 5 minutes.
Yeah. Also, my co-host has 3 kids, so my life is pretty busy, actually.
God, I have so many fucking kids. It's crazy, guys.
Right. So if you do the math, that's like me having a kid.
Is that what you're thinking about? Is that the time
I am frequently
crunch?
thinking about my children. Yes,
Yeah.
that is part of the time crunch.
Yeah,
for sure.
of course.
Yes.
No, I get
Tonight I'm seeing Mission Impossible, so it's a night out. It's already in the cal.
And also, we're having a gentleman's feast.
We sure are afterwards. I mean, we're doing it all today. It's quite a day for me today. but I do have 3 children. One of them just started crawling.
One of the twins.
Yeah. Bebop.
Okay.
We call them Bebop and
Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you sense jealousy?
Rocksteady is right behind him. I think Rocksteady's just got a slightly more. He's happier, like chilling.
Is Bebop the
Bebop's
bigger
got to
one or
go.
the smaller
The
one?
bigger one.
He has fraternal twins, but there's a bit of a size difference between
Yeah.
them.
Oh yeah. One of them's bigger.
In
than
a
the
way
other.
that is
Yeah.
funnier, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, they've got very different vibes.
They do.
They do.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something
Sounds
I have
like
in
we got a
common?
podcast in the future.
It could be.
Can I
One's
tell you
kind of more of a like pig man. The other one's got kind of like
Kind of a rhino
Rhino
thing. What were you going to say, Matt?
I was gonna say I've also been called Bebop and Rocksteady by people before, dunking on me. So I have that in common with them.
Bulk and Skull, of course, I brought up on a recent
Oh,
episode
yeah.
from the Power Rangers. You know, just like that was like in the 90s, the children needed to see 2 large fools.
Yeah.
Like as
who
like,
would literally
side
like
characters.
kunk heads together.
Right, who go
Yeah.
whoa, right, and they would like the B plot is them 20 minutes of them trying to buy groceries or something. Like
Well,
it's like
He-Man has my favorite version of that,
What's
which is the guy's name is Too Bad.
Oh,
And
right.
it's a
Yeah.
two-headed henchman where they curse them by putting them together and they punch each other in the face. No, I don't think we should go in there, boss. Hey, come on.
what else? So he invents the hula hoop. I mean, come on, let's keep it going. He invents the hula hoop. We talked about that montage, but it is. I agree with Patrick's assessment. It's an incredible film within the film.
But you have, before that, you get to the ball with Peter Gallagher, which is when they...
Is that before the hula
It
hoop?
is, yes.
The fancy Christmas ball.
Oh,
What's the
right, because
language?
that's where the investors are yelling at him. Peter Gallagher, one of the great singers, an incredible singer. Obviously, like now everyone knows him as Sandy Cohen,
Sure.
but he's one of Broadway's
Voice of
great
an
leading
angel.
men. Beautiful voice.
And also owner of 2 of Hollywood's greatest eyebrows.
He does have those pussy willows.
He was on Conan and he referred to them as the Gallagher Pussy Willows.
Oh God,
And it is a term that lives in my head all the time.
he's the best. And I've genuinely heard that he's quite a nice guy, which is always great to hear. But
But yes, it's
his-
Newman's trying to walk
his
him.
Guys and Dolls in the early 90s. I used to listen to it a lot when I was a kid. He was Sky Masterson. It was amazing.
He's playing a kind of Dean Martin-y guy.
Yeah.
Newman is trying to walk Robbins through sabotage, right? Like he starts saying, like, keep your mouth shut and don't respond to any questions, you know. And then it's like, actually, never mind, reverse what I said. He's trying to give him the advice he would actually give to someone he wants to succeed, and then realizes
Right, that he needs him to fail.
Right. And so Robbins like steps in it, embarrasses himself in front of a bunch of people, says something offensive in like Swedish, and then goes out in the balcony with Jennifer Jason Leigh, and they have this bonding moment where it actually feels like they cut through to each other. They kiss for the first time. It's like explosion, score swells, and then you like hard cut to it is this movie being so mathematically constructed in a way Coen Brothers movies are. Hula hoop is explained at 1 hour exactly. It's like at the 1 hour mark, they kiss, and then you go out from the blueprint in the office, and for the first time, you know what the circle is.
Yes.
And now here's the thrust of the second half of the movie.
Right.
He's really hooling the fuck out of it for that whole scene too.
Yes.
The neck,
Yeah.
ankle.
Yeah.
Has he already been reported as being a dummy in the newspaper at this point, or
Yeah. Lee's already dragged him through the mud.
because there's
He's
an
an imbecile.
an imbecile heads Hudsucker, and then the sub headline was not a brain in his head, and I really liked that. It was very Simpson-y.
Imbecile heads Hudsucker is like right up there with extra Todd smells.
Maybe newspapers should bring that back.
Yeah.
Just like we've looked into it, and this guy's a dummy. Like it's just like that's what the story is.
There's the just that balcony scene, because yes, there's some newsroom sort of back and forth that we kind of are breezing by, but on that balcony they have like some more dialogue back and forth, and there is another of those moments where like she's starting to be like, he's got the shiner from the being punched by the Finnish guy. They're talking about like what you could have been in a past life, and he says karma. But there also is the part where they're talking about, I think you'd be a gazelle or maybe an ibex, and like either way, like could I call you deer? And he like cracks himself up, and it's so adorable. And then she starts talking about like, oh, but maybe it was I was a hard sort of nosed reporter, sort of like city girl, like tries like projects about herself, right? She's talking about herself in a past life. herself in a current life if that was her in a past life. And he's like, no, that kind of person would come back as a wildebeest or a, like it's, I don't know. I just really love all the dialogue through there. And it's just such great. It just like allows her to play the subtext so strongly, and she's so effective at it.
I also think there's something in both of them have these kind of like preconceived biases against the type of person the other one is, right? That she's this like hard-boiled city girl who thinks a country bumpkin is naturally an idiot, and he thinks a person like that must be like a heartless, cynical monster. And that they're in having these weird conversations, they both kind of quietly realize that like at their core, they are sort of the same in the things they value and what they care about. And
that's sincerity, like you were saying.
Yeah.
There's a sincerity in the movie.
There is.
There it is. It's just that piece of shit reviewer from the 90s who's passed away, rest in peace. Died tragically, but still.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about him.
He gets them to approve the hula hoop, and you have this unbelievable montage.
It's a hit.
And like you talk about like sketch comedy logic business company, the idea there being an entire room that's just how much will it cost on like a big banner up top, and guys going back and forth and just naming prices.
I think it's really funny. I think it's really funny
that they
the guy adds the $1 like that does seem how
like
they
stroking their chin,
right.
And that when you have the pitch room guys trying to come up with the name, the secretary at the front, every time they cut to her is reading a different like mammoth book. She goes through War and Peace and Anna Karenina.
Funny stuff.
I don't know. I like when it's taking off and the price the price goes up and up and the new sticker. It's great. All that stuff is fantastic.
I do think the second half, it's really less than half, but is a little less propulsive and awesome than the first.
Well, sure, because it's the fall.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like the comedy's still there. And I think the ending of this movie is wonderful, like just visually and dynamically, and like the big fight with the janitor and Bill Cobbs and all that, and like the gears, all that's great. I just felt myself drifting slightly. I'm so engaged by everything up to the hula hoop being created. And it is partly because like you need him to suddenly become a jerk. So now he's this kind of withdrawn character, and you need him to not do anything. The straw bit's funny. Like, there's stuff that's funny, like the asides.
Well, I also like that there's
Steve
sort
Buscemi as a beatnik is funny.
Acknowledging the life cycle of fads, right? That this guy is so ready to coast off the success of the hula hoop for the rest of time, and you're already seeing it fade, right? You have the original montage, then you have the John Goodman newsreel of like this.
He's credited as Carl Munt,
his Barton Fink
character,
name.
Barton Fink, the serial killer, not the nice guy.
And he makes the joke of like, I don't see what all the hoopla is about. And then you see him try it a second time, and already it's starting to fall off. And it's when you get to Buzz pitching him the straw, he like needs to shit on Buzz in order to reaffirm his own greatness. Like he goes like, this is moronic. You see, the thing that makes an idea like, I don't know, the hula hoop so great, where like it's this thing that these guys need to do, which is like tell you why they're so smart.
Nah, capitalism's good. You're wrong.
And he hits him with the, we don't crawl here at Hudsucker, with the saying
so
Paul Newman
funny.
hits him. It's just a great callback. I like, it's interesting what you say about the second half. I really do like the second half of this movie.
All right, I'm wrong.
No, I'm not even saying I disagree with you. I'm more trying to like interrogate in my own head is like, is it a little bit less fun? And is that just inherent to the what you were saying of just like it being it being the fall? But one thing I will say is like, there is an overall joke to this movie, which is just how compressed the time frame is. That absolutely everything is happening within a 30-day time limit, and that he's going from mailroom where he's getting from his orientation in the mailroom to being company president in the same day because the company CEO committed suicide earlier that morning.
Which the bellboy on the ride up that he was in the mailroom and the bellboy, and then on the ride down with the bellboy, he is the president. He's basically the president. It's very funny.
And the news hasn't even reached Buzz yet.
Yeah, Buzz doesn't know.
Like, how'd that blue let it go? It's another one of my favorite jokes in the movie is when he brings Jennifer Jason Leigh back, and he's like, I'm going to get you a job here here at the company, and I know just where there's an opening. And he buzzes down to the supervisor in the mailroom.
Yeah.
And he goes like, hello, this is Norval Barnes. He goes, Barnes, where are you? I've been waiting for you for 4 days. And he goes, I don't know if you heard, but I'm the president of the company now. And he goes, I don't care if you're the president of the company.
That he emphasizes president.
Right, that it's just the same thing repeated back. Yeah.
Also, there was one thing we skipped over. There's a pretty good Eisenhower cameo here.
Oh, him saying like,
That is so funny.
I thank
I'm
you and
proud
my
of
wife thanks
Mrs. Eisenhower
Right.
is proud of you.
Right.
Because it's just so funny that it's a picture of him. Like they just slide in the picture of him.
It's also so funny that like 20 plus years later, Aaron Sorkin basically tries to do the earnest version of that at the end of Being the Ricardos.
That is what happens. You're right.
Right, where he's
J. Edgar Hoover is like,
he's on the phone.
absolved.
Yeah.
There's nothing weird about me.
I love Lucy. And then everyone applauds.
Dwight Eisenhower rocks. What a weird guy.
Yeah, I like Ike.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, I like Ike too.
Yeah.
Great. We all agree.
What's your favorite thing he did?
You're asking me specifically?
Mississippi schools is probably the genuine answer, or winning the war. But he did some bad stuff too, or warning us about the military-industrial complex.
Yeah, that was
which
fun.
He did.
I was a fan of the White House physician announcing he had like an unremarkable shit.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
he was just like, yeah, I looked at it, nothing special.
There was like a whole thing of like he was sick and they were like they were being very cagey about it, and so the White House released like the physician released an extremely explicit letter just like sort of detailing what had happened and what was unremarkable about it.
Sorry, Arkansas. Yeah, no, Eisenhower, like when he was leaving the office, he was like, by the way, like it's kind of fucked up that the military and like big business are kind of like, you know, turning into this big evil thing that's going to like kind of take over society. And I call it the military industrial complex. Anyway, I'll see you later. And everyone was like, I feel like he's right about that.
He was on point with
and
that
then like no one did anything about it.
You know what I like about him? I like him in this movie. I don't know.
I like his
he's good in this
Hudsucker
movie.
work.
I don't know too much of his other work.
Yeah,
It's a
I'm not
great
really that
performance.
familiar, but he's great at this.
I like that picture where he looks really fabulous. Do you know the picture I'm talking about?
Which one?
There's this picture where he's like serving, and the internet got kind of obsessed with it.
Oh, I never saw this
Can I
get
see this?
memed. That's a great picture.
Oh, that's great.
It's
That is
just
a great
like a
photo.
picture of him in his uniform.
Yeah.
Do you guys know about the Peter Principle?
Explain.
And now
It was
there's
originally-
on the clock. Now
Okay.
I did do an Eisenhower bit.
This
It was
is
a
Family Guy
A
thing.
book that was originally meant to be satirical.
Right, isn't it? It's like the stupider you are, the higher you rise, but it's something like that,
It's
right?
basically saying that everyone will succeed to a level of relative incompetence at
Right,
the higher
right.
level companies.
You get
like
promoted.
Oh, yeah.
You get promoted to beyond your competency,
Right.
and there you shall
that
stay.
basically everyone gets over promoted like one time in organizations like this past their actual ability, and then rather than ever getting demoted or fired, the people just stay there. So the higher up you get, the worse people are, because that's where people kind of like hit their limit.
Yeah, I've heard of this phenomenon. I haven't heard the Peter Principle specifically.
No, there was also the Dilbert principle, wasn't there?
Tell me about it.
I don't know, but wasn't that?
All neckties
Yes.
must go.
Oh, I'm sorry. It actually. 'Cause remember how like Scott, first it was like they just put out Dilbert books of
Yeah.
of the strips,
Right.
but then Scott
We
Adams,
would read them and go, God, this guy sounds like such an alpha. Whoever's writing these,
Bet he's got a chiseled torso.
the guy drawing Dilbert must fuck so good.
but then he would also write like management comedy books,
Right.
Like text books.
That
And
was
one of them is
actually the
called
early warning sign.
The Dilbert Principle,
Right.
And it must have been like joking about
Yeah.
like a riff on the Peter Principle,
But
right?
we should have known at that moment, the second that the guy took the success of the comic strip, to be like, but actually, Dilbert's serious.
Yes.
I have things I want to say about corporate culture.
I know he's you know a bit of an online figure, Mr. Scott Adams. Was he always a weirdo, or is he one of those classic like 10 years of Twitter, rotting his brain? and all
Always
that?
bad has only gotten worse.
He was also always super online. Like
Right,
he was
of
like
course
he was
he-
like
yeah.
a Penn Jillette,
Before no
like,
one was
early,
online.
like
Right.
very very early internet, like Usenet, use groups.
But he wasn't like a
News
like
groups.
a Dennis Miller hard swing after 9/11 guy.
Yeah, sure.
or,
No.
Ron Silver.
Graham Linehan or any of those guys who like have a
Graham,
moment.
is something up with that?
Yeah, he went from being funny to really funny.
Dilbert the cartoon.
Good.
Incredible opening credits.
Yeah.
One of the best.
That was Larry Charles
Larry
ran
Charles.
that
It's
show.
pretty funny.
Yeah.
Dilbert was good.
But yeah, great theme song, great animation in the opening.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Anyway.
Dogbert.
Dogbert's
Dogbert's
funny.
funny.
It's like
Dogbert's
he's a
funny.
dog with glasses.
Catbird.
He's like mean.
Is there
There's Catbird. Oh, you never saw Catbird?
I didn't know about Catbird.
My whole thing is that I would read those comics,
Yeah.
and Catbird is the HR guy. Like that's the joke.
That's really
and like,
funny.
and I'm just like, what the fuck was like 11-year-old David being like, yeah, HR,
Yeah.
always on your ass. Like, why was I?
Catbird.
Remember Catbird?
Yeah, I remember Capra.
Yeah. And then there was Ratbert,
I can't remember Ratbert specifically.
and then there was a dinosaur.
Okay.
I-
So they started adding more new characters as the
Well, I
series
think a
went
lot
on.
of the initially Dilbert was heavier on the animals, and a lot of them got kind of pulled back.
Oh,
he
well,
kind of built
interesting.
out the humans, and there's the little
pointy-haired
cast, like there's the
boss.
boss and the
Yeah.
lady with the triangle
Right, right.
hair and all that.
Jason Alexander was Catbert. Chris Elliott was Dogbert.
I'm sure they were great.
Yeah.
What's
And Daniel
Dogbert's
Stern
deal?
was
He's a dog.
Dilbert.
Yes, right.
That's a damn good cast.
Damn good
Bring
cast.
it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring it
Get
back.
Money flowing to Adams. Like, is Dilbert still running? Like, can I read a new Dilbert?
Great question.
And he like writes it,
Great question.
Yeah, that is a great
and it's
question.
not insane.
It has to be
Great
insane.
Yeah.
There's no way it's not insane.
Well, is he just like phoning that in, and then all day he tweets? But then Dilbert is just like the pointy hair boss, being like, "Do those emails," and Dilbert's like, "Fuck this."
Okay, here's a question. Would this movie have been a hit
If Dilbert was the star?
if 3 years later the script was repurposed into a live action Dilbert movie? That it's basically the same film but mapped onto the Dilbert cast.
So Paul Newman is playing Catbert, I guess.
Pointy haired boss.
Oh,
Yeah,
pointy
pointy-haired
hair
boss.
Oh, pointy hair
Yeah.
boss. Sorry, I clearly don't know Dilbert as much as you guys do, and I'm shocked that you guys know as much as you do about Dilbert.
Oh my God, Dilbert.
Big comic strip.
There is no Dilbert. New Dilbert cartoons, and if you go to the website, there is a drop down. Why did Dilbert get canceled? If you believe the news, it's because I'm a big old racist. Context: no news about public figures is ever true. Et cetera, et
Jesus.
cetera. So he's doing great.
He's doing all right.
Hudsucker Proxy, Griff. Any more on this?
Any more on this? No, you have like the rapid fall. The only sequence every time I watch this movie that I bump on and question if it's a mistake is the weird Tim Robbins dream sequence that
Oh, right.
feels like a Guess Jeans ad or something.
Is that the dance sequence?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. What's going on there exactly? I don't.
It just feels like an odd stylistic swing
Sure. Yeah.
away. I
Yeah.
guess it's in the start of his spiral down.
And it might be one of those things, again, as an audience member, maybe in 1994, where you're kind of like, how many more sort of switches in format are you going to throw at me? You had the newsreels, right? You had the big band sequence, right? Like where it does start to get a little overwhelming.
I love Buzz. I love Buzz chasing after him with the big mob. That's all great stuff. The ending is in the ending stretch is it's an insane stretch, but I love it.
So I just checked it. It's she comes in. He's like hotshot. The people have the old timey hand massagers on his face.
Love those.
Oh,
that
I
things
love
that
that.
You put
barbers
it on
used
your
to have.
fingers. Yeah.
Or
yeah,
they're like
yeah.
motorized gloves.
Yeah.
That's great. Those are great.
Right. And she slaps him in the face because of how arrogant he's become. Then he goes in the dream sequence. And when he wakes up, it's like everyone's gone. The office is dark. And that's when Buzz pisses him the straw.
The straw thing, and,
Right.
and all that. And then he gets
Immediately after
turfed
that.
out.
Right.
Yeah, right.
It's him being called into Musburger's office
Right.
or the big boardroom after the golf trip. And he's like, Buzz claims that you stole his idea for the hula hoop, but that's not even the real problem. I figured out who the reporter is. You
Right.
let her into
You're-
the hen house.
and-
You're gone. We're going to have you declared insane.
right, and we're having you institutionalized, and then he's at the Beatnik bar with Buscemi.
A detail I love in that scene is that it feels like the most genuine moment from Newman and his performance in a way is he's saying, Buzz says you stole his idea. And by the way, there's no problem with that. He's nothing. People like that need to be put down. There's this moment of him talking to him as if he were a real executive.
like CEO to CEO,
Where he's like, by the way, if I respected you, I would tell you that the right thing to do is to start treating people like shit now, even though this has all been a setup. But yes, then it's like precipitous fall.
yes, and then we're on to Norville's suicide. We're on to he's drunk and he's gonna jump.
It does happen pretty quickly.
Oh, it's very rapid.
right.
Like the
He's
last
Yes.
Yes. The last half of plot in this movie is 10 minutes.
They send him to the head shrinker. They watch it on a film reel. He goes to the bar. He meets Buscemi.
Yes.
It's a good bit of like he can't get a drink.
Yeah, they only serve juice, right? Like
Right.
it's like
Juice and coffee, I
juice
think.
and coffee. Yeah, carrot
yeah.
juice maybe.
What do we think of the device that clock? That the janitor is an all-knowing sort of godlike figure.
Yes.
Angel.
Right. So you have this earlier scene where Jennifer Jason Leigh's snooping around.
Yeah,
And she goes through the gears
interacts
of the
with
clock
him, yeah.
because basically the clock is the midpoint between the Musburger office and Hudsucker's office that Norval takes over. And he has this one like sort of info dump of like, I know everything.
Yeah,
I'm
knows her
ahead of
by
the
name.
plot. I know where this is going.
Right.
Right. Like I'm all seeing. I think it's the first time you've seen him on camera since the opening narration.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So there's been chatting, right, in voiceover.
Can we just talk about those gears? God,
The
what
big
fucking
old gears.
incredible looking gears.
We
Yeah,
all-
up there with Castle Cagliostro as far as like a
Yeah.
gears
Great
movie.
Mouse Detective and all these.
Yeah.
Great Mouse Detective. Yeah, bring back a big clock.
TikTok clock from
Like
Super
it's-
Mario 64.
Yeah, it's
Yes, I hate that level.
it's right up there with TikTok clock.
There's like almost nothing I love more than a big practical set where things are moving.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck, this shit is rigged. You know, like this is motorized or like 20 guys are like pulling levers to make this set operate. This like phony machinery.
And is there a TikTok clock Mario Kart, I think, where there's like, conveyor belts one's going one way, one's going the other, something like
I
that.
feel like that was I know the
Yeah.
Mario Kart canon last.
Yeah,
but I feel
there
like
is,
was
there
a level.
When this movie was about to come out and they were doing press and it had not test screened well, and they went back for reshoots, and the press was like, is this about to be Joel Silver's costly flop? Why did he bet on the Coen brothers? He said, like, we do reshoots in all of our movies. They have Final Cut, which they did. There was nothing forced upon them.
No.
Warner Brothers wanted
Nothing
changes.
about this movie screams studio.
I had their back.
Yes.
And they said, we've heard that you did reshoots to add a fight scene.
Yeah.
And he said, nothing was imposed on us. When we were in the edit, we all
were like,
collectively
we need
agreed that there
something
was
here.
something that was missing.
Right.
I don't know if that means that the entire fight scene was added
I wonder,
or
but it,
pieces were added. It is the one thing in the movie that still feels like from their pen, but does feel like, do we need something more exciting
It's
at the end?
a little out of nowhere that
Totally.
the guy who replaces the signs on the doors is the villain all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's fine. I
It's
don't
fine.
have a problem
I
with
like it.
It's
funny.
insane.
There
and I
is-
like his teeth falling out and all
Yeah.
that. Like, it's
Right.
cool.
There
His
is also
teeth
the
gone.
moment-
Using them to stop
to
the
stop the
gears.
gears.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's
great.
Yeah.
There is the moment earlier. Were you about to say something?
No, I like the teeth in the gears as well.
I love the teeth and the gears. There's the moment earlier where you see him looming over Musburger's shoulder as if he's the guy who's giving him the intel or approving the intel that she's actually the reporter, right? Which ultimately leads to his downfall. So I think that they are trying to seed at least some sort of shadowy figure. But again, just everything's so arched that I do think it feels like he is the literal devil. Like it's like we have one character who seems to be
He's
coded as
force of
God, and one
evil,
character
and Bill Cobb
coded
is
as-
like an angel.
He
Yeah,
basically,
exactly.
right. He says, like, I know just
Bill
about
Cobb.
everything that happens, at least within this building. And it feels like him almost covering for the fact that he's admitting that he knows everything.
The
But
great Bill Cobb.
we only lost him last year.
I know. He died at the age of 90.
Yeah, I like all this. I think the Coen brothers are like weirdly underrated as action filmmakers because No Country
mean,
is one of the only films where they get
They
to
didn't
sort
make a lot
do
of action movies, but there are
sequences.
basically no one better at like visual communication
Spatial geography.
than the Coen brothers.
right, and the
maybe
relationship between
Steven Spielberg
objects.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the Coens never tried to do, I guess, right, a gigantic scale action sequence. Probably would have done a good job if they did.
True Grit kind of has an anti-set piece, like they
Which is from the book. It's like, it's not
Totally.
even like that it's the Coens are peeling it back. It's like, yeah, the whole thing with True Grit is it builds to something that's quite short and sudden, which rocks. Fill your hands, you son of a bitch. It's the best fucking line in any movie ever said.
he likes to pull the cork.
He does like to pull the
I did wonder if I was like, are they gonna like is he gonna pull the hand of the clock back to get him back on the ledge?
Superman style.
And then
Reversing
reversing
time,
time or whatever. And then it is just funny that it stopped at just a great time and he just can fall right to the ground.
That's what
It's
I
perfect.
like. I
Good
like the
logic.
internal logic of it.
Yeah.
And that they realize that these kinds of comedies need the plotting of like 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Sure, yeah.
You know, like Norval gets in the office, but then he fucks it up, but then he saves it.
Yeah.
Where it's like he falls, but they stop the clock, but it doesn't stop all the way. It's just enough that the fall doesn't kill him.
It's great.
And what actually saves him is Hudsucker himself.
And Hudsucker as an angel, come on. You get to see Hudsucker. Come on.
It's Halo.
I mean,
the hula hoop.
Durning's just incredible. I know a lot of it is just like presence.
Yeah.
And like this guy being such a pro at this point in time and the visual, but he just nails this.
Durning's good.
Can I also say that Jennifer Jason Leigh, when she says goodbye to the newsroom, that whole scene is when she keeps saying "shut up," like she says that over and over again. I think
very funny.
It's great. It's great. It's a great moment for her too.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Hudsucker imparts onto him that like life is meaningless if you don't fucking care about other people. If you're just pursuing success. And saves him just in time to be able to right the wrong. And also just calls out like, you fucking idiot, you never opened the blue letter.
Right. It is him, right, saying like that is not a dangling, like that's not a forgotten plot thread. That is a dangling plot thread. It is time for you to resolve it.
Right.
Open the blue letter.
Right. And I
that
think,
resolves the movie.
But such a good touch within it is that he is like, I bequeath my stakes to whoever is appointed CEO in my absence, which I assume will be Sydney. But in the weird circumstance that for some reason you place whoever else in the chair, then it goes to that guy. That like Musburger, if he had done nothing, would have had control of the company.
Yes, it's a good gag.
Yeah.
Instead, he gets caught with a big butterfly net and he goes to loony bin.
Yeah. How all movies should end.
Pretty much.
Yeah. That's how Zero Dark 30 should have ended. That Chris Pratt goes in with a big butterfly net.
That's how he gets
Puts
Osama
in a straitjacket. His eyes are like spinning.
Remember how then it was like, oh, Chris Pratt's in like a soldier outfit.
Yeah.
And now it's like, yeah, of course, Chris Pratt's always in like military fatigues, like with a giant gun. It's just his normal state of being.
I served with him in the Tomorrow War.
And thank you for your service.
Of course, thank you.
Yeah.
You did serve in the Tomorrow War.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So the film didn't do very well, Griffin. I'm sorry to say. It made 1/3 of a Black Hat domestically.
I just want to close the loop. He runs back to the fucking coffee shop after the stroke of midnight and does the fucking Muncie hand sign to her, and I find it very romantic.
Oh, that is nice.
It's
nice.
It's just like, look, it's classic movie construction thing. I just love when you can like create something within the language of your own movie that did not exist previously and bring it back in and have it suddenly have gained greater emotional weight.
Nick's just looking at his empty peel now.
Wordless exchanges.
Don't you think it's funny that the Coens have this early success? They win the Palme d'Or. They get all, like, then they make kind of like what they're like a comedy for like people, for kids almost, right? Where it's like, we made a big budget movie for you guys that's funny and like action packed, and everyone's like, pfft. And they're like, I guess we'll make a movie about like Minnesota people pushing bodies into wood chippers and shit. And everyone's like, yes, thank you.
Right. This is what we wanted from you. This is what I'm
more
saying.
of this.
The darker they go, the more people applaud them. And whenever they try to make something funnier, people are like, what the fuck is this
like,
dumb
you
bullshit?
want like a divorce, attorney comedy with like George Clooney burning up the
sexiest movie stars?
Yeah, and can like Javier Bardem murder people with a cow pistol? Like, can we have that?
Can Tommy Lee Jones like basically look to the audience and explain why maybe humanity should be eradicated? And people are
so funny. Yeah.
Right. It's like anytime they try to make a crowd pleaser, people are like
okay,
frowning and crossing their arms.
I mean, their two biggest flops, because Intolerable Cruelty is and
Lady Killers.
And it's like, are these sort of screwball things?
Yes.
And that's probably why I like them so much.
I agree. And I think Burn After Reading and Hail Caesar were both kind of dismissed in the moments as being like weird.
I don't like Burn After
Burn After Reading is a fucking masterpiece, and I hope you come around.
I hope I do too. Hail Caesar, I love.
I love Hail Caesar. I'm a Hail Caesar.
Burn After Reading is the one time where I was like, this is too dark or too like I don't like anything about it, and it's like setting. It's not like I think it's like terrible, but it always set my teeth on edge a little bit.
But Big Lebowski has undeniably become their biggest movie in the public consciousness, and is basically their guarantor for life, I would say at this point, retroactively. And at the time, people were like, they're making a fucking stoner comedy? Like, this is a movie where like they admit the plot doesn't matter?
Big Lebowski now just exists as Super Bowl commercials. It's gonna be like Super Bowl commercials for the next like decade.
Yeah, like
or
Jeff
so.
Daniels like goes around wearing the sweater and like doing like fucking
Jeff
96.
Daniels.
Yeah, basically just doing Borat.
Even other Jeffs are able to cash in on this.
Any Jeff can do this?
Jeff Probst is drinking White Russians and getting paycheck. No, but like I saw Jeff Bridges do some fucking like talk at some 92nd Street Y-esque thing, and he was just wearing the sweater, and people were like losing their minds. And it's not like, oh
He should
fuck,
wear the,
Adam West wearing the Batman suit. That's
Right.
depressing. People are like thrilled.
He should wear the Ironmonger suit. He should come out in that.
Yeah.
You guys
Watch
remember
the
this?
script!
I mean, all the Coen brothers movies are funny to some degree. Like, but I like as far as their straight comedies not connecting with audiences as much. I guess absent Lebowski, though, that's kind of its own thing.
Even Oh Brother was sort of a 50%.
Oh,
And
Brother
I
and
love
Raising
Oh
Arizona were both in that zone, but Oh Brother is so eclipsed by the
Brother's so
soundtrack
funny.
in its
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, well, that's the other weird thing where they're like, let's do. Okay, finish your point.
Oh no, all I was gonna say is that I wonder if there's something of like they're comedies, but you like really have to pay attention to them. And I feel like audience expectations for a comedy sometimes are just like, I'm just gonna enjoy the ride, as opposed to like I really have to lock in and focus and like
Densely
this thing
packed with
demands my
jokes.
attention. Yeah,
Yes, that is
right.
true.
yeah.
Right. They are very,
And they also look too good. Like
Yes.
movies like
That's
Oh Brother
true.
look so phenomenal that you're like, this is a comedy? Like this seems like
And yeah,
important in a way.
So we talked about this in our 1941 episode, right? This line of like, if a comedy gets too expensive, does it stop being funny?
I don't want fop, god damn it. I'm gonna do that 40
It's
times
so
on that
funny.
episode. I don't want fop. God, the way he says fop, he should have gotten 8 Oscars.
I'm a
for
Dapper
that.
Dan man.
I'm a Dapper Dan man.
Clooney is
He's my best actor that year, my friend.
he's your winner
Wow.
Oh yeah.
over
yeah.
Crow?
Yeah.
Because you would have given Crow the Insider.
Crow is a winner for me for LA Confidential, my favorite Russell Crowe performance. The movie when the moment in LA Confidential when he's holding the chair, the back of the chair, and he fucking snaps it off. It's so
Oh
good.
my god, it's the best. I love that movie.
LA Confidential, I almost want like a tie to Crow and Pierce because I think they're both so
Oh,
amazing in
sure.
that movie.
Yeah.
But yes, no, I have Clooney winning Best Actor in 2000 for Oh Brother Where Art Thou. I think he's so good.
You put Jennifer Jason Leigh in your supporting.
for this
year.
for this movie.
Who
I
else
did.
do you have in that category?
Oh, let's take a look.
Uma? Oprah?
Uma Thurman for Pulp Fiction, Diane Weiss for Bullets Over Broadway.
Thank
who
you.
won
Was
the
that
Oscar.
David? You were doing David Letterman
Yeah.
back there?
Because this was the year at the Oscars that he did that.
Oh my God.
Because she's there for Pulp Fiction.
Helen Mirren
That-
for Madness of King George, who I think was also an Oscar nominee.
Yeah.
So good.
Never
And
seen that movie.
Brigitte Lin for Chungking Express.
Oh,
who's
sure.
the best.
Is there while you've got the spreadsheet open, where
Please.
did you nom this movie and anything else?
I
Production
nominated
design,
for
cinematography.
screenplay, but I
Oh,
have it
yeah.
losing to Pulp Fiction. I mean, Pulp Fiction's a big movie. I have it nominated for cinematography, for score, which I have it winning for. I have it.
You gave it the score win.
I gave it the score win and the production design win.
I didn't realize how much of this was based on
That
pre-existing
temp stuff.
material where
Yeah,
it
yeah.
probably would have been disqualified, even though
But that's a weird score year, dude. The weird score year.
94?
Yeah.
Did Gump get a
Because
nomination?
it's like Pulp Fiction's the biggest one.
Right.
I have Gump in
Gump.
there. I have Shawshank, which is a lovely score.
Incredible
Thomas
score.
Newman.
I'm saying in
I
the
have Hans
actual
Zimmer for Lion
Oscars,
King.
right?
Hans
They
Zimmer
nominated
wins.
those three.
Yeah,
right?
but Hans Zimmer wins for Lion King.
Okay.
It's an amazing movie year because I love Hudsucker and it's not even a top 5 movie for me. Oh no, it's 5th. I have it 5th. Behind Chungking Express, Pulp Fiction, Hoop Dreams, and Ed Wood, which are all movies I adore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are, when they make comedies, for me, I feel like they toe the exact line of how expensive a comedy can look while still being funny, where it feels like there is never like wasted cost. Like something like this, the money is all in service of jokes ultimately, even if the joke is look at how big this set is, versus it feeling like an abuse of power or like, hubris or whatever.
I'm trying to even think of someone else who makes comedies that even look close to as good as what the Coen brothers
This is the
do.
problem. Like we were talking about texting recently about How Do You Know, the most brightly lit movie of all time, James L. Brooks's film that cost $120 million and takes place in 3 apartments, right? And you're like, this cost like a fourth of that, a third of that. and
I was working at The Simpsons while this movie was happening.
like built an entire universe and has this like Swiss watch construction of every sequence is like so technically tight. And then even something like Raising Arizona, where you're like, how the fuck did they make this on this budget when every shot is like so intentional and has such a specific relationship to its cuts? But I think you're right, David, that there is this weird element of the movie, them kind of optimistically hoping maybe people will receive this as the hula hoop. And instead, people respond to it as if it's the drawing of the circle and being like, what the fuck is this?
Truly, no one went to see it. It made $2.8 million. You know what I mean? It's like it opened fine, limited, probably in like art housey places. And then it did not expand at all. I do like this quote from Joel where he's like, we want the movie to be successful and make money. Obviously, it's not like they're making it for no good reason. But he's like, but as far as being perceived as mainstream movie makers, that's not particularly important to us. It's not like we're doing this so we can go do Beethoven 3. I like them thinking about Beethoven at all. It's just funny to me. But the movie did badly and
Beethoven
got
has
kind
branching
of bad
timelines when you get to the
reviews.
later direct-to-video sequels. I just want to say that for
Wait,
Alex
really?
Ross Perry. Go on. Yep.
They're good, you're saying?
They start alternating in the later sequels between movies about characters in a universe where the Beethoven movies exist and they own the dog who plays Beethoven, and then every other movie is back to just people who own a dog.
That's so complicated.
Mhm.
We're going to play the box office game.
Wait, they own Beethoven, the dog.
Sims, we need to figure this out.
Beethoven's Third is an American comedy film. I can tell you that much. That was released direct to video. Introduces Judge Reinhold. Reinhold was coming in for the third one?
I think they start alternating
That's
between
tough.
Reinhold and Dave Thomas as the owner. This is the thing. There were like two different creative teams who were making back and forth.
No, Reinhold's in the fourth.
What about 5?
Fifth, we've got Dave Thomas.
Oh, well.
I know, but you're saying alternate.
And what about 6?
Well, sixth, also known as Beethoven's Big Break, seems to feature neither of them.
Okay.
And then the seventh is Beethoven's Christmas Adventure, which doesn't even get its own Wikipedia article.
Who's in that?
That's how relevant it is. I don't know.
If you don't know, then
That's the first one where Beethoven has a speaking voice.
Okay, so then this
Beethoven
is
starts talking.
a third
What a
reality.
decision.
And
What a swing.
The eighth one, Beethoven's Treasure Trail, is about the little line between his belly button and his dick. No, it seems to be kind of like a pirate adventure.
So this sounds like they started taking their cues from the Buddies franchise, whereas you saw, Air Bud started like as a basketball playing dog, and then he started playing different sports, World Pop and
Of course. Yeah, we know
and then
that.
so on.
But the buddies talk.
The buddies talk,
Yes.
and so they borrowed that. But then the buddies also go on adventures. So they have like
they don't
spooky
even play
buddies,
sports.
Right.
space buddies,
But the buddies
treasure
start
buddies.
out as canonically the children of Air Bud, who is voiced by Tom Everett Scott. And then they start to write him out and don't acknowledge their parentage. Alex Ross Perry texted, "Time to call out Griffin. I told you a year ago about the absolutely insane circumstances that befall the Beethoven franchise when it reaches movies 5 to 8. And I told you that someday you drive David insane with this information at hour 3 of a podcast, at hour 3 of Schindler's List. You talk Beethoven and do not mention that 5 and 7 are connected and 6 and 8 are a separate story. It just
That's
had
what
to
he
be
says, but I'm not sure
acknowledged.
he's right.
A story in which Beethoven is a dog who has played
Yeah,
Beethoven
I
in
mean-
all the other movies which exist in the
We're in the third hour, and
We
he's
sure
driving
are,
you
man.
insane with it. I looked here. This is crazy with you. I'm looking here. In Beethoven 11, Beethoven is a man. He's just like a guy.
there's
He's
been
no
a-
longer a dog.
human man.
Does he compose symphonies?
No, he's just like a regular guy. Beethoven 12, he is Beethoven. He's the man.
All right, we're Ludwig von.
And then
Okay.
Beethoven 13, he's Beethoven. He's the composer, but he's a dog again.
They finally got to the right thing.
You know what's crazy also? I'm seeing here that in
He's
Beethoven...
like, "Ruff, ruff, ruff," like that. Like, and they're like, yeah.
I'm seeing here that in Beethoven's 14th, he's the composer, but he is a dog, and he tricks both of you guys into sucking him off.
So the film
Yeah,
came out.
Yeah, but
And then in
film-
11, we're dogs that suck off human Beethoven. By the way, I want people to know who don't know our podcast. We have a thing where a gator tricks us into So not only did you get to hear how bad our podcast is, but now we'll explain to you our bit where we suck a gator off in our
reference to a
podcast.
deep cut
originated
bit.
as a southern gator much in the stylings of Tom Hanks and Lady Killer.
The film
who tricks you into sucking him off. The bit has now become just generally people keep talking you into sucking them off. It happens just globally now. It's not just the gator anymore.
The film came out March 11th, 1994, after premiering at the Sundance Film Festival.
Okay.
So I feel like there's already this sort of awareness of like, okay, this thing is not about to be an awards contender, big hit.
Not Sundance. Didn't premiere at Cannes?
The Hudsucker Proxy premiered, of course, at Sundance, January 94.
Well, okay.
I might have played at Cannes after this out of possibly out of respect.
Out of respect.
You know,
because I was going to say.
Because they won the Palme d'Or for their prior film.
The disparity
it played at Cannes after.
Right. This playing at Cannes the same year that Pulp Fiction like hits and wins and causes the phenomenon of like the indie takeover of Hollywood for the next 10 years. I do think it speaks to the moment where it's like, we don't want the fucking Coen brothers making a screwball comedy. We want them making dark noir.
It was the opening film at Cannes, which is so weird because it had come out in America. But back then, I guess,
used to do that.
Yeah, you know, it was a little different. Like, you know, movies.
It is crazy how much older Pulp Fiction feels than this movie. I mean, I guess that's a testament to me not having ever seen it, I guess.
Sure.
But it's
new to you.
It's new to me, but it does feel like a very modern movie in a lot of ways. And just, I mean, it's just so clean and beautiful looking too. It's just such a pretty movie. Not that Pulp Fiction isn't, of course, but
Pulp Fiction.
It's a rougher film.
Yeah.
With a smaller budget.
So it's not in the top 5, but we're going to play the box office game. It's opening on limited screens, obviously. So number 1 at the box office, Griffin, is a film I assume you've seen because it features an actor you love.
Steve Martin?
No.
Bill Murray?
But this is a guy where you've seen
Michael
all his
Keaton?
movies. No.
Is it Beethoven the dog?
Nicolas Cage?
Nicolas Cage.
Wow.
Is it Guarding Tess?
It's Guarding Tess.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Now that's the one where he's a Secret Service agent. That's a post-driving Miss Daisy. We need Tandy vehicle.
The poster is very similar, but it's Shirley MacLaine.
But it's Shirley MacLaine. It's
Shirley
not Tandy.
MacLaine is the first lady,
Right.
the former first lady.
Right. She's not even the first lady. She's an old. She's a sort of
former
Mrs.
first
Eisenhower
lady. I think it opens with her husband's funeral. And it's like she's still assigned a Secret Service guy.
But so it is Driving Miss Daisy-esque? Is she kind of a pain in the ass?
I will say
like,
this.
Yes, ma'am.
Having recently seen Driving Miss Daisy for the first time, when I watched that film, I was like, oh, so this is like runoff Driving Miss Daisy. Now I can say it is wildly superior to Driving Miss Daisy. It is improved Driving Miss Daisy. It is a perfectly fine comedy. It is like a 5 out of 10, but Driving Miss Daisy is like a fucking 2.
I saw it on video once, Guarding Tess, and I remember liking it.
It's you watch it and you're like, this is close to being really good, and they didn't quite get there.
It's a Hugh Wilson film who made like The First Wives Club and Blast from the Past, and totally solid comedies. All right, number 2 at the box office, Griffin. It's a film I don't think either of us have seen. We have covered on this podcast a lot of this guy's output.
I thought you were going to say we haven't seen it and we've covered it on this podcast.
No. This guy has just not made that many movies.
Oh, so the majority.
We did a franchise of his, which is, you know, like a big chunk of the movies.
Okay, so it's a second tier Paul Hogan vehicle?
It's a Paul Hogan film.
It's
Crocodile Dundee himself.
It's not Flipper.
Not Flipper.
Okay,
a film I saw in theaters.
Did see that in theaters and had the Pizza Hut hand puppets. I feel like you always talk about the Casper and
the Casper hand puppets are huge to me. Yes, yeah.
Pizza Hut had the market cornered.
The Flipper remake does feel like with like Hogan. What could you do? It's like, I guess this is like putting a cap on his head. Like you could, you know, could you do a Flipper movie?
It's one of my favorite phenomenons when someone hyper specific weirdly becomes a movie star and they're like, where the fuck do we put you?
Have you guys seen Crocodile Dundee / do you enjoy Crocodile Dundee?
I've seen Dundee and Dundee 2. I never watched in LA.
Dundee, I think we were pleasantly.
You live in LA.
Yeah.
You've
Yeah,
been
true. Yeah,
You don't
I live
need to
it.
see Croc show up.
We were pleasantly surprised by 1.
1's good.
2, the opening is so fucking funny that we were like,
Fishing with Dynamite.
we're also, this is like January 2021. We're losing our minds. And then 2 just becomes bad Rambo. Stops having jokes after the 15-minute mark.
Mitch, do you have a Croc Dundee take?
Not real. I saw the first one, but wait, he's eventually in Flipper. Is that what you're saying?
He did do a Flipper remake with Elijah Wood.
Okay, for a few years, 2 years after, 96?
96. This movie, though, is not Flipper.
Is this like the Western one?
It's the Western one with Cuba Gooding Jr. and Beverly D'Angelo.
It's not called Bronco Billy, but it's like the character's name.
Yep. And it is thing name.
Yeah. It's not like Outback Jack.
It's something, Jack. You're close.
Fuck.
You're circling.
It's not Kangaroo Jack.
No.
Give me the type of word that the first thing.
It's a sort of a weather phenomenon.
Hurricane Jack.
Close.
Fuck. It is
less more common than a hurricane.
Wind Jack.
Less common than wind.
Rain Jack.
Hail? No. It's sort of more common than hail, less common than rain.
Thunderstorm.
What?
Lightning Jack. There we go.
Lightning Jack.
Lightning
Wow.
Jack.
Lightning Jack.
Lightning Jack.
Written by and starring Paul Hogan.
Right. That's
yeah. Not a big hit.
European Vacation was a big movie for my family, by the way. We had a good time.
I haven't watched it in many years. Have you paid attention to what's going on with the Crocodile Dundee direct-to-video sequels?
He's a dog now.
He's a dog.
Yeah.
Well, this thing. In 6, he's a dog.
Yeah.
And then in 7, he's an actual crocodile.
Yeah.
They should have done that.
There's like they should have done that
They
before the
should have
dog.
made that shortcut.
Yeah.
And they make it that the crocodile is an actor who played the dog in Beethoven.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Right.
And his whole thing is that he tricks people into sucking him off.
Right.
Number 3 at the box office. Speaking of films involving blowjobs, that I did not pick up on the being a blowjob until I was much older.
Okay.
Because I love this movie. I saw it in theaters.
Casper?
Big comedy. No, just Casper have a blowjob.
I was trying to think of the least appropriate joke I could make.
I might know this one.
Please.
Or no, actually, I might know. I think this is too late.
I already invoked it on this episode.
Then I don't know.
You thought it was a blowjob joke that you didn't pick up at
One
the
of the
time.
first jokes in this movie is a blowjob joke.
One of the first jokes.
Well, like the first scene ends with a blowjob.
The first scene ends with a blowjob?
But I didn't know it was a blowjob.
Someone dips down?
Yeah, you know.
Give me
And there's some comical overreaction.
There's a comical overreaction to a
It's
blowjob?
good. You know, he likes it.
Oh, he likes
He
it.
likes it.
Is it the Life commercial?
Is it a Hot Shots type movie?
It's a straightforward comedy, not a parody exactly, although it's kind of a parody movie. It's a very strange movie. It was a gigantic hit. It made a star. It's very odd on rewatch. I cannot believe I was
Made a
obsessed with it
star
as a
in
child.
1984. It's primarily
But it was
a
very
comedy
normal
star.
for me to be obsessed with it as a child.
Yeah.
I literally brought it up on this episode.
You literally brought up in this episode.
It's a famous movie.
Primarily a comedy star.
Yeah, it minted the biggest comedian of the 90s. Biggest comic actor.
Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
What's the blowjob joke in Ace Ventura?
The first scene ends with, so the first thing in Ace Ventura, which is very funny, is him with the fake package.
Yeah.
Where he's like breaking it and kicking it and stuff.
Mark
which is funny.
Margulies trying to kick him out.
And then he rescues the dog or the cockatoo or whatever the fuck he does, and then returns it to the lady who gives him a blowjob, and it's just Carrie going like, woo! Like that. And I, as a kid, was just like, I don't know what's happening right now, but I love that he's doing all this funny stuff.
This guy got an indoor roller coaster?
Yeah, like, I truly
Why is he
just
acting
think,
like that?
8-year-old David just being like, whatever this guy wants to do, I'm there for
She
it.
take
And
on
I
his
just,
feet?
yes, I just don't get what's happening.
Have you seen the newest Ace Ventura? He's a human detective, but he's a dog.
So he's a dog, but he's solving human crime.
Yeah, he's not solving human crime.
Sort of a McGruff situation.
And you know what's weird? In the third one, they recreate the opening of the first Ace Ventura movie, except he's sucking you guys off.
Yeah, we're getting sucked off. Finally, we got our due.
He rewards you for him doing a good job.
Who is there an Ace Ventura Jr. or something like
there
that?
was
They
Ace
did
Ventura
that,
Jr.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
But it is
chocolate.
also weird. They show our hogs and we have like red rocket hogs, which is very strange.
Like the little lipstick.
Yeah, the lipstick hogs.
Ace Ventura Pet Detective, I've talked about it before. I don't know if I'll ever do it on this show because it's just kind of like it has this nasty, undertone to it.
Well, right. Yes. And then the second one
trans
is
stuff.
perhaps incredibly racist.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's just such an interesting movie because it is Carrie doing that shit on top of a hard-boiled noir with like not much embellishment. Like the plot of that movie is pretty dark.
We were saying that
And
movie was
nasty.
clearly meant to be, the joke is it's Chinatown, but they're investigating pets and it's
Right.
played straight. And he came in and was like, what if I just do all the bits on top of this?
And it's so weird. It's
Yeah.
such a weird movie. All right, number 4 at the box office, very good comedy, black comedy that I like a lot, starring, normal guy.
Normal
I mean,
guy.
the main star is we like him. He's a
Mhm.
stand-up comic who's becoming hot at
In
the
this
time.
moment.
Yep. And does a lot of movies. And then there's a husband-wife in the movie, and the husband's played by a normal guy.
Gutenberg?
Yeah, no, way more normal. than that.
It's the ref.
The film is The Ref.
It is
Dennis
Leary,
Leary. Who's having
Judy
his moment.
Davis?
Judy Davis. And who's this playing the husband here? Nicholas Frank Wiger.
You gotta let this guy be Frank.
Kevin Spacey.
Spacey.
Oh, wow, with Spacey, right?
What the hell were you doing over there? I was
spacing out.
You were spacing out.
In a way, he was paying respect. He was getting Spacey.
No, I didn't realize you were taming me up.
What do you got over there?
No,
I wasn't playing with.
But I realized while I was talking about this
Bottle
movie, there were fucking Spacey's in it. Hostile hostages in Britain, famously.
That's what it was called.
I don't know why. I guess they were like, Brits won't know what refs are. And I'm like, I think they do.
That's a fun movie, though.
That's a really good movie.
Yeah.
That Demi movie.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen The Ref?
Yes, many years ago.
Good movie.
Yeah.
And just any movie where Leary's like, you fucking guys.
Complains about shit.
Some maple syrup in my coffee or whatever. I'm just always like, this is great.
He's in my blood, Leary. I love the guy.
I
Come
do
on.
too. I'm a huge Dennis Leary defender, especially that he stole Bill Hicks's jokes. I think that's the best thing he
That's
did.
the best thing he
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Number 5 at the box office. No jokes to be made about this one. It won Best Picture in 1993.
Forrest Gump?
No.
Oh, 1993.
Before?
Fuck.
We covered it on this podcast. We did like a 4-hour episode.
Right. So
That's
90
all we're capable of doing these days.
90 Schindler's List.
Schindler's List. Still in the box office, obviously, after months, we've also got Steven Seagal's On Deadly Ground.
Sure.
Is that the one where he's like saving the forest?
Yeah, that's like beginning of the end for him.
Right. It's the one he directed.
The environmental one.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got that movie, Greedy. What the hell is that?
Greedy is like Kirk Douglas and Michael J. Fox, and James Wan always cites it as having one of his favorite twist endings in movies. And I've never looked up what it is because I'm like, I should watch it at some point. If no one spoiled the ending of Greedy for me.
Okay.
I've never seen. I don't know.
Maybe there's a pleasant surprise.
Number 8, most quotable comedy of all time.
Hello.
Of course, that's Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Number 9 is a film called Angie.
That was a hint I gave in a box office game many years ago.
He said it's really quotable, and I said, give me one of the quotes, and Ben's response was, hello.
All right.
Angie, it's a Gina Davis
I was going
movie.
to say.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Martha Coolidge movie, though.
Yeah.
And number 10, well, there's some rando movies in this box office. A movie called 8 Seconds, which is a John G.
I remember this
Avildsen
movie.
biopic about a bull rider.
Yeah.
Where it's like 8 seconds is the length of time you have to stay on your bull to get a score.
Starring whom?
Luke Perry
Oh,
as a rodeo legend.
wait, who's the second lead in that?
Stephen Baldwin.
That's why I was looking it up. Do you know Stephen Baldwin has a movie podcast now?
Oh, is it good? Normal?
It seems normal, but I keep getting...
No, it can't be normal.
No,
What are you talking
It
about?
seems very strange, but I keep getting fed fucking clips in the algorithm, and then I was like, I gotta chart his career, and that's why I saw this movie.
Did you ever see the movie 9 Seconds? The bull rider. In 9 seconds, the bull rider, he's not human anymore.
Oh, that's wild.
Oh,
Yeah. Do you know what he is? The
What?
bull rider.
Yeah.
Can you guess what he is?
What is he?
A dog. You think he would be a bull,
Yeah,
maybe, but yeah.
I'd love to see a dog ride a bull. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be
Well,
really
if you'd love to see that, you should see 10 seconds.
One bad movie with Stephen Baldwin.
Yeah.
Bad movies. We all love them. Does he talk like that too?
Talks
like
no, he talks like that
He
because
talks
he's like
like
Bernie
this.
Rubble.
Yeah, right. He was Barney. He was the second Barney Rubble.
But that's what he sounds like. His regular speaking voice was like, yeah, I remember I was making movies.
He's bad in Usual Suspects, and everyone else in that movie is good. And at the time, you're kind of like, oh, well, he's just being big. And then you rewatch it, you're like, no, he sucks in
They
this.
talk about, because Alec was on recently and just
Sure.
dragged his brother for like 2 hours.
Right. I mean, he's a shitty actor.
And was just like, Usual Suspects blows up and everyone's big and Spacey wins the Oscar and everyone goes on to greater things and then you're Barney Rubble. And there's this notion, he'll talk about in other episodes where he's like, and everyone wanted me to be the next Tom Cruise and I want to go a different way. And it was just clear that everyone was just like, we know what your ceiling
Yeah,
is.
you're not even as good as Billy Baldwin.
Here's the script to Biodome.
Yeah, right.
But one bad movie is setting itself up like it's how did this get made? And then like every clip I've seen is just him having other kind of middling 90s former movie stars on and them complaining about their falling
That
careers.
sounds good.
It's like him and Jamie Kennedy and shit.
Is he right wing or is
he's
he
very
hardcore?
he was like the first guy to
And
endorse Trump.
super
And Billy is left.
Catholic.
Billy
Billy seems
right?
to be normal.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Billy is doing the best out of all of them.
Yeah, yeah, and he's a good actor.
Yeah, he is.
Billy Baldwin's a good actor.
Is Billy the new Baldwin?
Billy- I
Baldwin.
it's
the Baldwin.
time.
I put forth the argument recently
What if I push my chips in on Alec now?
that Billy has by default become America's top Baldwin.
I think so. Yeah.
What about James? Or no, sorry, Daniel.
Daniel's a heroin
James
addict.
Baldwin is the legendary novelist, of course, but it's not a Baldwin brother.
Adam Baldwin, also not a Baldwin brother.
Right, but politics A+.
Yes, he's great.
That was Adam Baldwin was the first example of me following a celebrity on twitter.com back when Twitter was like, posting pictures of your breakfast or whatever.
and
I was
being like, oh, I love
this
that guy.
actor I like.
Yeah.
And he was just all day like tweeting right-wing shit. And I was like, oh, what a bummer to learn this.
I almost sent this to you guys, but Deadline had a story the other day that was Daniel Baldwin joins cast of Jurassic Rebirth. And I was like, what? He was like, oh, they're making some fucking rip-off movie. David's pointing the
Oh
clock.
my God.
Just called Jurassic Rebirth. And they're like, if we take the word world out,
Wow.
will
I think
people
it's smart.
mistakenly watch this?
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I think
That
of Daniel
feels
Baldwin,
actionable.
he's the star of Cleaver.
Oh, okay.
In,
Yeah, of course.
in
Yeah.
The Sopranos.
Right.
He's the star. He's Tony
Oh, sure.
Soprano.
Yeah, no, Daniel is.
Daniel is.
Yeah.
And it makes sense in world. You're like,
Yes,
yeah, that's
that's
who
who
they
it would
could
be.
get.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all.
Guys, thank you for being on the show. Thank
Thank you for
trying.
You guys got anything more to talk about? Hudsucker Proxy?
So I had
You had a coffee date like 45 minutes ago.
here's the thing. I scheduled something with
Yeah.
a mutual friend.
Yeah,
who
we
you all
got to
know.
go, Griffin.
Yeah, we gotta
Jesus.
go. We gotta get to Mission Impossible.
Oh my God.
Texted me fully because we were supposed to meet at 45 minutes ago. We were supposed to meet. Texted me fully 50 minutes ago. Any sense of how much longer you guys have? Box office game started at least. I replied that the box office game hasn't started yet, which it would not for another half hour. His response was, LMAO, these motherfuckers.
This is someone we work with, by the way.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. I wanted this to end.
Speaking
sooner,
of
to
us
be
with
clear.
utter contempt.
All right, I'm going to pee again.
Okay,
'cause
David's
we are
gonna
going
pee.
to have to.
Thank you for being here. Everyone should listen to Doughboys if they're not already. 10
That's
glorious
kind of you.
years.
I mean, it's very funny. We come on the show and you guys are both very smart and we're like, duh. And then we go off about dogs replacing humans in Beethoven movies. That's all we can really add to the conversation. But
We're very dumb.
no, you guys are.
And
You guys,
he likes to pretend like he's smart, like he's the Wiger of the podcast.
oh, yeah,
but
well,
he's
Wiger.
dumb.
I know.
He's
Wiger
dumb.
tries to pretend
We
that
all
he's
know
smart.
that.
Yeah.
We figured that out.
Mitch
years
tries to
ago.
pretend that he's dumb. He's
I
actually
know,
a
he's
fucking
just
genius
so fucking smart.
and smart as shit.
You know who else is really smart? Ben.
Ben's right now.
You
smart
and
as
Ben are
fuck.
so fucking smart.
Dude, he's so good at playing it too because he's wearing a cap and gown right now.
Yeah. He's holding a diploma
Motherfucker's a genius.
from like a really good college.
I just want to say that I really liked Hudsucker Proxy.
I'm really happy you like
I like.
it.
I'm loved revisiting it. Great movie.
I wasn't worried you dislike it, but it's for me, it's such a vibe movie that I just enjoy so thoroughly that like I didn't want to run the risk of you being like, yeah, it's cute. Like,
I defy Jay Sherman to say that Hudsucker Proxy stinks.
Wow.
That's what I say at the end of the day.
I can't think of a more beautiful way to end this episode.
I can also say to anyone who hasn't watched this movie that maybe there's one you're like skipping over if you're not. I think this one's worth watching.
Absolutely.
I mean, like all the Coen Brothers movies are worth
Yeah.
watching, but like I would not skip over this one. It's
Visuals
you
alone.
might. Yeah, you might end up absolutely loving it.
I truly think there is no other movie that looks like this in history. And one of the best reviews I read that I'm now forgetting who wrote it and how to cite them said like the technology had finally caught up where and the budgets of Hollywood films had inflated to a point where they could make a screwball comedy that looked the way the dialogue used to sound. And everything was buzzing at that level. Thank you all for listening.
Can I just one last thing?
Oh, please, absolutely.
Have you seen Hudsucker Proxy 2?
No, I haven't yet, actually.
It just might be confusing to some people who haven't.
Yeah.
If
It's
you-
weird that we've gone this long and haven't talked about the fact that there was a sequel.
Okay, that's all.
Is there anything you want to say about it?
Just that it's you might be confused because the characters are dogs.
The characters are dogs. Please tune in next week for Fargo, Coen Brothers' first Oscar win. And as always, and I know we've gone way too long, we got to end the episode, but can I just ask one final question? What's more famous, hula hoop or Frisbee?
I think Frisbee.
You think Frisbee's today is more famous than hula
Because
hoop?
it's part of games. No one's doing like hula hooping at college.
Okay, but so then here's a question.
People do frolf.
What's more famous, games or toys?
He's sleeping.
He's handing in his resignation papers.
Blank Check with Griffin and David is hosted by Griffin, Newman, and David Sims. Our executive producer is me, Ben Hostley. Our creative producer is Marie Barty Salinas, and our associate producer is AJ McKeon. This show is mixed and edited by AJ McKeon and Alan Smithy. Research by JJ Birch. Our theme song is by Lane Montgomery and the Great American Novel, with additional music by Alex Mitchell. Artwork by Joe Bowen, Ollie Moss, and Pat Reynolds. Our production assistant is Minnick. Special thanks to David Cho, Jordan Fish, and Nate Patterson for their production help. Head over to blankcheckpod.com for links to all of the real nerdy shit. Join our Patreon, Blank Check Special Features, for exclusive franchise commentaries and bonus episodes. Follow us on social at Blank Check Pod. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter, Checkbook, on Substack. This podcast is created and produced by Blank Check Productions.